Check out this insane digital interface, showcasing the maxed-out profile of No Yunha, the ultimate real-life player and berserker. This is the epic tale of the Fog Flower Party, a crew who literally cheated death, all thanks to their leader, a terrifying undead monster who just can't die. In a world utterly ravaged, a massive, shadowy dungeon gate just sits there, oozing pure dread. Meet No Yunha, the berserker legend who's personally wiped out millions of monsters, his eyes burning with fierce determination under that badass fur hood. He's staring down one of the 8 black dungeons in the entire world, the Shadow of Annihilation, the Abyss, a place so brutal, not even the legendary Fog Flower Guild has managed to conquer it yet. Geared up in full battle armor and gripping his massive weapon, No Yunha is about to dive headfirst into that unconquerable abyss, a total legend ready to defy all odds. His eyes blaze with an insane resolve, a silent promise of the absolute carnage he's about to unleash. Before him, a monstrous entity absolutely shreds helpless figures, its multiple limbs a blur of pure destruction. This was the very place that had devoured his entire life, all 32 brutal years of it. With a primal scream, Yunha charges, a crimson aura exploding around him as he brings his weapon down with devastating force. His attack connects with an explosive burst of purple energy, absolutely shattering the air with a quang. He continues his relentless assault, purple trails streaking through the air as he strikes again with shwiik. Another devastating impact, the monster reeling from the sheer quadric force. With a powerful grunt, he delivers a final, decisive blow, purple energy swirling around him like a storm. The monster's body convulses, engulfed in the lingering purple aftermath of his overwhelming power. Pot. Eyes locked, No Yunha tensed. The monster's counter was coming, and he knew it. But the beast was still reeling from his last blow, its massive head snapping back from the force. Then, a guttural roar, and the monster lunged, forcing him into a desperate, grunting struggle. A claw connected, sending him flying backward, a raw scream tearing from his throat. But as he fell, a devastating burst of purple energy exploded from him, slamming the monster back with raw power. The raw power kept expanding, engulfing everything in a vibrant, crackling aura. He closed the distance in a flash, delivering a precise, close-range strike, his fist slamming into the monster's head with a sickening thud. More purple energy surged into the beast, driving it back with relentless, crushing force. The monster was utterly consumed, engulfed by the overwhelming, crackling purple energy. The beast was still reeling, purple energy tearing into its massive frame, unable to escape the relentless onslaught. With a sickening crack, the beast was slammed to its knees, the very ground shattering beneath its weight. But even as it crashed down, a guttural roar of pure rage ripped from its throat, its red eyes blazing with furious intent. That enraged cry echoed, a clear signal, it wasn't giving up without a fight. But before it could even think about striking back, his blade, now blazing with that same electric blue, scythed across the monster's hide with a deafening clang. The impact sent a shockwave of blue energy right through its skull, shattering bone and ripping a pained scream from the beast. No hesitation, no mercy. He wound up for the finishing blow, his blade absolutely crackling with raw power. Then, with a final, explosive surge, he unleashed a torrent of blue energy, absolutely erasing the monster in a devastating blast. The monster's last-ditch attack rips through the very fabric of reality, leaving deep, jagged gashes across the stone with a sharp, tearing sound. The red energy violently rips through the material, accompanied by a loud cracking sound. A moment of quiet follows the intense impact, marked only by a soft exhale. No Yunha stands amidst the lingering red energy, his breath still heavy from the exertion. He looks up, his gaze sharp, sensing a renewed threat. The monstrous entity roars, its red eyes glowing with malevolent intent, confirming its unexpected survival. No Yunha immediately channels intense blue energy, crackling around his arm as he prepares to strike back. He unleashes a devastating burst of blue lightning, striking with immense force. The colossal beast unleashes a terrifying, guttural growl, its crimson eyes blazing with raw, untamed fury, but he just stares it down, utterly unfazed. Then, a blinding torrent of blue lightning absolutely erupts from him, a cataclysmic surge of power that utterly engulfs the monster in a devastating, earth-shattering strike. The sheer, unbridled force of that attack leaves him utterly breathless, his chest heaving violently from the immense exertion. He surveys the absolute carnage, a field littered with fallen monsters, and a chilling question forms in his mind, wondering if anyone else could have possibly survived this brutal onslaught. The grim, undeniable reality settles in, they're all gone. Clutching his glowing sword, blue energy still crackling around his arm, he stands absolutely firm amidst the devastation, his resolve hardening into unyielding steel. A bloodied sword, still humming with residual magical energy, remains impaled in the ground, a stark, brutal testament to the ferocity of the fight. His gaze falls, a grim, chilling acceptance washing over him as he mutters that the outcome, in the end, simply doesn't matter. No Yunha stands, the metallic clink of his armor echoing through the blood-soaked landscape, ready for the next challenge. His resolve is absolute, a silent, burning vow to take down the boss by himself. His eyes blaze with fierce, unyielding determination. He approaches a colossal, ancient gate, its lion head motif carved into the stone, the air thick with an oppressive, almost suffocating aura. Suddenly, a blinding column of light erupts before him, a powerful beacon in the encroaching gloom. Undeterred, he steps into the darkness, moving relentlessly towards a distant, ethereal glow. He finds himself at the precipice of an unfathomable void, glowing particles swirling ominously around him. An absolute, all-consuming darkness stretches before him, a place where nothing can be seen, a true abyss. But a grim certainty settles upon him, the one he seeks, the master of shadows, is definitely here. Out of the crushing darkness, a single, blood-red eye snaps open, its intricate veins pulsing with an ominous, raw power. And with a sudden, explosive surge of energy, its power immediately coalesces into a tangible, terrifying presence. The master of shadows fully manifests, right here, right now. A monstrous, shadowy figure with glowing red eyes and razor-sharp claws, absolutely ready to tear through anything in its path. It unleashes a devastating, earth-shattering attack, absolutely pulverizing the ground and sending debris flying amidst a violent, explosive burst of red energy. No Yunha is caught directly in the blast, his body completely engulfed by the explosive force. The shadowy monster presses its advantage, relentlessly. Its claws tear through the air with a chilling, red-tinged aura, a true harbinger of destruction. He takes a brutal, devastating hit, blood spraying as his face contorts in pure agony. A blinding flash momentarily obscures the scene, before revealing the dark, rocky ground beneath them, a brief moment of calm before the storm. But with a fierce, defiant roar, no Yunha retaliates. His own body now wreathed in a blazing crimson aura as he buries a powerful, energy-infused strike deep into the monster, turning the tables. Battered and broken, no Yunha collapses against a blood-soaked wall, questioning if this was truly the end of his journey. His face, a canvas of bruises and cuts, screams the brutal truth of his enemy's might. The master of shadows was just too powerful, an impossible foe. The monstrous shadow towers over him as he plummets into a crimson abyss, utterly defeated, unable to even scratch his foe. Was this truly the end? But then, a desperate, heart-wrenching cry rips through the silence, a young woman's voice, raw with agony, begging no Yunha not to die. She rushes to him, cradling his broken body, her gentle touch a beacon of hope amidst the devastation. Her eyes, wide with shock, finally register the face of the man she's holding, it's Lee Yu-young. Her hands ignite with soft, ethereal blue energy, channeling her power, a desperate, hopeful question escaping her lips, "You're alive?" A massive, vibrant blue orb of pure energy erupts between them, its radiant light blasting away the darkness as he slowly, miraculously, begins to move. His eyes, now blazing with an unyielding, furious resolve, snap open, and he cuts her off with a single, defiant thought, "Shut up." He's back. He's barely clinging to life, but Lee Yu-young isn't giving up. Her hands are practically blazing with healing energy as she screams for him to hold on. Tears are streaming, but her resolve is iron. She's practically screaming for a miracle to happen. Then, boom. A blinding white light explodes from her, and she's not just hoping anymore, she's declaring it, she can do this. The light goes supernova, consuming everything, and her voice rings out, a desperate cry to save him. But inside his own head, barely clinging to consciousness, Yunha's mind races, is this really it? Am I dying? His whole life has been a grind, a fight to the death against monsters, and he's got no regrets about that, but a fire ignites in his gut. He's not done yet, he's not dying here, no way. Suddenly, we're somewhere else, a totally different vibe. Lee Yu-young is standing next to this super calm, white-haired lady, who just calmly tells her that she probably won't succeed. This lady says she's not attached to anything, but she's all about protecting the world's balance. Then, with zero emotion, she drops the bomb, Lee Yu-young's friend is gonna die soon, and she's not lifting a finger to help, not even a little bit. Her gaze intensifies, a fierce determination burning in her eyes, as she grapples with the impossible cost of saving him, declaring that no matter what, she will save him. Meanwhile, in a dazzling, otherworldly realm, Yunha's spirit is held by a colossal, golden-winged guardian, his very essence flickering. A single, unwavering vow rings out, a defiant promise to conquer death. Then, a cataclysmic burst of golden energy explodes from the earth, swallowing Yunha and everything in its path. The explosion detonates, a blinding, all-consuming inferno. And as the light recedes, it leaves behind a mesmerizing, glittering shower of golden motes. But through the shimmering haze, a voice cuts through, calling his name, first softly, then with a desperate plea, "Yunha." Suddenly, he's plunged into a vivid memory, a younger him, looking up at a warm smile and a hopeful face, their words a lifeline. The woman's smile radiates warmth, a silent cheer for his awakening, as he clutches his beloved plushie. Suddenly, he's a tiny baby, bathed in a soft, warm glow, just staring up with those innocent eyes. Then, the scene changes, and a soft voice is like, "You woke him up." He's a kid now, in a super colorful room with two adults, and he's totally confused, thinking, what's going on? Am I in the afterlife? But then, his mom smiles, saying she's his mother, and his dad chimes in, we love you so much. A tiny hand reaches out. And his mom's hand just gently wraps around it, pure love right there. The vision starts to disappear, and his mom's voice is like, this isn't the afterworld. I just had a dream. He tries to move, but his body's not responding, and then it hits him, he's not dead. Instead, he figures out he's somehow been sent back in time, all the way to when he was just 1 year old. Impossible. He's a baby again, utterly baffled by this insane time reversal. But then it hits him, the miracle skill. Yu-young must have activated it, making the impossible a reality. His mom. Young, vibrant, holding him as a baby, then playing with him as a child. She looks so good, so different from his faded memories before he died. Her eyes, huge and round, fill his entire world, and the sheer emotion of seeing his parents again just floods him. He just stares, a tiny baby, soaking in this insane new reality. The brutal memory of his parents' death, slaughtered by monsters when he was just 1, flashes through his mind, a crushing reminder of his past failure. But now, with this insane second chance, he doesn't have to live with that crushing regret anymore. A golden aura explodes around him as he vows to change his fate this time, with his own 2 hands. The tiny baby clenches his fist, a silent, powerful declaration of his new, unbreakable resolve. No Yunha, the real-life player, is facing a wild new challenge, his status screen screaming a massive shift. Despite holding on to all his memories, his body's gone full rewind, trapping him as a helpless baby. Stuck in this tiny form, he's utterly useless, unable to do a single thing. His entire life is just eating, sleeping, and pooping, but hey, he finally figured out how to breathe on command. Small wins, right? And the worst part? He can still move, but it changes nothing. Suddenly, a young girl pops up, yelling his name, and totally roasts him for just eating and not playing. He's thinking, who is this crazy person? Oh, right, it's his older sister, Yunha. Her hand gently grabs his, a familiar touch from his older sister, Yunha. But amidst all this baby chaos, one family memory shines through, crystal clear. Flashback to a brutal scene. A young Lee Yu-young, absolutely fearless, throws herself in front of her baby brother, No Yunha, protecting him from terrifying, shadowy monsters. He remembers the crushing loss of his family to those beasts, and how his sister, Yunha, was the one who helped him piece together that devastating memory. But then, a moment of pure victory. She's absolutely beaming, her magic having totally crushed the monsters. She scoops him up, her smile absolutely glowing, hyping up her baby brother for being so brave. His sister's love. Absolutely overwhelming, a core memory for him. Back in his baby body, he's totally bored, but he can feel it, mana is everywhere. If this real-life thing is just some basic game, he's out. Unless he can actually power up, that is. He stares at a glowing blue screen, a new resolve burning in his eyes, deciding right then and there to dive in and get stronger using all that mana. He gazes up at his older sister, Lee Yu-young, who's playfully demanding, Yunha. What are you doing? But he can see it clearly, every time she uses her magic, she's burning out something crucial inside herself, his sister. She's pushing a spell way past her limits, blue energy crackling around her as she struggles. He understands the danger, too much mana use, and she'll be hit with mana poisoning. And that would be devastating for her health. Before that nightmare becomes reality, he has to help her master her mana. As if on cue, his sister beams, declaring, okay, your sister will help you practice walking. And just like that, No Yunha, by the time he's 2, is already walking and talking. He takes stock of his rapid growth, realizing he can do so much more now, and his outdoor adventures have exploded. Yunha's mom bursts through the door, hyped to be home, shouting that she's got Yunha in tow. While other kids are saying hi, Yu-young, his big sister, is already yelling for him to hurry up and join her. Yu-young wasn't just popular with the kids, she was a neighborhood superstar, making him feel like a total nobody next to her. Again, she shouts his name. But her face suddenly drops, a wave of sadness washing over her as she asks why he even bothered, telling him he absolutely didn't have to show up. But he's not backing down, his little face locked in pure determination. Her mana goes absolutely berserk, and Yu-young shoves him away, screaming at him to get out, but he just won't budge. The park is alive with energy. Kids are buzzing, trying to pick the next epic game, their excitement through the roof. But then, a young Yunha is just, standing there, looking down, totally unable to join the fun. He just can't play with them. Then, out of nowhere, a super bright voice calls out his name, and it's Yu-young, beaming as she walks right up to him. She reaches out, her face totally understanding, and asks him, if this is his first time ever playing with other kids. And with that pure, unwavering kindness, she just straight up promises to show him everything, offering to teach him how to play. Her words light up his eyes, and he looks up at her, totally captivated. Fast forward, and now these two are just strolling down a sun-drenched street, side by side, all that awkwardness gone, replaced by a chill, quiet vibe. Totally caked in mud, they're sitting together, and Yoo-jung's just laughing about how messy they are, then she softly calls out Yoonha's name. And with the most radiant smile, she just asks him if he had a blast. Suddenly, a strange, unsettling energy bursts forth, capturing young Yoonha's shocked gaze. A monstrous wolf, fangs dripping with pure menace, snarls right before him. And beside him, Yoo-jung's face twists into an expression of absolute terror. The two children are frozen, facing down the nightmare together. Before they bolt, scrambling desperately through a tight alleyway. But the monstrous beast is relentless, its guttural snarl echoing as it gives chase. As the girl hesitates, glancing back, the boy's eyes ignite with a desperate, burning resolve. She pulls him into a fierce embrace, shielding him as brilliant, sparkling particles explode around them. His face hardens with an unyielding determination, a powerful vow screaming in his mind, "I will protect you." The memory flashes back, a raw, visceral fear from his past. A single, defiant "no" screaming in his head. Her terrified face, mirroring his own helplessness, burns into his mind. Two small figures, frozen in terror, facing an impossible threat. He was utterly useless, completely unable to move back then. Just a trembling child, hiding behind his sister's embrace. But that's over. That's not him anymore. This time, in this life, he's making a stand. He will protect. His eyes blaze with newfound determination, a silent, unbreakable oath to the girl he'll never let down again. The scene was set, debris scattered, hinting at the chaos that just erupted. Then, bam. No Yoonha just exploded with a sick, crackling blue aura, his whole body glowing as some gnarly monster tried to creep up. The energy just went wild, a massive wave of blue light blasting back the monster's nasty claw. Totally engulfing its snarling face in this insane, blinding blue burst. Then, with a total power move, he just straight up yelled at the thing, "Get lost." His eyes? They just flamed up with this crazy crimson glow, a silent, hardcore promise to protect at all costs. The monster got absolutely wrecked by that power surge, recoiling hard, its body a blur as it got shoved back. And check it, behind him, Lee Yoo-jung was totally safe, chillin', in that awesome, protective blue energy. Then, a quick breath escaped him, and his face totally changed to this surprised look as he checked out the aftermath. He stands before her, a quiet moment passing between them as she looks up, reflecting on the sheer power he just unleashed. With a confident smile and a reassuring thumbs up, he tells her not to worry, affirming his strength and offering his help with a cool demeanor. Her eyes wide with a mix of awe and fierce determination, Lee Yoo-jung demands to know what that power was, then passionately declares her desire to become strong enough to protect him too, practically begging for him to teach her. Suddenly, a young girl enthusiastically interjects, pointing to herself and wanting in on the action, a reaction No Yoonha finds pretty hilarious. Her face lighting up with pure joy, the girl eagerly confirms her desire to learn, practically bouncing with excitement. A slight blush creeping onto his cheeks, he privately admits that he was totally going to teach her anyway, playing it cool. Meanwhile, Lee Yoo-jung's smile radiates, a bright, hopeful glow surrounding her as she embraces her new, powerful resolve. As they begin to walk away, he urges them to move quickly, mindful that someone might be worrying about their absence, keeping things on track. He had always wanted to protect that smile, no matter what it took. Before his regression, the unthinkable happened, his entire family was massacred. And he was just 6 years old. That horrific memory now burns within him, fueling an unshakable resolve. He has to stop that future from ever happening again. He's ready to do whatever it takes to rewrite destiny. Back in the present, Yoonha holds a distraught Lee Yoo-jung tight, his face a mask of concern and fierce resolve. Then, a new face. A young girl with dark hair and glasses steps up, her voice burning with conviction as she shouts, "I'll do anything." The real-life player system blazes to life, showcasing a sleek interface with all the crucial stats, skills, and inventory options. A classic wooden top whirls with surprising speed, a nostalgic blur of motion. Inside a childhood room, a young girl effortlessly conjures shimmering blue energy, her small hands glowing as a wide-eyed boy looks on. His mother, watching the incredible display, casually points out that the girl's mana control is just natural talent. But then his father turns to young Yoonha, revealing he was born with massive mana, yet possesses absolutely zero talent for controlling it. The young boy, absorbing the harsh truth, can only shrug and declare the world a fair place. But his mother isn't having any of it. She fiercely vows that he will learn to spin it well, no matter what. A powerful negative bursts from her, her determination absolutely unshakable. The vibrant blue energy explodes, a dazzling display of pure magical power. Blue energy explodes as Yu-young, quick as lightning, blocks a fierce attack, her shield flaring with intense power. She holds her ground, shield blazing, and challenges Yunha, who charges with a wicked blue energy sword. She calls him slow, but he's not having it, firing back a defiant "I'm not slow." But then, a sudden shift. The For Life players passed flashes before our eyes. We're thrown back to a dazzling award ceremony, where Yunha's mother, absolutely stunning, accepts her prize, as someone snidely comments on her clumsiness, making the award even greater. Flash forward to a cozy family night. His mother, with a young Yunha and Yu-young snuggled up, all chilling on the couch, glued to the TV. A gentle smile graces her face as she declares, "Kindergarten time." But little Yunha, looking totally bummed, whines that he doesn't have to go, then hits her with the ultimate weapon, "You promised you'd go with me." Back to the present, and Yunha's lost in thought, remembering that childhood vow, the promise to his brother to hit kindergarten at 4, and how wild it is to think he was ever Stark among those little kids. He pictures the other kids, all crying and super sensitive, and even back then, the chaos was already giving him a massive headache. The countdown is on. Just one day left until the dungeon opens, and a presenter on stage is hyping up a massive, historic shift for humanity, telling everyone to check out the screen. With a huge grin, he doubles down, demanding everyone's attention for this game-changing event. Across the city, a woman is glued to her car's screen, buzzing with excitement for what's next. The dungeon's name is Azrael, and this isn't just big, it's the start of a whole new era for Korea. While everyone else is hyped for this new chapter, Yunha is deep in his own thoughts, looking seriously contemplative. Flashback time. Once humanity figured out how to use mana, everyone was just constantly blasting it, blue energy everywhere. But here's the twist, they had no idea that every time they used mana, they were literally spawning monsters, their chaotic forms bursting out of the energy. This massive screw-up caused a catastrophic incident right before the 21st century, an event now infamously called the end of a century. These terrifying beings, now called monsters, rained down on the world, unleashing pure chaos and fire on every city. Faced with these grotesque, insectoid nightmares and their glowing red eyes, humanity was absolutely paralyzed with fear. Monsters exploded onto the scene, and suddenly, all the old rules, all the governments, they just crumbled. Humanity was left completely exposed. But then, mana. The only thing that could fight back. It flipped everything upside down, creating a whole new power structure where Korea's rich and the super strong players took over. Their bodies crackling with power, their weapons gleaming, these players became the absolute top dogs, blowing past all the old authorities. A new government eventually limped into place, but it was too late. The world was already a shattered, terrifying mess. The rich were freaking out, so they had no choice but to pay these players big bucks to clean up their mess, turning Korea into a nightmare, not a paradise. And out of this chaos came some seriously terrifying stuff, like this ghostly, charnel flame burning with an unholy white glow. And shadowy, skeletal monsters with glowing blue eyes and crackling energy that just screamed danger. Then there's this mysterious, regal woman, covered in crazy patterns, an eye patch, and eyes that glow with ancient blue power. She's clearly a force to be reckoned with in this wild new world. And as this insane history lesson drops, Lee Yu-young is just mesmerized, her eyes wide with wonder as she whispers. Meet the legendary goddess Lim Jae-yul, the very first player to step up and protect Korea. This former superstar actress didn't just act, she became Korea's ultimate protector. Her rare gift allowed her to both block incoming mana attacks and unleash devastating counterspells. Every player who swore to protect Korea would eventually become part of the legendary 12 thrones. Sure, the government said they controlled the players, but the real powerhouses were doing their own thing, following their own rules. With her incredible, one-of-a-kind power, Lim Jae-yul became a national hero, and was officially inducted into the legendary 12 thrones. Becoming one of the 12 thrones wasn't just an honor, it was a ticket to absolute power. They commanded both the government's mana bureau and their own formidable clans, giving them total control over the entire player world. A mysterious, ancient chamber pulses with an otherworldly glow, revealing a magnificent, ceremonial structure bathed in ethereal light. The energy surges, casting dramatic shadows across ancient carvings. When suddenly, the goddess Lim Jae-yul materializes, already conjuring shimmering mana particles. She commands attention, asserting that everyone will heed her words. With an elegant flourish, she coalesces a dazzling blue orb of raw energy between her palms. Her eyes burning with fierce determination as she continues her plea, demanding the power to safeguard the future. Then, a colossal wave of mana explodes from her, engulfing her in a blinding blue aura, her entire being radiating unimaginable power. The energy expands explosively, warping reality into a swirling vortex of pure light. Until it consumes a colossal, cosmic expanse, teeming with ethereal glowing particles and distant celestial bodies. The sprawling metropolis shimmered beneath the inky blackness. When Lim Jiayul, the goddess herself, prepared to unleash an absolute spectacle, boldly declaring her intent to put on a show before she vanished. A global phenomenon, utterly unprecedented, was about to ignite the very skies of Seoul. From a high-rise window, a young Yunha's mother and the girl with glasses stared in utter disbelief, questioning if they were actually seeing a meteor shower. As the mother's face lit up with pure wonder at the unfolding celestial event, the entire night sky above the city exploded into a breathtaking, cosmic canvas. A direct testament to Lim Jiayul's unfathomable power, as she silently gazed upon her magnificent creation. Years later, a grown No Yunha stood with his family, still utterly captivated by the beauty of the night sky, remarking to his mother how stunning it remained. With a look of profound hope, he clasped his hands together, truly believing they would finally be able to live their lives in absolute peace. His mother, her eyes closed in serene, heartfelt gratitude, offered a silent, profound thank you to the goddess. She kneels, hands clasped, as the kids around her mirror the solemn pose, their gazes fixed on the window. Years fly by, the kids grow up, but that quiet reverence. It's still there, as they stand, looking out at the world. One of them, now a young woman, feels that familiar pull, desperate to join the silent prayer. A memory flashes back, her younger self, pulling a serious-faced Yunha into prayer with her. But the boy, now a man, is burdened by a crushing question: did God even help? And why isn't he helping now? A time when even the gods themselves fell in the devastation, leaving him and others to battle in the ruins. Yet, the city lights still sparkle under a massive, starry sky. A testament to a fragile peace, held together by unseen forces. The young boy watches as the sky darkens once more. While his mother, hands clasped in earnest prayer, whispers her deepest desire, to simply live happily with her family. He looks on. A silent vow forming in his heart: in this life, he would ensure that happiness. Both mother and son share the same fervent hope, their hands pressed together in a shared plea for a peaceful existence. According to the goddess calendar, No Yunha turned 6, and the world began to unravel. A desolate landscape of skeletal ruins stretched into the gloom, a stark testament to a cataclysmic event. From the depths of the devastation, a monstrous entity with glowing red eyes emerged, its terrifying presence a harbinger of the end. The world was ending, and from the depths of that chaos, a monstrous, shadowy mass, writhing with dark energy, began to coalesce, its form vaguely tentacled and immense. This was the incident that had caused Yunha to lose his family. A cataclysmic event now looming large in his memory, forever changing his world. The real-life player system lights up, showcasing character profiles. Then we're thrown into a flashback, landing right outside the vibrant Duan kindergarten. Specifically, the always green pine class is about to get a new face. Teacher Taeyo, all smiles, hypes up the class: everyone. A new friend is joining us today. He turns to the stoic little guy next to him, prompting, Yunha, do you want to introduce yourself? The kid, No Yunha, stares straight ahead, dropping a blunt, my name's No Yunha. I'm. The other kids are just staring, waiting for more. Taeyo kneels down, trying to smooth things over, Yunha, that wasn't very nice. Don't you have anything to say? I think they want to be friends with you. Yunha's only response is a confused, huh. Suddenly, a pint-sized terror confronts him, her voice practically a shriek. Caught off guard, he can only blurt out her name, totally shocked to see her again. But Minji isn't backing down, her furious shouts echoing through the room. Their teacher swoops in like a superhero, trying to defuse the kindergarten drama, suggesting they just play nice until lunch. A massive sigh escapes the teacher, as he tries to wrangle the chaotic kids back into line. He then tries to get to the bottom of it, asking about his home and if he knows Minji, before deciding it's probably nothing to worry about. Later, strolling away from the kindergarten, he mentally crowns Minji the barbarian of the class, solidifying his ultimate verdict: he hates kids. He stops, peering into the children's books corner, his face a total mystery. He's found his sanctuary, tucked away in the library's quietest corner, devouring kids' books like they hold ancient secrets. A soft thud breaks the silence as he meticulously returns a book to its place. But he's not alone, a tiny gasp betrays a hidden presence from behind the towering shelves. It's Kim Minji, her signature pink bow bobbing, as she spies on him from above the books. Oblivious to the watchful eyes, he stays grounded, absorbed in his literary escape. A profound sadness etches itself onto his young face, a silent testament to thoughts far too heavy for a child. Minji can't hold back any longer, calling out to him, as if a game system itself is taunting him, demanding to know why Heiano is always a lone wolf with no friends. Chun Yunhyuk, a young boy with a band-aid on his nose, flashes a bright, innocent smile. But his moment of peace is shattered as Kim Minji, a girl with striking dark hair, calls out his name. Witnessing a group of kids ganging up on him, relentlessly mocking a ribbon he cherishes, their taunts cutting deep. They aggressively demand the ribbon, ignoring his desperate pleas that it was never theirs to begin with. shoving him to the ground as the chaotic scene escalates with shouts of, "Fight, fight." Minji's gaze turns steely, her resolve hardening as she steps in, her voice cutting through the noise, demanding they return what they stole. Yoonhyuk, clutching his precious ribbon, looks down, a whirlwind of emotions swirling within him. The tension hangs heavy as the children remain locked in their standoff. Until he finally lifts his gaze, a raw, challenging question burning in his eyes for those who wronged him. He's all alone, a heavy silence hanging as he just stares at those papers. But then, a fierce voice cuts through, calling out the bullies for being childish. And when one of them dares to talk back, the pink-haired girl explodes into action, fist already loaded. Before he can even blink, she lands a devastating, glowing kick right to his face, sending him flying. Without missing a beat, she unleashes another powerful kick, taking out the second bully. Both of them are sent absolutely soaring, tumbling head over heels down the staircase. With the bullies dealt with, she offers him a hand, delivering a sharp warning, "Don't mess up next time." He stares at the pink ribbon in his hand, a new, steely determination burning in his eyes. Then, he turns to face the two stunned bullies at the bottom of the stairs, challenging them, refusing to yield. Young Yoonha stands, a mysterious purple energy swirling around him, deep in contemplation. The defeated bully screams a chilling promise of revenge, but Yoonha and Yoonhyuk stand their ground, unyielding. Suddenly, a tiny hand reaches out, grabbing Yoonha's leg. He glances down at Minji, who presents him with a folded paper, a hesitant, escaping his lips. Minji's face lights up with a radiant smile, a heartfelt "thank you," echoing as she and the principal forge an unexpected friendship. Fast forward, and a focused Yoonha, now with eyes blazing blue, feels his surging mana, realizing his mother, Yu-young, and the girl with glasses are counting on him. His blue aura explodes, eyes burning with fierce determination as he targets his next mission. Young Yu-young stands, eyes closed, hands clasped, radiating an incredible blue energy. Yoonha observes her, a single, powerful "damn" escaping his lips. He watches her, realizing she's got an insane amount of mana, maybe even more than his sister. A powerful blue aura flares around her, signaling an insane new skill that'll make this kid a prodigy, a master forger in the future, even though he's never seen anyone reshape mana like this. Flashback to another time, a girl with glasses challenges him, declaring she won't be useless just because she doesn't have his mana, even if she's not a hunter. He just shoots back. "I don't know you." But then, he extends his hand, proposing, "Let's be friends." His hand is met by a small, hesitant grip from Kim Minji, a soft sound escaping her. A fierce glint in his eyes, he thinks, mana is everything in this world, and he needs to understand her potential. The girl with glasses, now shaking his hand, stammers out, Thanks." A bright smile lights up her face as she exclaims, "Let's be good friends." The vast, open sky gives way to a nostalgic memory, transporting us back to Yoonha's very own house. His mom, absolutely beaming, holds up a vibrant bouquet, showering him with thanks. A tiny Yoonha, looking a bit sheepish, remembers the paper carnation he crafted in kindergarten, which his mom apparently snagged from his bag. She gushes over his masterpiece, declaring it far superior to her own, and he can't help but grin, soaking in the praise. But a quick cut reveals his true, hilarious thought, that was also a carnation, and his mom was just terrible at making them. Then, his buddy Minji pops up, presenting him with another paper carnation, which he gratefully accepts. She playfully presses him, asking if he whipped one up for Yoonhyuk too. As the two young friends stand side by side, their handmade floral gifts a testament to their bond. Clutching a meticulously folded paper carnation, a heartfelt gift for his grandma, he beams. Back before the awakening, when family reunions were a regular thing, he'd spend his school days perfecting these paper flowers. He was a master at it, way better than his parents or even his grandma, the only one who could make them look so flawless. These little masterpieces would then go to his parents and grandma, who'd proudly show them off on the shoe cabinet. But even with all those carnations, he never once handed them directly to his mom, always fearing that the second he did, disaster would strike. All his training for his family, all his burning hatred for monsters, it all felt pointless, because he had no idea what was coming until the day she just disappeared. Now, in this life, he's desperate to show her his thanks, especially with May 4th, the goddess's day, drawing near. In a game-changing move, the government decided to unleash the monster roads, all to let citizens finally reunite with their families for the upcoming family month. And to brace for the monster onslaught on these fresh new routes, they brought in a massive number of players. But then, out of nowhere, a monstrous vermin appeared, and it was pure chaos. So many lives were just gone. And get this, on their way to see his grandma that very day, Yoonha and his family were literally sucked into the rift. But wait, there was a twist. People were saying his grandma was still alive, sparking a tiny bit of hope. So, little Yoonha could only ask, would they ever get to see grandma again? The family kept moving, but their future was totally up in the air. But the brutal truth hit hard, they couldn't go see Grandma. And that's when a burning resolve ignited in him, a silent promise that he would stop them, no matter what it took. The real-life player system blazes to life, offering a full suite of options from skills to quests. A question that instantly brings a heavy, somber look to Yunha's face as he remembers his maternal grandmother. He was a lonely orphan, his mother's side the only family he ever knew, and before his return, she was his sole guardian after he lost everyone else. She was always there, caring for him even when his emotions spiraled and he felt like he was losing his mind, right up until her death. His father, a whole other chapter, but a voice from the past echoes a promise, he'll see her again once he returns to the past. Minji's innocent voice shatters his thoughts, calling out to her parents, pleading to visit Grandma next time instead. His mother glances at him, a flicker of concern in her gaze, as Yunha lets out a surprised HM. The little girl doubles down, reminding them of their ironclad promise to go to Grandma's house today. He couldn't just surrender, not after everything he'd been through. So with a burning resolve, he swore he'd fight back and take what was his, no matter the cost. But then, a bright voice cut through his thoughts, reminding him that Children's Day was just around the corner. And Minji, absolutely buzzing with energy, announced her ultimate wish, a trip to the amusement park for the Viking ride, swearing it was totally fine if he went twice. Her excitement was absolutely contagious as she reached up, shouting her desire to conquer that wild ride. His mom, watching the whole thing, sighed that they hadn't been out in ages, a fact Yunha knew all too well was thanks to those relentless monsters. But then, a huge smile broke out on his face as he promised them, they were all going to the amusement park tomorrow. His mom's face instantly lit up, and she offered to pack the best lunch ever, ready to whip up anything Minji's heart desired. Minji, absolutely ecstatic, practically bounced off the walls, instantly demanding sandwiches and chicken nuggets for their epic day out. He absolutely refused to let history repeat itself. His family would not perish again, not on his watch. Seeing their radiant smiles, he knew this burning resolve would fundamentally alter the timeline, a future he was absolutely going to seize. His gaze sharpened, burning with an almost supernatural intensity, a fierce resolve radiating from his very core. But the quiet domestic scene was shattered by the sudden beep of a phone, and Yu-young picked up, her voice a cautious hello. Her face immediately clouded with worry as she recognized the voice, a hushed "Mom," escaping her lips, followed by a more urgent "My mother." Yunha instinctively reached out, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder as she continued the tense conversation, her voice now a mix of thanks and desperate pleading. The moment she ended the call, Yunha was on it, demanding to know what was wrong, his voice laced with urgency as he pressed about her mother's well-being. But Yu-young could only turn away, tears already forming in her eyes, her voice a choked whisper as she uttered a chilling phrase about everything collapsing. Yunha's eyes blazed crimson, a terrifying memory ripping through his mind as he relives the impossible truth. His beloved grandma, perfectly fine before his return, before he even stepped foot in the player academy. Snapping back to reality, Yu-jung's voice cracks with raw urgency, she has to check on her mother, right now. She vows to be back, even throwing in a worried thought for his mom, but his mind is already racing to the kids. Minji's tiny voice cuts through his thoughts, calling his name, pulling his gaze to the table. She kneels before him, her small face a mask of pure sorrow, barely able to whisper the devastating news, Grandma is hurt. He hears her, he knows she wants the amusement park, but he has to tell her they'll go another time. Minji's innocent words ignite a firestorm in Yunha's mind, his internal torment flaring, a crushing regret that he didn't fight harder to change the future, to save his grandma. His eyes burn with fierce resolve, but a chilling new fear takes hold, what if changing things even more just unleashes something worse? He couldn't save his grandma from the Kraken before, and if that's still the reality, then what was the point of coming back? One burning question screamed in his head, why did he even come back? His eyes flared with pure despair, the crushing realization hitting him, this was exactly like last time. A desperate, choked no escaped him, as the nightmare threatened to replay. But then, a burning resolve ignited, his eyes blazing with a powerful blue aura as he declared, it's me. I'm not the same. I've been training for this. His hand shot out, crackling with shimmering blue energy, a silent, ironclad vow forming, no matter what, he would protect her. If he failed to save his grandma from the Kraken, it was all over. A memory flashed, a younger him clutching his mom's hand, his little face already showing that same sadness. His mom, with a soft smile, had said, I guess I can't help you. Let's go see Grandma, a moment of childhood helplessness that now ignited his adult determination. The monstrous Kraken tentacle loomed, a dark, swirling mass of pure power, the ultimate threat he was now ready to confront head-on. His resolve is absolutely rock-solid, and no Yunha's eyes are practically burning with an electric blue intensity, showcasing the insane power now surging through him. This insane new power is laser-focused on the monstrous Kraken, a colossal, multi-limbed beast just oozing sinister purple energy. Its massive form, now fully revealed, pulses with a chilling blue aura, a total harbinger of pure devastation. The Mana Management Bureau, literally the guys keeping humanity safe, meticulously classified every single monster into ranks based on how much of a threat they were to global peace. Rank 5 monsters were just the ones polluting the environment or causing epidemics, while Rank 4 creatures were pulling off mid-level crimes like robbery and murder. Rank 3 monsters could actually form established societies inside dungeons or even have their own governing groups. But the real terror started with Rank 2, monsters that could literally manage and control other monsters, domesticate humans, or straight up threaten humanity's existence. Above them were Rank 1 entities, capable of causing government-level devastation and global disaster, all leading up to the absolutely catastrophic Rank 0 monsters, single entities powerful enough to cause wide-range administrative paralysis or just straight up destroy the entire world. Rank 1 monsters aren't just strong, they're world-enders, capable of wiping out humanity itself. A terrifying, all-seeing eye looms. He flashes back to his own brutal fight with the Kraken, a beast literally classified as an existential threat. But the current frontline? Just C-rank players. They stand no chance against the Kraken, not even close. He knows he can't handle this alone, not yet, but a desperate plan sparks in his eyes. The Kraken, a swirling vortex of tentacles and pure destruction, unleashes its full, terrifying might. He dives headfirst into the fiery chaos, a single warrior against an impossible foe. He has to hold them off, just until the legendary 12 thrones finally arrive. His determination burns, he's gotta buy every second he can get. Flashback to a chilling truth, the only weapons a child could ever hope to grasp, a pair of scissors and a utility knife, materialize in a glowing void. As a young Yunha clutches them, his mind racing with a desperate plea, he craves power to shield his loved ones, but dreads the moment they'll see the monster he's becoming. His eyes ignite with an eerie blue glow, a chilling realization that this path would isolate him, perhaps even turn his own family against him. Shattering the heavy silence, a young Lee Yujung's voice pierces through the doorway, demanding if he's prepared. She waits, a silent sentinel, urging him to move, declaring it's time to go. A fierce resolve carves itself onto his young face, Yunha's eyes burning with an unholy, unwavering blue. He stands, meeting her gaze head-on, a chilling declaration that he is ready for anything. Suddenly, the flashback shatters, replaced by a sprawling highway, jammed with cars, a chaotic ribbon under a fiery sunset. Inside a car, No Yunha is at the wheel, his mother, grandmother, and Minji riding along, their desperate journey pushing forward into the unknown. The car was flying, leaving the city behind, and No Yunha, ever the protector, checked on his family, a desperate plea for reassurance in his voice. "Are you really okay?" Then, his eyes locked onto Lee Yuyong, sitting right next to him, as their red escape vehicle tore through the twilight, leaving everything behind in a blur of speed and fading light. But a deeper, more urgent worry creased his brow, as he pressed her, needing to know if she would truly make it through this. Then, a cold dread slammed into him, his eyes blowing wide with pure, unadulterated fear. A terrifying question burned in his mind, had something in the future already shifted, twisting their fate? Lee Yujung's hand shot out, a silent, desperate, "Please," on her lips, while the world outside screamed a chilling command, "Let it all burn. Let it crumble before your very eyes." And then, in a blinding, earth-shattering flash, the car simply vanished in a catastrophic explosion. A brutal, undeniable truth screamed through the inferno, "You cannot change fate." Lee Yujung's face twisted in pure, unadulterated horror. And No Yunha's eyes mirrored her exact, gut-wrenching despair, blown wide open to the horrifying, inescapable reality of their end. The car, utterly obliterated, smolders in a crater of destruction. It's a scene of pure chaos, as if the world itself was mocking his desperate plea. But rewind just a second, inside that doomed ride, No Yunha and Lee Yuyong were locked in a death grip, their faces screaming pure, unadulterated terror, staring down the barrel of absolute annihilation. His eyes, burning with dread, saw the truth, it finally showed itself. Then, from the abyss, a monstrous shadow rose, a freaking rank 5 disaster-class monster, its colossal body radiating pure, destructive energy. The terrified masses below could only gape, as its terrifying name was finally screamed, the Kraken. The city is under attack. A massive, dark purple tentacle crashes down, unleashing a shockwave that tears through everything. But No Yunha, a level 6 real-life player, gets absolutely rocked by the monster's attack, sent flying through the air. The monster's rampage doesn't stop, obliterating a car in a shower of glass and twisted metal. A massive crack rips through the air, the ground itself trembling from the sheer power. And it just keeps going, ripping through a building like it's made of paper. A terrified civilian can only scream, "Run away," as the monster closes in. The crowd is in full panic mode, yelling, "What are the hunters doing?" just as someone shouts back, "They're coming." And just like that, No Yunha and a blonde hunter are on the scene, the blonde hunter barking, distract the people, as they get ready to throw down. A guttural cry rips from him as the unseen force absolutely rocks his body, triggering a colossal explosion that absolutely shreds the area. and launching him violently backward through a storm of debris. The city is pure pandemonium. Cars are flipped, people are screaming in sheer terror, and colossal monster tentacles are just wrecking everything in sight. But amidst the absolute mayhem, a blonde hunter and Lee Yu-young stand their ground, staring down the destruction, while terrified civilians confront them, screaming about being abandoned and demanding answers. Trapped inside a car, little Kim Minji is absolutely bawling for help, clutching onto Yunha's mother as the world outside goes completely insane. No, Yunha, now behind the wheel, knows it's a death trap to move, but he's got that grim look in his eye, because he knows this is their only shot at making it out alive. His eyes blaze with an intense, fiery resolve as he locks onto their escape route, utterly convinced that a calm, calculated move is their ticket to getting out safely. Amidst the unfolding disaster, No Yunha lets out a desperate, primal cry, "Dad." His wife, fighting back panic, tries to calm them, insisting they exit the car, promising player protection, but her apology hints at the true horror. They emerge into a scene of utter devastation, the city a graveyard of twisted metal and shattered concrete. Pure, unadulterated fear grips her as the stark reality of danger screams in her mind. A child's terrified shout of "Nuna" cuts through the air as the father swiftly moves to aid the struggling grandmother. Inside, the mother battles her own paralysis, a fierce internal scream of, "Why can't I get up? I need to get up." But then, a fierce resolve ignites in her eyes. She will protect her child and her mother, a mirrored determination etched on his face. She volunteers to carry the grandmother, but he's already there, hoisting the elder onto his back with powerful resolve. Her voice laced with worry, she checks on the grandmother, who, with surprising resilience, declares she can walk. He's shouting, pushing through the absolute chaos, telling everyone to follow him and run. But a rank 3 goblin just popped up in the distance, and the players are losing their minds. Still, the veteran players, they get it, they're trying to get everyone out of there. But Yunha? He sees something else, something only he can perceive, and he knows that Goblin has to go down, now, before it wrecks everything. Then, a blinding flash of speed, and he's on it, landing a crushing, invisible hit. The monster just folds, crashing to the ground with a sickening thud. He's got his mom and Minji clutched tight, their faces pure terror, when suddenly, a new, terrifying presence just appears. Out of nowhere, a monstrous, clawed hand shoots out, pulsing with this creepy, sickly green glow. His eyes go wide with pure terror, this new, sudden threat just locks him down. He's still in the thick of it, tearing through monsters, his battle cry echoing as he pushes everyone to get out. But then, a new horror surfaces, a grotesque, diver monster with fangs that could shred steel, a truly terrifying sight. And just like that, it strikes. A brutal hit tears through another hunter's shoulder, her scream piercing the chaos. He's still battling, pushing back the monster onslaught, but his eyes lock onto the fallen hunter. He scoops her up, yelling out, desperate for anyone with healing magic. Then, a hero emerges from the chaos, her voice cutting through the noise, a beacon of hope. Yu-young wastes no time, her eyes locked in concentration, as a powerful glow erupts from her hands. The magic surges, vibrant particles exploding around her, a blinding aura of healing engulfing the wounded. Amidst the escalating chaos, a grotesque goblin ambushed Yunha from behind, its spear thrusting with deadly intent. But before the strike could connect, Yunha pivoted, delivering a devastating smash that sent a horde of monsters, including the terrifying diver, flying. Terrified civilians cowered nearby, one of them barely able to comprehend the monstrous reality, while another grimly declared that belief was irrelevant now. With a fierce, determined grimace, Yunha understood their beliefs were meaningless, only survival mattered, shouting for them to run and never glance behind them. No time to waste, he snatched up a child, tearing through the shattered cityscape, his pounding footsteps a desperate rhythm to just run. A quick look back confirmed their escape route, even as the very earth fractured under the relentless assault. Meanwhile, the colossal diver monster shrieked, its monstrous, segmented purple arm coiling with raw, destructive might. It tore through the city, obliterating cars and structures with horrifying ease, a chilling, guttural laugh echoing its destructive rampage. With a final, sickening crunch, the beast pulverized yet another vehicle, its destructive fury seemingly boundless. The monstrous diver is absolutely unleashing, its colossal purple arm smashing down with earth-shattering force. Sending a tidal wave of debris flying, absolutely obliterating cars and buildings. With more rubble raining down, Yunha's face hardens, the danger clear. He instantly pulls Minji and a terrified civilian into his protective embrace, shouting a warning as he shields them from the deadly shrapnel. The diver's rampage is absolutely relentless, another devastating blow ripping through the city. More debris just keeps falling, every piece a brutal reminder of the monster's sheer might. Then, a blinding explosion erupts, swallowing a whole section of the city in a fiery inferno. The destruction just keeps spreading, a wider shot showing the terrifying scale of this monster's power. Through the smoke and rubble, Yunha and Minji can only watch as the city crumbles under the monster's relentless assault. The city's crumbling, panic rising. Civilians are screaming, "Where's the backup?" Bad news hits hard. Officials confirm the escape route is blocked by fire, and it's only been minutes since this nightmare started. He knows they have to stand their ground, just hold on until backup gets there. A flashback to a hunter's past. Before he was one of the legendary 12 emperors, he was just a regular hunter, fighting for his life. Back to the present, Yunha's mind races. Can the players really protect everyone here, with the escape route totally blocked? The monster's still tearing through the city, and it's clear, this is way worse than anyone thought. He lets out a heavy sigh, deep in thought, the weight of the world on his shoulders. He needs something big, something powerful, an item he's been holding onto for exactly this kind of do-or-die moment. He grips the glowing item, his resolve burning, ready to sacrifice everything, even his own life. He grips the glowing item, its power radiating, as a desperate voice from behind him cuts through the chaos, demanding answers. He spins around to face his family, only to be met with a child's terrified scream, a desperate cry to stay put amidst the encroaching horror. His eyes narrow, a fierce question tearing from his throat, a desperate challenge to their presence in this death trap. A wave of sorrow crosses his face, but his determination burns brighter, a chilling realization, he's the only one who can end this nightmare. He pulls her into a fierce embrace, a silent vow screaming through the chaos, he will protect them, no matter the cost. His gaze sweeps over his family, a chilling thought forming, what if he leaves the only one behind who can possibly handle this escalating nightmare? His eyes blaze with an unholy light, a terrifying grin splitting his face as he throws down a gauntlet, a brutal test of her resolve. Her face twists in pure terror and disbelief, his name ripped from her throat in a desperate, pleading cry. With a brutal, sudden shove, he pushes her away, her scream of his name tearing through the air as she reels back. The moment is here. No Yunha's eyes burn with fierce resolve as he unleashes the item's power, a blinding, red-orange aura erupting around him. A sick holographic display pops up, showing the real-life player system and No Yunha's stats front and center. Forget the giant monster in the background. He's full-on sprinting through the ruined city, laser-focused on his goal. Every single step is pure power, his feet blazing with electric blue energy, leaving glowing streaks behind. The ground literally explodes beneath him, as insane blue light bursts from every single footfall. And then, with an epic power surge, he screams, "Heavenly Step," as his whole body gets engulfed in a blinding, crackling blue aura. The air itself warps and twists, turning into a chaotic storm of pure, concentrated lightning. His stare gets razor-sharp, his eyes literally burning with an insane, electric blue glow. His face hardens with pure determination as he declares, "My family is not going to be in danger anymore. I will protect them." With his power maxed out, he knows this move means he can get to them in an instant. A colossal, grotesque monster lets out a terrifying roar, its purple energy absolutely radiating amidst the city's ruins. Meanwhile, he's absolutely tearing through the landscape with incredible speed, just a blur of pure motion. Elsewhere, a car is absolutely flying through the devastated landscape, with the blonde hunter at the wheel and Li Yuyong riding shotgun. But then, the monstrous entity absolutely smashes into their vehicle, while No Yunha is closing the distance, screaming a warning that it's super dangerous over there. Closer to the heart of the chaos, two absolutely vicious, fish-like creatures are snarling, their red eyes glowing with pure malice. Minji, her mother, and grandmother are huddled together in absolute terror, as the looming monster casts its terrifying shadow right over them. With an insane surge of power, his fist absolutely ignites with crackling blue energy, activating a full-on mana coating. Surrounded by a vibrant blue aura, he absolutely plunges into the fray, striking down multiple monsters with his supercharged fist. With a monstrous claw lunging and a guttural roar, he's already moving, a total blur of speed, closing the gap on that beast in an instant. Bathed in vibrant blue mana, he unleashes a powerful mid-air kick, smashing one of the smaller monsters back with a pang. No breaks. He keeps the momentum, another mana-infused strike, crashing into a second monster with a kwang. That blue mana coating just flares, its raw power exploding on impact. He lands in the chaos, striking another monster, his moves just pure, relentless flow. Then he pivots, a forceful kick to a bigger beast, the impact a sharp pang. He's charging up, blue mana swirling violently, a focused kwuh escaping him as he preps a decisive blow. He launches into the air, descending with a powerful, mana-coated downward strike, a swift, SSAAK slicing motion cutting through the air. The strike connects with devastating force, tearing through the monster's form with a sickening thud and buwook. With a gaze sharp and absolutely locked on, he's already scanning for the next target, pure determination burning in his eyes. Without even a second's hesitation, he unleashes a devastating kick, sending a monster absolutely flying, its form disintegrating on impact. He's airborne, mid-leap. And slams down onto another monster, his mana-charged fist delivering a bone-shattering blow. Then, with a primal roar, he supercharges his power, his eyes blazing with electric blue energy as his hand practically explodes with raw force. He unleashes an absolutely devastating energy burst, wiping out an entire cluster of enemies and sending them flying in every single direction. The sheer, raw exertion contorts his face, leaving nothing but pure destruction and splattered blood in his furious wake. He's still in the thick of it, mana blazing, every move a desperate gamble to stay alive. But the numbers are just too much, and he gets slammed to the ground, monsters closing in. But something snaps inside him, his eyes flaring a terrifying, blood red. Still down, he lets out a roar, mana exploding as the monsters keep coming. Battered and surrounded, he's fighting for every inch against the endless onslaught. With a monster lunging for the kill, it all clicks into place. The mana coating his body is changing, it's a whole new level, unlike anything he felt before becoming the undead. And in this exact moment, a chilling resolve takes over his face. He unleashes his ultimate declaration, I'm going back to becoming the undead. A primal scream rips from Yunha's very core, his eyes igniting with a terrifying crimson glow as a ferocious blue aura explodes around him. The sheer, unbridled power of his undead state manifesting as he launches himself forward, a lightning-fast blur of motion absolutely shredding the first monster. He absolutely decimates the horde, each strike radiating with that same potent, destructive energy, his movements a relentless, unstoppable whirlwind of pure destruction. With a sharp, determined grunt, he coils his power, ready to unleash another explosive assault. A devastating kick connects, sending a monster absolutely flying. The creature's body contorts violently from the impact, blue energy exploding from the point of contact. He leaps again, instantly closing the distance to another foe, his next strike already a blur of deadly motion. Another monster is violently thrown back, its form completely engulfed in the explosive blue energy. He continues his absolutely relentless assault, each blow a brutal testament to his newly unleashed power. He's not holding back, unleashing another devastating punch that explodes with a blinding orange light. A frustrated grimace crosses his face, it didn't seem to last, he growls, clearly not happy with the situation. No time to waste. He blasts off, a pure streak of speed tearing through the environment. Bam! Another hit connects, his fist now crackling with electric blue energy, delivering an explosive impact. The blue aura absolutely explodes around him, his eyes burning with pure power as he rockets through the battlefield. He slams down, the impact shaking the very ground beneath him as he maintains his incredible speed. Whoa! Out of nowhere, a massive, shadowy tentacle erupts from the ruins, and behind it, the terrifying silhouette of a hooded figure. This is insane. A gargantuan monster, bigger than anything, towers over the city, making cars and people look like ants. But he's not backing down. He channels his power, a concentrated blast of blue energy crackling in his hands, ready to face this impossible threat head-on. A gigantic purple tentacle, absolutely massive, just drops from the sky, glowing with this eerie orange light. But down below, Yunha is already locked in, staring up at this monstrosity. And bam! A blinding blue aura explodes from him, unleashing a focused energy blast that just smashes into the tentacle. The sheer power of his attack is insane, ripping through the tentacle and sending shockwaves that just obliterate the city around it. That blue energy just keeps drilling into the tentacle, showing off all those gross suction cups underneath. A massive crack just rips across the tentacle's surface, proving this attack is seriously hurting it. Yunha just unleashes another surge, pushing his blue energy even deeper, causing a huge explosion of water and debris. Still glowing with that insane blue power, he looks up, ready for whatever comes next. He unleashes another devastating blue energy blast, absolutely hammering the colossal tentacle, sending shockwaves ripping through its monstrous form as it lets out a guttural shriek of pure agony. But he's not done. Unyielding, he charges up even more power, a primal roar tearing from his throat as his aura explodes. The sheer, concentrated force of his next strike makes the tentacle visibly crack, splinter, and explode. He just keeps channeling immense energy, a relentless, unstoppable torrent of blue light ripping through the monster. The colossal limb writhes in absolute agony, its surface visibly scarred and shredded by the relentless assault. Another thunderous impact rocks the tentacle to its very core. The monster lets out a guttural, agonizing cry as the limb is violently ripped backward by the sheer, overwhelming force. No, Yunha, absolutely unwavering in his resolve, just keeps up his relentless, devastating barrage against the colossal threat. He clutches the shattered hilt, a stark truth hitting him hard, his precious blades are gone, leaving him utterly exposed. The mangled remains of his final weapon lay useless on the dirt. But a burning resolve ignites within him, raw purple energy exploding around his body as he challenges, is this seriously all I've got left? Level 8 and ready to rumble, the real-life player dives in. No, Yunha unleashes a devastating blue energy strike on the massive purple monster. No slowing down, he slams another hit, the monster reeling. One more massive hit, and the beast stumbles back, rocked to its core. No mercy, he blasts it with a focused burst of blue power. The monster's skin glows and cracks, showing the brutal damage it's taking. A primal scream rips from him, as he charges up for the next crushing blow. Before he can finish it, a giant tentacle lashes out, and he barely dodges the monster's furious counter. Eyes blazing with pure grit, No Yunha locks in, his resolve unbreakable in the face of danger. No Yunha unleashes another devastating blue energy blast, tearing into the monster's tentacle with explosive force. Following up with a lightning-fast, mana-charged kick, he sends the colossal beast staggering back. But then, a chilling realization hits him as his blue aura sputters, a frustrated, "damn it," ripping from his throat. He's almost completely drained of mana. Capitalizing on his weakness, the monster's tentacle lashes out with blinding speed. It connects with a thunderous crash, shattering the cavern around them. Yunha screams as the impact launches him off his feet, catapulting him violently through the cavern. He crashes hard into the unforgiving rock. The sheer power of the blow sends him flying, a single, enraged thought bursting from his mind. Dark energy crackles, a raw, destructive force, the monster's attack still slamming into him with unbelievable might. He's violently hurled through the air, a fading blue aura barely clinging to him as he's launched like a human missile. Meanwhile, the monster's grotesque tentacles writhe and coil, their purple forms pulsing with pure, unadulterated malevolence. Yunha slams into the ground, the impact kicking up a massive cloud of dust and debris as he hits with bone-jarring force. The monster's tentacles loom menacingly over the devastation, a chilling declaration of its absolute power. The entire area is a wasteland of utter destruction, shattered earth and flying debris painting a grim picture of the monster's rampage. Even a massive truck lies twisted and mangled, a stark testament to the raw, unbridled power unleashed. The monster's tentacles continue to pulse with dark energy, its overwhelming presence a suffocating weight over the utterly devastated landscape. The monster's brutal assault had just torn through the environment. But No Yunha wasn't about to stay down. "Take it easy, you bastard," he screamed, pure defiance radiating from him. A colossal wave of azure power erupted from his body, tearing up the very ground around him. Before he unleashed it all in one devastating, vertical energy slash. The attack connected, slicing clean through the monster's massive limb, sending it crashing down with an earth-shattering impact. But the sheer force of his own blow, or a hidden counter, sent him reeling, collapsing to the ground, still faintly glowing. Then, a massive explosion rocked the battlefield, catching him in its fiery embrace. Leaving him struggling, gasping for every single breath. Ha! Still reeling from the impact, he fights to push himself up, raw blue energy flaring around his hands. His hands reach out, purple energy crackling with desperate power. A guttural grunt of pain rips from him, his face contorted in agony. The lingering smoke and debris from the explosion still choke the air, a testament to the brutal impact. Lying amidst the wreckage, a defeated thought echoes in his mind. Am I out of options, he wonders, his hand reaching out weakly, refusing to give up. But then, with a surge of raw resolve, he pushes himself up, knowing that if he loses consciousness now, everything will be lost. Not if I still have options. If I lose consciousness here, everything will be lost. Meanwhile, a mysterious purple crystal glows ominously in the darkness, a new path perhaps. Its ethereal light pulses softly, beckoning him. He slams his fist into the ground, a raw, desperate surge of will powering through his broken body. His body is screaming, but his spirit roars, not yet. His eyes blaze with pure defiance, a furious refusal to die here. One thought, one burning desire, I want to live. The faces of his family, his reason for everything, burn into his mind, a desperate vow, I want to live happily with my family in this life. Just as his will solidifies, the very earth before him rips open, and a monstrous, glowing purple mass erupts, pulsing with raw, alien power. It stretches, a colossal, tentacled horror clawing its way out of the abyss, its surface alive with crackling, arcane light. Even with this monstrous new threat, Yunha's resolve doesn't falter, his voice a guttural roar, I don't want to die here. His eyes, burning with a desperate, unyielding will, lock onto the anomaly, a single, powerful word escaping him, so. A flashback hits. Young Yunha's eyes are glued to something incredible, a moment that changed everything. His big sister, a total guardian, throws herself in front of him, screaming, don't hurt my brother. But that memory shatters into a blinding golden explosion, a child silhouette at the heart of it all, pure, raw power just blasting out. A massive quang rips through the air as the energy just keeps expanding, shredding everything in its path. An armored fist, belonging to some poor monster, gets absolutely obliterated by the blast, just exploding into a million pieces. Two hideous fish monsters are straight up terrified, their jaws dropping at the sheer power unleashed. And there he is, Yunha, standing tall in the eye of the golden storm, the radiant energy just exploding from his very being. The golden light just keeps getting brighter, pushing out with unstoppable force, a literal wave of pure destruction. And then, a huge, multi-limbed monster gets absolutely caught in the devastating surge, its massive body just getting ripped apart and obliterated. Golden light explodes from a young boy's eyes, fixed on a girl, miracle, igniting, a power that could literally rewrite the world's rules. Before everything reset, Yunha was the only one with this insane miracle gift, and the only person he could ever truly trust was his partner, Lee Yu-young. With an insane amount of mana coursing through him, he once questioned if SHE also had the gift, maybe even by accident, as he gazes up at her glowing, almost divine form. Young Yunha gets a comforting hug from Yu-young, her words a soothing balm, and just like that, his wounds start to close. It's fine now, Yunha, she reassures him. His eyes blaze gold as he holds her close, his injuries literally vanishing. And that's not all, a massive, glowing crystal pulses with raw power, hinting at the true, mind-blowing potential of the miracle. A blinding, ethereal light explodes into existence, a force known only as mana. But there's a gift beyond even that, a power so immense it can literally reconstruct the entire world. No Yunha wielded this miracle, a gift that could rewrite reality itself. In a tender moment, a young Yunha anxiously checks on his partner, asking if she's okay, if she's in any pain. She manages a soft, weary smile, reassuring him she's fine. But the exhaustion is clear as she confesses to being incredibly sleepy. Moments later, she's out cold, leaning against his shoulder. Then, a breathtaking golden glow erupts from her, shimmering with countless, vibrant particles. Only an unimaginable energy could heal such devastating injuries and keep her heart beating. Staring at the miraculous light, Yunha can only whisper, "Is mana, the miracle?" Yu-young sleeps, but the fight isn't over. He makes a silent vow, he's handling the rest. His eyes ignite with an intense blue glow, Yunha is ready to throw down. Blue energy explodes around him as he vows, "I will take care of it." He slams into the colossal tentacled beast, blue energy exploding on impact, a massive quang echoing through the air. The beast's skull-like face, with its glowing red eyes, is pure nightmare fuel. Blue power erupts from the ground, a desperate move in this insane fight. He lets out a frustrated grunt, realizing this thing is way tougher than it looks, more dangerous than I thought. A colossal tentacle lashes out, moving with terrifying speed. Another quang rips through the air, the fight escalating to a brutal climax. The colossal, dark form of the tentacled monster looms, its segmented body coiling menacingly against the desolate landscape, a true nightmare made manifest. Standing firm on a jagged rock, No Yunha stares it down, a fierce resolve hardening his gaze as he declares, "You won't be able to." He's not backing down. With that challenge, his body ignites with crackling blue lightning, glowing particles swirling around him as he prepares for the next strike, power surging through his very being. A slick holographic interface pops up, screaming Relife Player status, showcasing insane skills like Aura, Infernal, Nemesis, and Rage. Then, out of nowhere, colossal, multi-eyed purple tentacles erupt. Just as No Yunha unleashes a burst of crackling blue lightning magic, with a poof that signals a massive power surge. He slams into the monstrous appendages with a glowing blue weapon, the impact lighting up the whole dark cavern. But even after all that, he realizes only his mana has been recovered, and those colossal tentacles are still a massive threat. He keeps blasting more blue lightning, the energy crackling around the monstrous enemy. Then the harsh truth hits him, he can't take down the Kraken right now. But then, a completely different scene flashes by, showing a smiling Lee Yu-young with a man and a child, a narration box boldly stating that the future has changed. No Yunha looks up, a slight smile playing on his lips as he thinks, he doesn't have to worry about that anymore, he just needs to power up from now on. When the Kraken first showed up, the entire city just froze, traffic gridlocked everywhere. Trapped in the jam, he remembers the rumors, someone actually cashed in big from the Kraken's attack. But the cars aren't moving an inch. A foot slams the pedal, and the driver's like, "Are you even driving right now?" No Yunha snaps back, "Eyes on the road, buddy." The driver just shrugs, "Everyone's driving like this." But Yunha's mind is racing, he has to get stronger, he can't just sit around doing nothing. He talked his way out of it, because he needs to get way stronger, and not just for some random civilians, but for something much bigger. The driver just lets out a small laugh, probably used to his passenger's intensity. Whoa! A massive mana surge just hit, and No Yunha is totally feeling it, locked in a car with some intense dude. The red-haired guy across from him is totally on the same page, confirming this insane mana spike that Yunha already knew was there. A deep growl rumbles from the red-haired guy, his face twisting into a serious, almost hungry look. Suddenly, his phone buzzes, cutting through the tension, and he snatches it up, demanding to know if the other person felt that too. The caller ID flashes, Park Hiram, and he gets the confirmation he was looking for, yes. Hiram's voice cuts through the line, demanding to know what rank this thing is. The answer hits hard, a rank 1 rift, according to the association. His eyes snap shut, then open with a terrifying red glow, the news hitting him like a truck. With a fierce, almost primal glare, Park Hiram roars, "Where is it?" The alert blares across his screen, a monster sighting in Jeongdong. Yunha sees the crowds already swarming the area. This colossal, tentacled horror has appeared right on the Han River. At the same time, Hiram gets the intel on the rank 1 rift, 0 damage from any player, and it's been open for ages. His eyes ignite with fierce intensity as he demands confirmation. A rapid message sent, the call abruptly cut. He bursts from his car, catching a whisper of Clan Sangyu. Still trapped in his own vehicle, Yunha shouts, demanding to know what he's doing. Hiram whips around, shocked to see him, then declares their current ride is useless for the speed they need. A guttural snarl of pure frustration rips from Yunha as his knuckles whiten on the steering wheel. With a determined glint in his eye, Park Hiram's hand ignites with a faint, ethereal energy, signaling his next move. His sudden action draws a surprised gasp from Yunha, who can only exclaim, "Oh, right." Totally caught off guard. Hiram, however, remains laser-focused, muttering that he can't afford to waste another second. With a resounding pong, a surge of pure strength explodes from his hand, glowing with intense blue energy. The blue energy envelopes his entire form, crackling with raw power as he prepares for a game-changing move. The aura around him intensifies, the lightning growing brighter and more volatile, ready to unleash. Then, with a powerful quadjik, he stomps down, the sheer force of his impact cracking the car's floor beneath his glowing foot. The floor explodes outwards, sending debris flying as he propels himself upward in a burst of speed. He bursts through the roof, leaving a gaping, smoking hole in the car as the blue energy dissipates around his vanishing form. He's gone. The car was still flying, but Hiram was already going full throttle, his body crackling with an insane blue energy, those red eyes burning with pure, unadulterated resolve. Back in the driver's seat, Yunha was absolutely floored, staring at the gaping hole where Hiram just vanished. Then it clicked, Hiram was gone, leaving Yunha to deal with this mess solo. But Hiram's voice, sharp and resolute, cut through the air. He was going in first, no questions asked. And just like that, in a place crawling with absolute nightmares, a gnarly monster with fangs and claws let loose a terrifying, ground-shaking roar. But before that beast could even twitch, Hiram, a blur of pure fire, was already on the attack, moving with insane velocity. His hit landed with a brutal, earth-shattering impact, exploding into a massive fireball that swallowed the monster whole. And as the smoke cleared, Hiram touched down, looking utterly dominant, radiating raw power. Hiram explodes into action, a surge of pure determination on his face. He rockets off the overpass, a blinding yellow energy erupting from his form. Hitting the ground in a combat crouch, he instantly registers the insane, high-level mana flooding the streets. A dangerous smirk spreads across Yunha's face, the gears turning as he grasps the gravity of the situation. Then he's gone, diving headfirst into the fray, a storm of blue lightning surrounding him as he locks onto the grotesque rock monster. The colossal purple rock monster, eyes burning red, barely has time to react before the strike. His lightning-charged fist slams home, a shockwave of pure power ripping through the monster's stony form. He lands with a crackle, blue energy still dancing, as the beast stumbles back from the devastating hit. Massive cracked spiderweb across its body, glowing with an ominous, destructive red. The colossal rock monster unleashes a primal roar, its arm pulsating with furious red energy as it shakes off the hit. As the monster roars, No Yunha slams down with a heavy thud, blue lightning still sparking around him from his devastating strike. But even after that hit, the monster's hide is unbelievably tough, its rocky skin proving far thicker than anyone expected. Watching the monster shrug off the attack, Park Hiram instantly spots its weak point, identifying it as possessing the terrifying pyrokinesis of a flame demon king. Without a moment's pause, a scorching torrent of flames explodes, swallowing the monster's head in a fiery, roaring inferno. The beast's entire upper body is instantly consumed by the raging fire, its rocky form superheated and glowing. The flames continue their relentless, conquering assault, overwhelming the monster with pure, unadulterated heat. While the monster burns, Yunha is already poised, a glowing blue magic circle igniting beneath his feet, ready for the next move. This incredible power, known as pyrokinesis, is a rare and devastating gift that grants its user absolute control over fire. Standing tall amidst the destruction, his glowing blade still radiating power, Park Hiram, the legendary Demon Flame, makes his presence known. And he's already sizing up the situation, recognizing two figures as being on their side. Two young players, a male and a female, are barely clinging on, huddled together on the ravaged ground, their faces screaming fear and exhaustion. Hiram's gaze falls upon them, and he can't help but think, they're just two kids. The male player holds the female close, and Hiram's mind races, wondering if they somehow used magic to pull off an escape. He quickly puts the pieces together, realizing the female must have passed out from pushing her mana too far. And the guy? He was shielding her from a goblin, proving they're both players, just like him. A sly smirk spreads across his face as he eagerly awaits the chaos and reactions from the other players. The male player, still holding the female close, confesses he's completely in the dark about their current predicament, at least for now. His eyes lock on a threat, a fierce determination burning within him, even as the girl beside him is completely overwhelmed, tears streaming down her face. He knows there's only one way out of this mess, and that's to take down the monster, no matter what. He steps up, shielding her with his body, and barks at her to stay behind him. A confident smirk spreads across his face, he knows the beast is about to burst out of the water any second. Then, with a massive kwang, the colossal rock monster erupts from the water, its purple body radiating raw power. A deep, rumbling "Gyoryoryoryu" shakes the very ground, as the monster fully reveals its terrifying might. The screen lights up, revealing a real-life player profile. It's No Yunha, level 10, ready for action. But before the regression, a cocky red-haired Park Hiram challenges him, smirking, "Are you really the undead everyone's talking about?" His eyes narrow, sensing something familiar. "Your aura is unique, just like his." Yunha just stares back, his face giving nothing away. Standing in a desolate city, he shuts down the whole conversation with a blunt, "Don't waste my time. I don't fight guys." Hiram's smirk grows, revealing his true motive. "Nah, nothing. Just wanted to confirm the rumors for myself." Yunha's face stays stone cold, his reply sharp, "Not interested." With one last look, Hiram spins around, walking off and grumbling, "Just get out of my way." Yunha watches him walk away, a quiet "voo" escaping him as he processes the strange interaction. Blue lightning explodes around him, his eyes blazing with raw power as a single, electrifying thought rips through his mind. A primal urge to never forget the absolute rush of the fight, as the real-life player system detonates around him in a scorching inferno. He flashes back to a past life, armored and wielding a flaming sword, engulfed in a raging inferno, the sheer intensity of that battle still searing his soul. Then, in a flash, he's back, rocketing forward, blue lightning ripping through the air behind him, a pure surge of unstoppable force. The real-life player system roars to life once more. Its scorching flames engulfing everything, a blazing testament to the sheer power he commands. He's haunted by a crushing memory, kneeling over a broken Lee Yu-young in a desolate wasteland, the agony of that moment forever burned into his soul. Holding her tight, the memory screams through him, a burning oath, he will never forget how he was pushed to the brink to defeat that monster. Now, in a shattered city, No Yunha stands defiant, staring down a colossal rock monster, because the legend says he only gets stronger the more he fights. This guy. He's not just a fighter, he's a monster born for battle, pure and simple. Then, with a taunting grin, he shouts, "Hey, you coward. Why are you hiding? A little fire got you spooked, huh?" And just like that, bam. A massive hit connects, shattering chunks off the colossal rock monster. Meanwhile, Yunha and Yu-young are just watching the whole thing go down, a massive thud shaking the very ground beneath them. But Hiram? He's just annoyed, grumbling, "Ugh, seriously? Not this again. This idiot." Crash. Another hit connects, and the rock monster just keeps taking damage, pieces flying everywhere. Hiram's eyes gleam with deadly intent as he declares, "Winning isn't the goal. I fight to kill." Then, a blinding blue spear of energy rips through the air, slamming into the ground with a hexagonal explosion. And from that impact, a gigantic blue energy barrier erupts, trapping the rock monster in a shimmering, watery prison. Park Hiram, with a confident smirk, declared the timing absolutely perfect. Before dramatically turning his gaze upwards to a distant helicopter and yelling, "Mother." His voice boomed, directly taunting the rock monster still trapped in his shimmering blue barrier, "I always knew you'd be no good." "Really, mother?" Suddenly, Lee Yu-young, famously known for her ability to trash Park Hiram, made her dramatic entrance. She reacted with absolute shock, utterly baffled as to why Hiram was calling the monstrous creature "mother." Hiram, completely unfazed by her confusion, simply pointed forward with a grin and declared, "All right, then. Let's go." Just as reinforcements poured in, a clear directive cut through the chaos, urging Yunha to lock his focus entirely on the monster. While Hiram, now absolutely radiating with a vibrant blue aura, dramatically prepared his sword for the impending battle. And Yunha, now gripping a glowing staff, confidently retorted with a smirk, "I don't need any buffs, you know." A blue aura explodes around him as he shuts down any talk of needing help, declaring he's got this. With a small drone zipping off, he coolly announces he's leaving the kids to someone else. Poised on a rocky ledge, his figure radiates a soft blue glow, braced for the ultimate showdown. He pulls the terrified woman into a tight embrace, his protective aura exploding as a massive impact shakes everything, a deafening crash echoing around them. Her eyes filled with worry, she gives a small, knowing nod. Suddenly, the water below starts to boil and ripple like crazy, a mysterious blue light pulsing from the abyss. With a disgusting sizzle, the rock monster's head bursts forth, its red eyes burning as horrifying mini-monsters start erupting from its body. The colossal beast keeps growing, more of its rock spawn ripping out with a deafening crash. And then, the entire rock monster bursts from the water, now swarming with its fresh army of minions, its colossal form pulsing with an eerie blue light. Amidst the chaos, a blue-hued powerhouse bursts onto the scene, and Park Hyrum can't help but shout out, "You're finally here." No time to waste. No Yunha rockets into action, a lightning-fast streak across the arena. He covers ground in a flash, unleashing a devastating, invisible blow. But the rock monster isn't done yet. Its eyes blaze crimson, as it unleashes a terrifying roar and a colossal rock fist. Then, the very earth explodes in a fiery inferno, blasting scorching flames high into the air. And from the epicenter of that blazing chaos, a gigantic, fiery lotus-like construct unfurls, pulsing with raw energy. The fiery bloom engulfs everything, its blinding light scorching the landscape, a terrifying display of the monster's unleashed rage. But wait. In the very heart of that raging inferno, a lone figure stands tall, absorbing the raw power without flinching. It's no Yunha. He steps out, completely engulfed in roaring flames, his eyes now a terrifying, glowing red, a new, explosive power unleashed. Engulfed in a roaring inferno, his transformation completes, the flames swirling around him with an almost sentient fury, ready to unleash pure chaos. But before he can even flex his new power, the rock monster's colossal fist slams forward, crackling with raw, destructive energy. The impact generates a deafening roar, as the monster tries to absolutely obliterate the fiery figure. But the attack, though powerful, is met with unyielding resistance, the flames around him flaring in pure defiance. Instead of breaking him, the monster's own fist begins to crack and splinter from the sheer, overwhelming heat. With a sudden, explosive surge, No Yunha unleashes a fiery counterblast, absolutely annihilating the monster's attack with overwhelming force. His voice, now laced with pure, unadulterated contempt, echoes through the inferno, dismissing his foe as nothing more than a fucking weakling. His eyes glow a menacing, blood-red, a confident, almost predatory smile spreading across his face as the flames dance around him, ready to strike. With a final, decisive command, he unleashes a cataclysmic burst of fire, utterly obliterating the rock monster in a blinding, earth-shattering explosion. Totally engulfed in a maelstrom of crimson and orange, No Yunha unleashes the full, devastating power of his fiery transformation. The inferno expanding rapidly, consuming everything in its path with an explosive roar. The concentrated energy builds to a terrifying crescendo, a literal supernova of power. Culminating in a cataclysmic explosion that rips through the air, leaving nothing but scorched earth in its wake, a true force of nature. The rock monster, caught directly in the blast, disintegrates into ash and embers, its rocky form utterly annihilated by the sheer heat. Only a smoldering crater remains, a stark testament to the absolute power unleashed. Amidst the dying flames, he stands tall, his sword held ready, eyes still blazing with an intense, fiery light, a true warrior. Turning away from the devastation, he walks with a confident stride, the residual fire still clinging to his form, unscathed and victorious. As the last embers fade, No Yunha simply states, "Finally." While Lee Yu-young, relieved, asks, "Is it over?" and Park Hyrum echoes, "Is it finally over?" The battle is done, and the tension breaks. Amidst the rubble, a mysterious dark-haired woman, staff in hand, shouts into the void. Before rushing to No Yunha, who seems to be coming to, questioning him about what happened, only for him to tersely command her to stay put. Her eyes widen in shock, then a soft "thank you" escapes her lips. Meanwhile, Lee Yu-young holds Yunha close, utterly stunned that he's completely unharmed, not a single mark on him. The dark-haired mage watches intently, her focus locked on an unseen force. Suddenly, a wave of miraculous healing energy surges through the air, mending all wounds, leaving the mage utterly astonished. Her hand pulses with a brilliant, soft glow, as she's completely blown away by the sheer miracle happening right now. The glow intensifies, a powerful aura radiating from her open palm. She then locks eyes with Yunha, who returns her gaze with an unreadable calm. His eyes ignite with an electric blue, a primal fury erupting as he snarls, "Touch my sister." The raw, unbridled killing intent slams into Lee Yu-young, leaving her absolutely floored and questioning how such power could exist. As the mysterious mage with the glowing staff kneels before them, she cuts through the tension with a single, piercing question, "Who are you?" A massive helicopter descends, its rotors whipping up a storm as it prepares for extraction. Yu-young, her face a mask of urgent worry, shouts, "We need to get him to a hospital, now." Yunha is swiftly carried onto a stretcher by a waiting team, with Yu-young and the enigmatic mage right on their heels. The real-life player system lights up, showcasing the team's stats. No Yunha leads the charge at level 11, with Lee Yu-young, Park Hyrum, and an unnamed mage right behind him at level 10. But this isn't just about levels and stats, it's about a past that shaped them. A chilling news report flashes back to a catastrophic event, revealing that today, at 5 p.m., a monstrous, dark anomaly ripped through a city street. This wasn't just a glitch, it was a nightmare. A subway car materialized out of nowhere on the American border, and the death toll was catastrophic. The news anchor, grim-faced, reveals this isn't an isolated incident. These bizarre events have been escalating for ages, and even the goddess government is powerless, only able to condemn the horror. Cut to a young No Yunha, his eyes glued to the hospital TV, as the world outside crumbles on screen. His youthful face, already burdened with a heavy sorrow, shows the true cost of the chaos. Meanwhile, a young Lee Yu-young rests, seemingly oblivious in her hospital bed, to the world-shattering events and the pain her friend endures. Back with Yunha, a doctor hovers over his bed, but the young boy is lost in a terrifying memory, a monstrous shadow looming over a devastated city, muttering, "It's all over. Not our fault," as if trying to convince himself. His eyes, wide and filled with a raw mix of fear and despair, scream the untold horrors of his past. He stares down, a shocking truth slamming into him: he'd messed with the future. But then, a tender moment as he reaches out to a young girl, unconscious in a hospital bed. "Iyuan," a voice screams. The urgency escalating, demanding his attention. He can't handle it. He bolts, leaving the girl and a worried adult in his dust. His tiny legs pump, a desperate escape from the nightmare. The adults are shattered, their faces a mask of pure anguish, as the young girl watches, heartbroken. A gasp of terror rips from his throat, as the brutal reality hits him like a truck. He's done for. Still reeling from his past actions, young No Yunha is on the floor, head down, as two adults loom over him, their faces a blend of worry and serious disappointment. The woman's stare is intense, loaded with questions, her voice cutting through the silence as she demands to know if he's just going to sit there. He can barely get the words out, a choked "No, I'm not," escaping his lips. She pushes him, demanding to know why he bolted, as the man lays down the law, reminding him of his broken promise from days earlier. The man drops to his knees, a hand resting on Yunha's head, his stern demeanor easing just a bit. But the kid stays quiet, eyes glued to the ground, avoiding their gaze. The man's voice hardens again, a direct challenge about why he ran and defied them. Finally, with a deep bow, No Yunha manages a quiet, sincere "sorry." He stares down, utterly confused. What's the big deal? What's he even apologizing for? His father's thoughts drift to the family's survival, the ultimate victory, everyone's still breathing. But the young boy, eyes blazing, shouts back, "I'm not sorry for anything." He drops his gaze again, facing his parents, the tension in the room thick enough to cut with a knife. His eyes snap wide, a wave of pure panic washing over him as the gravity of the situation finally hits. His mother's gaze is fixed on him, a silent plea in her eyes, her concern palpable. A choked sound escapes him, the truth slamming into his young mind. It's not the battle's result that bothers them, it's the sheer recklessness that got him there. They're demanding to know why he risked everything, charging headfirst into a fight with the Kraken. He gets it now, the crushing weight of loss, but he also knows he just did whatever he wanted, completely ignoring their feelings. Tears welling up, he finally chokes out an apology, admitting he messed up big time. His voice cracking with raw emotion, he swears he'll never do it again. Just as his little fist tightens, a warm, adult hand reaches out. His mom, with that soft smile, just opens her arms and says, "Come here." He doesn't even think twice, just dives right into her comforting hug. Clutching him tight, she softly scolds him, asking if he even knew how much they worried. Her voice thick with love and worry, she whispers his name, terrified of him fighting monsters. Safe in her arms, he finally gets it. He just wants a normal life, a life where his parents want him, and with that realization, the scene shifts to the next morning. Years fly by, and now, a sleek hospital building dominates the skyline. Inside, a young woman nudges her companion, "Yunha, my parents are waiting. Let's move." He just coolly replies, "Okay." But his thoughts snap back to a pivotal moment, a younger him in a hospital room, haunted by a chilling prophecy, "I told you what would happen." But even then, his resolve was ironclad, a young heart declaring, "My parents' feelings? They're everything." His mother, weak in her bed, had gazed at him with such deep concern, her voice barely a breath. He'd been right there, gripping her hand. A silent pact sealed as their fingers locked together. A small, knowing smile had played on his lips, a quiet declaration, exactly. No regrets, none at all. It was right then, amidst the chaos and the love, that he finally got it. Maybe this is why I can actually feel human. He reaches out, a small hand accepting a cookie from the red-haired man. Park Hiram extends another treat, a seemingly kind gesture. But the boy's eyes, wide with uncertainty, betray a deep apprehension, his small hand still clutching the first cookie. Hiram, noticing the hesitation, asks with a slight frown, if he doesn't like the cookies. Later, in a hospital room, Hiram gently feeds the young Yunha, who lies in bed, his expression still wary. As he takes a bite, the boy's thoughts are clear, he wonders if the food is poisoned. Hiram then shifts the conversation, asking the young boy directly, how old he is. Holding a red apple, Yunha replies simply, that he is 6 years old. Hiram, looking thoughtful, then states, that she is 10. Hiram is still there, chilling by the hospital bed, just watching the kid who's clearly still on high alert. Yunha, the kid, finally snaps, his face all scrunched up as he demands, why are you even asking for my name? Hiram just points, totally serious, and doubles down, your name. Yunha's eyes go wide, a mix of annoyance and confusion flashing across his face. Hiram, completely unfazed, just spells it out, muttering internally, dude, I asked for your name, not your age. This kid is seriously testing my patience. Yunha's face turns bright red with pure outrage, yelling, I am not a kid. Hiram just leans back, a sly grin spreading across his face, and drops the mic, guess you'll just have to wait and see, won't you? That confident smirk just grows wider on Hiram's face. His eyes locked on Yunha as he vows, I'm gonna remember your name, kid. Hiram and Yu-young face off, the air thick with unspoken tension. He begins to speak, his voice low, that was totally unexpected. This unprecedented incident in Korea has rocked the entire nation. Yu-young, ever perceptive, shoots back, you sound obsessed. But Hiram just scoffs, obsessed. Nah, just way more curious than you are. Later, in the middle of a massive crowd, he presses on, if this keeps up, there's no way he'll ever have a normal life. His eyes blaze with fierce resolve, the chilling realization hitting him, if this continues, a normal life will be completely out of reach. Yu-jung's gaze softens, a hint of concern in her voice, you don't want that, do you? He's just too important, Hiram insists, his voice firm and absolute. Yu-young, surrounded by a feast of sweets, seems utterly absorbed, the heavy implications of their conversation swirling around her. She glares down, demanding, are you crazy? He just stares back, a chilling reminder, I told you to watch your mouth, didn't I? A crimson aura flares around her feet as she tries to find the words, I just. He brushes off her worry with a smirk, I was craving something good, but I guess I put in a bit too much effort. The real-life player system lights up, showcasing No Yunha's insane stats and current level, proving he's been grinding hard. Barely a day after the Kraken vanished, they pull up to Yunha's grandma's place, a chill, peaceful spot after all the chaos. Inside the ride, Lee Yu-young hits up Yunha's mom, totally worried, wondering why she's so out of it and looking sick. Yunha's grandma, the sweet old lady, gives a soft, sorry smile, confessing she can't help being quiet and is just super tired. Yunha's mom stares out the window, a small smile playing on her face, noting that all the bad stuff seems to have just vanished. Meanwhile, in the back, Yunha's totally out cold, head on Lee Yu-jung's lap, while his grandma's gentle voice whispers, wishing him sweet dreams. Later, chilling in his bed, Yunha's eyes suddenly pop open, a seriously messed up look on his face, like he just had the worst nightmare ever. While he's out cold, his partner next to him is already starting to wake up. Watching the two of them, Yunha's mom can't help but comment on his wild sleeping style. Seriously, he's got Lee Yu-young in a death grip, practically squeezing the life out of her. His mom lets out a little laugh, figuring he totally got his crazy sleeping habits from her. Yu-young, barely awake, puts up a weak fight against his hold. Later, Yunha jolts awake in a different bed, all by himself, and he looks seriously bothered. The sun's just coming up over the peaceful house. He sees his eyes are blazing with an electric blue glow, a faint energy pulsing around him, and he's totally confused, wondering what the heck is going on. He's thinking, is this crazy power surge all because of my gift? The gift, the raw power that once consumed him, was now unleashed. It was a double-edged sword, the more mana he devoured, the closer he came to losing his mind, plunging into an uncontrollable frenzy. But as the mana surged and accumulated, a new revelation began to dawn on him. But then, he wouldn't lose his mind this time, not like the devastating crash that flashed through his memory. This was the true gift, the one that let him keep his sanity even in the heart of the storm. With blue power crackling around his hand, he questioned, have I truly understood the nature of Berserk? His intense focus shattered by a sudden, worried voice, his grandmother's question, what are you doing, grandson, jolted him back to reality. Ah, he mumbled. He's trying to act tough, telling his grandma he's not a kid anymore, but she just hits him with a soft, really? Then, she pulls him into a hug, teasing him about needing more sleep to grow up, and he's totally caught off guard. She holds out a bowl, telling him that's just grandma, and he's thinking about how she's always the first one there for him when he's lost. She's just waiting for him to talk, and he's realizing that whether he's a kid or an adult, he's still just himself. He even manages a small smile, asking why she's not saying anything. She just laughs, hugs him again, and he's totally confused. But then, looking at her, he gets it, realizing she's the best grandma and feeling like less of a kid around her. She looks at him with such warmth, offering him some warm milk. But he turns away, saying he's fine, and she just gives him that look, oh, really, like she knows something's up. Yunha, cake in hand, is totally caught off guard, demanding to know when his grandma even got there. His grandma smoothly takes the cake, while Yunha's mind is just buzzing with the pure joy of being with her. He was always troubled, Yunha's grandmother declares, her eyes locked onto him, but he was always a good kid. Now that I really think about it, she adds, a knowing smirk on her face, he wasn't always a good kid, but to you. A stunned ah escapes him, his face contorting in sudden understanding. A monstrous, terrifying entity appears, its sheer power making a mockery of the word weak. If things had gone south, his grandmother reveals, a hint of terror in her tone, the whole family would have been wiped out where grandpa was. His mind races, if it was anyone else, I'd just tell myself. Asterisk, but it's just not right to call him a mild kid, asterisk. He always claimed grandpa was bad, she recounts, a soft touch to his hair, but when I was little, I had Yunha. A younger Yu-young, clutching a cup, innocently questions, huh? A pocket? His mother whispers, I dreamt of something before, a chilling premonition. No one left behind a trace. Then, a sudden, sharp gasp, oh my gosh. She leans in, her voice laced with urgency, Yunha, what did you just mumble about? He stares down, mug clutched tight, a single, choked word escaping him, I. The air around him thickens with unspoken thoughts, steam curling from his forgotten mug as he sinks deeper into his mind. Suddenly, his mind is ripped into a horrifying vision. Shadowy figures, twisted and desperate, claw at him, their screams of scream and help me, tearing through his sanity. His eyes ignite with a terrifying red glow, a raw, blue energy erupting around him as the nightmare threatens to consume him whole. A sudden touch, his mother's voice cutting through the terror, what's wrong? He jolts, a ragged ah. Escaping his lips. He turns away, hand pressed to his mouth, the weight of his internal battle etched across his face. It's nothing, he dismisses, but the truth slips out, I don't know. His mother, seeing his struggle, just wants him to take all the time he needs. Gazing out, she adds a poignant thought, she just hopes he won't regret it later. Still wrestling with his thoughts, Yunha remembers her words, study hard, play hard, and eventually, you'll find your path. Then, a comforting memory of his grandmother, her wise words echoing, if you're still lost, just keep living until you find it. A spark ignites in Yunha's eyes, a powerful feeling that he absolutely wants to live life to the fullest, no matter what. He pulls his mother into a tight hug, a sincere, Mom, I'm sorry, tumbling out, and she just holds him, whispering, it's okay, Yunha. Gazing up at her, he realizes that this unconditional love is exactly what his mother always taught him. His mother's eyes fill with boundless love, promising him that no matter what, she'll always be there. A tender memory flashes, his mother's voice, Yunha, you're all grown up. He glances at his grandma, a soft grandma. Escaping him, as his mom lets out a surprised oh. His younger self, bursting with energy, shouts, I want to drink that too. His mother, beaming, repeats, Yunha, you're all grown up, then calls out, Hannah, come here. The boy, still full of questions, asks his grandma, do you want to drink that too, grandma? His younger self, eyes sparkling, insists, I do. I do. He softly calls out, Grandma. And a loving hand offers a brilliant red flower. Here, she says. A joyful, wow, bursts from him as he takes the gift, a simple exchange that means the world. His grandmother's face glows with pure love, her voice soft as she asks, Grandma won't forget this, right? The memory solidifies into a powerful, heartwarming thought, let's make happy memories together in this life. Sitting between his mom and grandma, he gazes at the endless sky, a single word echoing his deepest feelings, Grandma. Then, with raw emotion, he declares, thank you for raising me. His grandmother's face softens into a warm smile, a silent, loving response to his gratitude, her image forever burned into his mind. The real-life player interface blazes to life, showcasing No Yunha's formidable stats and skills. Then, a sudden shift, the vibrant hues of a sunset paint the sky. As a voice from the past echoes, Yunha, Yunha, from a familiar building. Flashback. A young Yunha grins, arm around a cheerful Lee Yu-young, their bond already undeniable. They share a simple meal, the rhythmic tap of their chopsticks a testament to their easy companionship. The family gathers, Yunha's mother radiating warmth, thrilled to see the kids growing up and getting along so well. But a shadow of worry briefly crosses Yujung's expression as she glances at him. His mother offers gentle solace to a downcast Yunha, her hand a comforting presence. And his grandmother, ever the matriarch, expresses her gratitude to Yunha's mother, entrusting her with his well-being. Young Yunha's mom tries to get him to eat, but his grandma's got jokes, calling him out for being just like his dad. Mom's like, hey, but grandma just fires back that she was the same way. A quiet hum escapes him, a thought hitting hard, seriously, no one would ever guess you're the dad. He cracks a small, knowing smile. Back to the flashback, the family table erupts in warm, comforting laughter. Then, the real-life player, title card flashes, signaling a major shift. The scene jumps to a super bright, happy kindergarten, bathed in morning light. Little Yu-young is hyped, practically dragging Yunha along, but he's still asking if she's really sure she wants to hold his hand. But a look of pure pain flashes across his face, the crushing thought echoing, because I'm a monster. Yu-young sees his tears and looks at him, totally confused and worried, asking why he's crying. The cruel words echo, and he's stuck in a loop, hearing the other kids jab, while his mom tries to calm the crying little one. But the label hits hard, he grabs his head, his little voice screaming, he's not a monster. Meanwhile, the other kid, still salty, grumbles, they just don't get why mixed blood is supposed to be cute. Those words cut deep, and he just wishes they'd never found out about the mixed blood kid. That mixed blood tag just keeps ringing in his head, everyone always called him that, and now he's convinced, he's the monster. He just sits there, all alone, a quiet sob escaping, tears blurring his vision. His mom and Yu-young look on, worried, as he just keeps crying. His mom tries to soothe him, and Yu-young points out his sudden tantrum, mentioning he trashed his toys while she was out. Just then, the door swings open, and his grandma walks in, telling the kids she's back. He barely registers his mother and Yu-jung's excited greetings. A heavy sigh escaping him as he retreats into the kitchen. His steps are heavy, each one a testament to his inner turmoil. His face etched with a profound, unsettling contemplation. He slumps into a chair, eyes scanning a book, but his mind is clearly miles away, lost in a dark labyrinth of thoughts. Then, a flicker of recognition, his grandmother is there, a quiet presence in the room. He questions her arrival, only for her to reveal she's on her way out. But as she turns to leave, a chilling whisper escapes him, Sherlock is no different. He's a monster. He's the one who will bring the end and die. A dark prophecy born from his own pain. His grandmother freezes, her eyes widening in disbelief as she turns back, a single, stunned question hanging in the air. Flashback to a young Yunha, looking totally bummed, confessing he messed up and spoiled something big. Yu-young, absolutely fuming, swore she'd never touch it again, but Yunha just awkwardly laughed it off, suggesting they'd just grab another one. Her little face crumpled in pure annoyance, letting out a frustrated gasp. She kept calling him mean, and all he could do was apologize, again. Walking away, his eyes glued to his shoes, a dark thought flashed through his head, that was nothing. Just more wasted blood. Next thing you know, he's in a room packed with other kids, all totally absorbed in their playtime. But the fun quickly turned hostile as the other kids ganged up on him, shouting about how unfair it was and promising to get him back. He just sat there on the ground, a toy sword abandoned next to him, while the angry mob of kids kept staring him down. His face was totally blank, just silently taking in all their hate. A tense huddle of kids forms, one in a green and white jacket facing off against two others. The kid in green and white boldly declares his ultimate goal, to be the strongest in the entire world, adding a confident, good thing. The crowd buzzes with anticipation, one voice shouting, "Ooh! Is Yunha finally going to fight?" Yunha, in his red jacket, can't quite grasp the hype, wondering what the big deal is and why everyone's so pumped to see him throw down. The arena is set. Kids swarm, forming a tight circle around Yunha and his challenger, a lone toy sword marking the battleground. The green and white jacket kid flashes a wild grin, snatching the toy sword with a lightning-fast whoosh. He dramatically wields the sword, declaring, "This toy ain't big enough for the two of us." But Yunha's voice cuts through the tension, dismissing the whole thing as a petty fight, coldly stating, "We are not equals," and letting out an annoyed groan. He's just done with it, looking utterly fed up with the noisy kids pressing in around him. A fierce young girl, toy sword in hand, throws down the gauntlet. She's convinced beating No Yunha will make her the most popular kid around. Another kid chimes in, confirming that's exactly what happened to them. The girl presses on, confidently stating that as his neighbor, she's got a real shot. His reply is ice cold, he doesn't recall ever asking her to be his neighbor. She's stunned by his bluntness, but he just repeats himself, unyielding. Suddenly, she explodes in a fit of rage, a furious aura crackling around her as she unleashes a primal scream of hatred for No Yunha. Flash forward, a young Yunha gazes at a tablet, a troubled look on his face as his mother's image fills the screen. The text on the screen hits hard, a brutal reminder, right? You're alone in life. Clink. A toy sword drops, signaling the abrupt end of the childish showdown. Childhood No Yunha is locked and loaded, toy sword gripped tight, facing down an unseen challenger who dares him to begin. A fierce, determined grin spreads across his young features as he accepts the fight. He launches himself into the air, plastic blade flashing. Landing with a silent grace, ready for anything. But then, a feisty young girl, eyes blazing, charges in with her own toy sword, screaming, "Let's go." Their blades collide in a whirlwind of furious, rapid-fire blows. Yunha blocks her assault with shocking power. Then, in a blink, he reverses the momentum, driving her back. Her toy sword explodes into pieces, sending her sprawling to the ground in utter defeat, leaving Yunha the undisputed champion. Crack. A toy sword shatters under a lightning-fast strike. The force sends his rival flying from their bike, crashing to the ground with a thud. Victory is absolute, the broken plastic a stark trophy of his dominance. More toy weapons scatter, the battle decisively over. No Yunha stands triumphant, his own blade untouched, towering over his defeated foe. A casual shrug, a silent declaration of his unmatched talent. From the dirt, the vanquished child can only lament, "If only I could use my powers." A defeated cough escapes them, surrounded by the hushed awe of their peers. Yunha, the undisputed champion, basks in the admiring gazes of the other children. After that absolute stomp, the atmosphere around young Yunha is buzzing, and you can practically hear someone saying, "That was a good fight." His squad of friends absolutely mob him, their eyes practically sparkling with hero worship, shouting, "WOAH. You're so cool. He's so strong. He's so cool. He's so handsome." But while everyone's hyping him up, one kid is just seething with jealousy, wishing he could bust out powers like some anime protagonist, leaving Yunha totally bewildered, asking, "Huh? What?" Suddenly, his gaze locks onto a new challenge, a golden sword hilt, totally chained up and jammed into a pile of rubble, practically screaming for someone to pull it out. Its very presence thrumming with an almost magical energy. More kids rush over, absolutely hyped, yelling, "WHOA. I never thought I'd see Excalibur being pulled out. You got this." Facing down the legendary toy, Yunha pauses, a thought crossing his mind, should I even bother? But then, with a determined glint, he grabs the hilt, and with a dramatic flourish, the sword pops right out, earning a cool, understated, from him. The golden blade then absolutely explodes with a brilliant, ethereal light. He's absolutely beaming, that toy sword still radiating a soft glow in his hand, while the other kids around him just lose their minds in pure awe. But one kid just can't handle it, totally seething with jealousy, muttering about how Yunha always gets everything, never sharing his crazy powers. Then, bam. The scene rips apart, a massive boom shaking the city skyline, and a whoosh of raw power rips through the air. A super complex, glowing magic circle is just throbbing with insane energy, its wild patterns screaming otherworldly breach. The park looks totally chill, empty benches and all, but it's just the calm before the storm, hiding the chaos that just exploded. A blood-soaked park bench, a dead blue goblin, and then, boom. A news alert screams, "Just in. Rank F monster goblins have appeared." A blood-smeared phone screen flashes a map and more terrifying news, the Manhwa GU Mana Management Bureau is on the front lines. But it's been reported that 2 goblins have escaped the scene. The terrifying report keeps coming, according to the Manhwa GU Mana Management Bureau, it is highly likely that the goblins are heading towards most crowded areas. This is bad. Then, a sudden, violent crack. The screen just shatters, the sound of breaking glass screaming that the danger just went next level. Dive into the real-life player interface, showcasing a determined young man's portrait and a slew of stats ready for action. Cicadas buzz intensely as a child's excited shout of "freeze" echoes through the air. The game is on, with another playful "freeze" whispered through the trees. Suddenly, a triumphant "unfreeze" shatters the silence. Pure joy radiates from 2 beaming children, a red-haired friend and a young Yunha, lost in their playful world. A burst of "whoa" erupts from the excited kids. Kids sprint through a vibrant hall, and young Yunha lets out a breathless "phew." Later, sitting by himself, he ponders the day's epic play, wondering if he truly crushed it. His life had been completely flipped upside down, and he wasn't about to let fate decide his future. The real-life player system was already tracking him, a level 1 berserker with perfectly average stats, but that was just the beginning. Mana was becoming the ultimate power, and he knew one thing for sure, the more mana, the better. But then, the incident happened, and everything changed. He screamed, mana exploding from him. He could feel it, a massive reservoir of power just waiting to be unleashed. The other kids were totally freaked out by his glowing power, wondering if this was just how he always was. Even with all that power, he just wanted to be a normal kid, running around and having a blast. But deep down, all he really wanted was to have fun, to have friends who understood him. But kids can be brutal, and he was left feeling totally alone. A cool-headed kid with glasses steps in, declaring that a fight with no clear winner is just a waste of energy. Inside a plastic bag, a treasure trove of colorful snacks is just waiting to be claimed. Suddenly, a prime snack catches their eye, and both Yunha and the purple-haired girl lock onto it, a silent challenge passing between them. But before anyone can react, they both shout, "I got it first," in unison. With both hands locked onto the prize, the girl demands to know why he won't just surrender. The tension mounts as Yunha fires back, calling her a greedy pig, while the mediator can only sigh, realizing this is just another round of their endless bickering. Breaking up the standoff, the older boy snatches the chocolate, proposing a new way to end their daily battle. With a satisfying snap, the chocolate bar is expertly split right down the middle. Handing each a piece, he asks if this deal works, declaring that sharing is the ultimate victory. Flashback continues. Little Yunha and a girl are locked in a classic childhood battle over a snack. She's fuming that someone always gets everything, and he's just like, yep. Their petty fight quickly devolves into rock, paper, scissors, as someone else points out their never-ending arguments. But then, an older kid with glasses swoops in, asking with a smirk, right? He lets out a little laugh, clearly amused by their drama. Both kids look up, shouting, Teacher. Where's Yunhyuk? The girl's still got a death grip on that snack. And she figures Yunhyuk's probably off rock hunting somewhere, a little grin on her face. Yunhyuk's back, telling them to just play nice, and seriously, stop fighting. Then he offers Yunha a piece of the snack, saying, "Wanna eat it? I'll split it with you." What a nice guy. The girl pauses, then confesses, "But I feel bad 'cause Yunhyuk isn't eating with us." Yunhyuk tells her she's super nice for sharing, and with a little giggle, she's like, "Okay, then," and the two kids finally chill out and share their snack. He's got the snack, and this girl is eyeing it hard. His mom, ever the mediator, asks if he's gonna share his half. He's all for it, but then, nope, he's good. Meanwhile, the girl's like, "Wanna hang out?" They head off, but not before his mom's voice booms, telling them to ditch their ice cream trash. Their tiny forms fading into the background. Later, he's just chilling on a bench, munching his snack solo. Then, a.m. Footsteps rumble, and Yunhyuk charges in, hyped up and yelling, "Let's play tag." Mid-game, Yunhyuk's like, "Dude, you should go home," but he's all, "Nah, I'm good," and promises he knows the route. Yunhyuk tries to guilt-trip him, saying the other kids won't call him a crybaby if he bails, but he just shrugs it off, flipping the script and telling Yunhyuk to head home instead. But Yunhyuk's not having it, flat out refusing because his sister promised to play with him today. His mom pulls him and the other kid into a big hug, teasing about her sister before dropping a casual reminder to take out the trash. Classic mom move. Later, with Yunhyuk, it's time for a classic showdown, rock paper scissors. Hands flying, the tension is real as they pick their moves. Mom's watching from the sidelines, as he, Yunhyuk, and the fiery-haired girl tear up the playground, and she's wondering, is that really my Yunha? He lets out a quick, tch, a tiny sign of his competitive spirit or maybe just a little annoyance. The red-haired girl is blazing a trail, pigtails flying, with Yunhyuk hot on her heels. She throws out a hand, a clear sign she's winning or just messing with them. Yunhyuk's still chasing, letting out a defiant humph as he refuses to give up. The red-haired girl looks back with a cheeky humph, leaving him in her dust as the race rages on. Still caught in the thrill of the race, he pushes forward, a joyful exclamation escaping his lips as he gains ground. But just behind him, a yelp of pain indicates a slight stumble, as his friend struggles to keep pace. The commotion seems to affect another runner, who finds herself momentarily airborne, a surprised expression on her face as she tries to regain her footing. He glances back, a mischievous giggle escaping him at her predicament, while she glares down, clearly unamused. Her annoyance grows, a frustrated cry echoing as he continues to smirk. Her face contorts in a furious expression, a sharp accusation aimed at him. Despite the momentary setback, all three children are soon back in motion, their footsteps pounding the ground as they resume their spirited chase. As the red-haired girl pushes herself to catch up, Yunhyuk calls out her name, a playful challenge in his voice. The chase was on, and a primal fire ignited within No Yunha. His eyes blazed with an intense orange, steam practically erupting from his head. But Tun Yunhyuk, his target, was quick, dodging and throwing back a cocky challenge, shouting that Yunha was finished, utterly without hope. The orange glow in his eyes flared even brighter, a testament to his absolute resolve. He surged forward, closing the distance with explosive power, his feet blurring across the pavement. He caught them both, a blur of motion as he tagged Minji, shouting, "Your IT," with undeniable victory. Minji stared at Yunhyuk, a giant what, practically screaming from her expression as she tried to grasp this unexpected twist. But then, a chilling blue aura erupted around Yunha, and a system message flashed before his eyes, demanding if he was ready for a confrontation. The playful mood shattered. When a monstrous, green, clawed hand violently ripped through a cracked stone surface, its sudden, terrifying arrival announcing a new, deadly game. The ground ripped open, and the monstrous claw kept coming, a sharp, tsk, ripped from his throat, his eyes flaring crimson with a primal mix of shock and resolve. The other kids could only stare, frozen, at the glowing cracks, a bewildered, barely escaping one of their lips. The monstrous form kept rising, its guttural growl shaking the very air, and a terrified whisper ripped through the silence. What is that? With a sickening tear and a ground-shaking thud, the beast burst forth, its dark silhouette swallowing the light as the kids recoiled. Shaking like a leaf, the little girl could only manage a choked, "Mommy." Before anyone could even blink, the hulking monster roared, its massive, clawed hands snatching the terrified child in an instant. Its glowing red eyes locked onto its helpless captive, a chilling, predatory hunger blazing in their depths. Then, a system window slammed into view, revealing the beast's true name, Terrapin. As a real-life player with insane stats, No Yunha instantly feels the threat when the terrifying Terrapin snatches Kim Minji right off the ground, her tiny frame flailing in its monstrous hold. Red energy pulses around the beast's arm, ready to crush the poor kid. But before it can even think about it, a hand flashes out, a blinding wave of blue energy erupting from its very touch. That raw power smashes right into the monster's face, rocking its entire frame. The Terrapin stumbles back, its evil red eyes bugging out in pure shock, a furious kieruk ripping from its throat. Yunha stands his ground, his eyes blazing with an electric blue glow, a raw, powerful aura exploding from him as he gears up for the next hit. He closes the gap in a blink, unleashing a lightning-fast, brutal kick that slams into the monster, forcing out another agonizing kibik. The impact sends the Terrapin flying, crashing hard onto the floor while Minji and Tun Yunhyuk are left sprawled out, dazed. He watches the monstrous Terrapin raise its axe, a chilling growl escaping its throat as it prepares to strike, ready to unleash pure chaos. But before the creature can bring its weapon down on the terrified children, a lightning-fast blur of vibrant blue energy intercepts the attack, a true hero in motion. The sheer force of the impact sends shockwaves across the ground, a testament to his incredible speed. As Tun Yunhyuk cries out in alarm, No Yunha, enveloped in a brilliant blue aura, moves with impossible speed, a protective shield for the young ones, shouting, "I'm not going to play around with this." With a swift, decisive strike, he sends the Terrapin reeling, its monstrous face contorting in surprise and pain, a knockout blow. He pulls Kim Minji and Tun Yunhyuk close, shielding them completely, his voice firm as he tells them to stay still, a true guardian. The Terrapin lies defeated on the ground, its axe clattering uselessly beside it, game over for the monster. Still holding the children securely, he reassures them, a sense of relief washing over the tense moment, they're safe. He stands protectively over them, glancing at the fallen beast, the immediate danger now past, a true hero's stance. Even after the initial save, Minji, still reeling, checks on Yunhyuk, who can barely squeak out a, "Yes," the terror still fresh. But hold up. The Terrapin wasn't done. It lets out another monstrous roar, charging in with a massive arm ready to smash. Yunhyuk's eyes go wide with pure, unadulterated fear, paralyzed by the monster's relentless attack. But just as it closed in, bam! Yunha teleports in a burst of blue energy, a human shield, protecting the kids with a shimmering blue aura. His eyes blaze crimson, a supercharged blue energy orb ignites in his hand as he snarls, "Not so fast." Then, with a furious roar, he unleashes it. A blinding blue beam blasts from his hand, tearing straight for the monster. The energy blast slams into the Terrapin head-on, swallowing it whole in a cataclysmic explosion of light and raw power. The monster lets out one last, agonizing shriek as its body just dissolves, shattering into a million glittering particles that fade into nothingness. Threat neutralized. Yunha scoops up the two terrified kids, holding them tight as they cling to him, still shaking from the insane battle. A sudden thud rocks the classroom. A teacher is on her knees, desperately trying to comfort two terrified kids in the aftermath. Minji can only whimper, "Hurt, hurt, hurt," as the teacher, trying to stay strong, knows they have to hold out for the players to show up. Clutching both Minji and Yunhyuk tight, fully aware of the deep trauma scarring them and all the other kids. She asks, "Did it really appear?" then confirms, "Yes, there were signs. The monster had been here for days." She's already reported it to the guild, telling them to just wait for more teachers, but Minji's terrified cry rips through the room. A frantic scream tearing from her as she insists, "I don't see anyone else around." Her eyes wide with pure terror, "I saw them in the classroom just now." Still reeling from the recent attack, Tun Yunhyuk insists that the two missing individuals had promised them ice cream. And with a fierce, childish determination, he declares he will go bring them back himself. Meanwhile, the teacher holds a terrified Kim Minji close, her own face etched with shock as a distant thud echoes. Minji, still trembling, whispers about someone hiding, while the teacher tries to reassure both children. But the children's pleas grow more desperate, begging her to bring back the two missing individuals. Outside the window, a distorted, chaotic blur suggests a horrifying scene, accompanied by a harsh, whistling sound. The city screams, as a colossal, monstrous hand descends from the glowing sky. The terrapin, a hulking beast with glowing red eyes, roars as it throws human figures through the air. Its massive, green-skinned hand closes around a small child's head, capturing another victim. The monstrous terrapin charges, but a desperate cry rips through the air, and Minji unleashes a raw burst of crackling blue energy, trying to stop the beast cold. But the beast is too quick, its massive claws smashing into a shimmering blue shield, the impact exploding with raw force. The blow is devastating, and Minji is sent flying, a ragdoll against the monster's might. She scrambles up, her eyes immediately darting to Yoonhyuk, who's still dazed on the ground. Yoonhyuk. Are you alright? The terrapin lets out a terrifying roar, its monstrous shadow falling over the terrified kids. No choice left, Minji snatches Yoonhyuk's hand, and they bolt, their tiny feet hammering the pavement. Elsewhere, a sharp grimace twists across No Yunha's face, a low grunt escaping him as if in agony or fierce resolve. Back with the kids, Minji screams at Yoonhyuk to run faster, their desperate escape a blur as the monster closes in. The terrapin's glowing red eyes lock onto its targets, its hunt absolutely relentless. The terrapin is on their heels, a monstrous growl ripping from its throat, closing the distance. Minji and Yoonhyuk are cornered on the playground, panic rising as Minji desperately tries to figure out a plan, hoping the adults will somehow save them if they just stay hidden. But then, a sudden, terrifying realization hits her, her eyes snapping upwards. And with a burst of determination, she points to the highest point of the climbing frame, signaling Yoonhyuk to move. You go up first, she commands, pushing him towards the climb. Yoonhyuk scrambles up the structure, the metal groaning under his desperate ascent. Below, the terrapin lets out a furious snarl, its glowing red eyes locked onto their every move. Minji follows, but the relief is short-lived, perched high above, the grim reality sets in, they're stuck, and what if no one comes for them? But Yoonhyuk, with a defiant clench of his fists, stares down the monster, a fierce resolve burning in his eyes, he'll fight until the very last adult arrives. High above the monster, he grips his fishing rod, a fierce resolve burning in his eyes as his friend screams in terror, begging him to stop. But below, the monstrous terrapin just stares up, a bizarre question mark hanging over its head. A guttural growl rips from its throat, its patience wearing thin. But as the beast snarls, the boy's spirit explodes. His eyes blaze with an inferno of resolve, seeing himself as the ultimate hero, ready to unleash pure fire. In his mind, he's already won, the beast crumbling under his explosive, fiery assault. He flashes back, or maybe it's a vision, of himself absolutely losing it, screaming at a screen, a hero's epic victory fueling his soul. The thought electrifies him, he's going to be that hero. Back to reality, his fishing rod pulses with a savage orange glow, now, in his mind, it's his ultimate weapon. His eyes burning with raw power, he glares at the monster, a single, defiant thought, fucking weakling. The terrapin's massive maw rips open, a terrifying cavern of fangs. As it unleashes a guttural roar that shakes the very air. Then, with a burst of terrifying speed, it lunges upwards at Yoonhyuk, who, in a flash of pure terror, can only gasp, I'm only going to do as you say. A raw, desperate scream tears from his throat as he flinches back from the monstrous lunge. But even as fear grips him, an instinct ignites, and he shoves his glowing fishing rod out, a desperate attempt to halt the beast's momentum. The terrapin's colossal, clawed hand keeps coming, a blur of green and brown closing in. With a sharp crack, the fishing rod connects, a surprising block that shoves the monster's hand aside. The terrapin stumbles back, its glowing red eyes flashing with genuine shock at the impossible deflection. Still screaming, Yoonhyuk instinctively throws his hands over his face, his entire body shaking from the adrenaline-fueled near-miss. Yoonha's gaze locks on, a silent, intense question burning in his eyes as the chaos erupts. But then, Minji lets out a sharp, distressed gasp, her face a mask of pure shock and confusion. The threat intensifies, and Yoonha doesn't hesitate, a powerful blue energy already sparking around his hand as he lunges forward, while a petrified Yoonhyuk screams his name, Yoonhyuk, shrinking back in sheer terror. A real-life player system screen pops up, showing No Yoonha's stats and profile, ready for action. Meanwhile, two kids, Yoonhyuk and Minji, are looking up, shouting, Yoonche. Yoonhyuk is all smiles, giving a thumbs up, you did great. He keeps going, totally impressed, you're a true man. But then, the calm blue sky is ripped apart by a crazy, tearing noise. A massive monster hand just explodes into view, totally shocking Yoonhyuk, who barely manages to choke out, what? The beast lets out a terrifying roar. The terrapin charges, a green and brown blur, and Yoonhyuk screams, look out. Dark, evil energy just explodes around the monster, its red eyes blazing with pure menace. The aura just gets crazier, a crimson glow blasting from it as it gets ready to strike. The terrapin charges, but before it can even blink, No Yunha unleashes his power, his eyes blazing electric blue and a shimmering energy sword materializing, ready to strike. He doesn't hesitate, bringing the glowing blade down in a devastating arc, slicing right into the beast. The blade tears through the terrapin, leaving nothing but a trail of pure energy and dissolving monster parts. And just like that, the monster is gone, leaving behind only a brilliant blue crystal, its power pulsing as it hits the earth. The monster completely disintegrates, leaving no trace behind, just the hum of raw power. No Yunha stands tall, blade still glowing, the monster vanquished, the crystal claimed. After the dust settles, Yunha scoops up Yunhyuk, who's absolutely hyped, shouting about his hero. Minji, totally relieved, clings to him, muttering her thanks. He pulls both kids into a tight, protective hug, keeping them super safe. Minji screams a warning, her terror palpable, as Yunhyuk can only manage a bewildered huh. His eyes are wide with pure, unadulterated fear, a silent cry for help hanging in the air. But rewind. A while ago, Yunhyuk was desperately calling out for his teacher, worried about his friends. He's walking away, but his gaze is fixed behind him, a sense of unease clinging to him. Then, a flash of electric blue. No Yunha's eye ignites, his power surging to life. Suddenly, Yunhyuk is trapped in a digital prison, a glowing grid enveloping him. A critical alert blares, low on mana. He's out of options, no skills left to fight. But even with everything against him, his eyes burn with fierce determination. He just needs to hang on. A bone-shaking thud announces the arrival of something terrifying. A hulking, green-skinned monstrosity with a skull mask, letting out a primal growl. Hey! What are you looking for? It roars, pure aggression radiating from its form. But then, a young boy steps forward, completely unfazed. And in an instant, his eyes blaze with electric blue power, raw energy crackling in his palm. The monster lets out a blood-curdling scream, violently thrown back by an unseen force. As a concentrated blast of blue energy absolutely decimates its head. The sheer impact sending it flying. Until the boy unleashes a final, earth-shattering strike, launching the beast into oblivion. He explodes into action, a lightning-fast kick rocking the monster's head as his eyes ignite with raw, crackling power. Unleashing a furious barrage, he blasts the beast with pure, unadulterated blue energy. The creature lets out a desperate, agonizing roar. Dodging a wild swing, he counters with another brutal, bone-shattering kick. Then, a devastating punch connects, sending shockwaves through its body. The monster's very essence begins to shatter, glowing blue energy ripping it apart from the inside. With a final, earth-shattering slam, he drives the beast into oblivion. Its monstrous form disintegrates into a shower of golden light. And just like that, he stands victorious, the last vestiges of his foe fading into nothingness. Blue energy still crackles around him, but Tun Yunhyuk's focus is on a shattered relic, a frustrated realization hitting him, it's completely useless now. The shattered fragments, all that's left of a monster that got vaporized in a blink, seem to whisper a chilling memory, a protective roar echoing, touch him, and you're dead. Overwhelmed by the memory, Yunhyuk bolts through the school halls, a desperate cry to be let go tearing from his throat with every panicked stride. Suddenly, a fierce memory of No Yunha erupts in his mind, his eyes blazing with electric blue power as he snarls, I'm going to end you. Whether a nightmare or a sudden plunge, he's free-falling through the endless sky, his terrified screams ripping through the air. He crashes down, still wailing, and two other kids immediately grab him, one of them letting out an annoyed, ugh, fine. While the kids struggle to calm him, footsteps click closer, and the teacher steps in, instantly grabbing their focus. Even with the teacher there, Yunhyuk keeps screaming, his emotional meltdown still in full force. But then, a wave of calm washes over him, and a relieved, happy smile finally breaks through. The city skyline glows with the promise of a new day, or perhaps the end of one. The scene shifts to the bustling Yunha kindergarten, a hub of youthful energy. But a small voice cuts through the air, questioning, did you really? Tun Yunhyuk, his young face etched with pain, presses on, you promised you'd be back soon, but you were gone forever. No Yunha turns, presenting a shimmering blue shard, his voice firm, even against a rank 7 or 8 goblin, this is your shield, your protection. But the shard ignites a chilling flashback, a surge of blue power around him, a monstrous shadow closing in, a moment of utter helplessness where he failed to protect anyone. No Yunha's gaze sharpens, cutting through the tension as he demands, tell me, what happened to that goblin in the dungeon? The boy's eyes drop, his voice trembling, I think I killed it. It was terrifying. I never wanted to. Those little goblins, they're not supposed to bleed. The raw confession hangs heavy as No Yunha simply turns and walks away, leaving the boy to grapple with his haunting memories. The Seongja kindergarten is issuing a massive apology to No Yunha's parents, with a smattering of applause echoing through the hall. A big ceremony is going down, with a suited official hyping up the crowd about some insane bravery. He's promising the highest class reward, and the crowd is absolutely buzzing, even little Minji and Yoonhyuk are there. Then, the official takes a deep bow to the little kid, declaring him the absolute protagonist of the whole event. A Brave Child Award certificate gets handed over, and boom, it's officially for No Yoonha. The crowd goes absolutely wild, cheering and clapping like crazy. Minji is totally freaking out, gushing about how cool he is, while Yoonhyuk is just as hyped, wishing he could be a real hero too. But hold up, young No Yoonha just lets out a quiet sigh, his mind screaming I'm dead meat now despite all the praise. Someone tells him to smile, and he just forces this super strained grin, totally faking it through the whole celebration. A sleek digital interface bursts onto the screen, revealing a real-life player status window. Level 17, with insane stats and skills like Aura Blade, Mana Shield, and Healing, this player is ready for anything. Then, the epic title card drops, declaring, real-life player. The view snaps to a serene elementary school, bathed in sunlight, but then, a new narrative takes hold. Way back when. A princess with flowing dark hair and a gentle gaze existed, her skin radiant and pure like fresh snow. This was Snow White, a princess not just stunningly beautiful, but with a heart of pure gold, and the 7 dwarves absolutely adored her. She shared pure joy and endless laughter with the tiny, green-clad figures, who absolutely treasured her in their woodland sanctuary. Her kindness knew no bounds, as she was also seen joyfully playing with other kids, her radiant smile lighting up every room. Even at home, surrounded by her tiny friends and an adult nearby, her pure, kind spirit was undeniable. A young kid, decked out in a blue cap and red cloak, is totally freaking out, completely blanking on their lines for the play. Facing off against a super serious No Yoonha, who's just staring them down, the kid is still totally panicking, hands gripping their head like crazy. Yoonha, totally owning the moment, reminds them, they've only got one line. No way they can mess this up. The blue-capped kid, looking totally bummed, thinks their captain is just too perfect, even knowing all their lines by heart. Thinking back, the kid ponders, Yoonha's seriously transformed since that big incident. With a sly grin, Yoonha tells a small group of kids, including Minji and Yoonhyuk, they better call him Captain. The blue-capped kid, now all smiles and giving a big thumbs up, is totally on board with the new Captain title. As Yoonha and the blue-capped kid walk off, the kid still thinks the new name is kinda weird. Then, a.m. The scene cuts to a single, super vibrant red apple, totally setting up that classic fairy tale vibe. The play intensifies. A young Yoonha, embodying the Wicked Witch, presents a dangerously tempting red apple, its glow almost hypnotic. That smile. Pure villainy, making the apple look irresistible. The apple practically screams eat me, its beauty a total trap, radiating an irresistible charm that hides a deadly secret. The princess, looking innocent in her blue dress, slowly reaches for the apple, completely falling for the witch's trick. But wait. The dwarves are freaking out on the side, their faces screaming NOO. Yoonhyuk, leading the charge, yells at the top of his lungs. He's practically begging her, screaming for her to stop before it's too late. His voice is cracking with pure panic. His face a mask of desperation, shouting, right, with all his might. Every single dwarf is now screaming, a chaotic symphony of warnings, trying everything to stop the princess from making a fatal mistake. Then, a.m. We cut to a young Yoonha, glasses on, mic in hand, his face totally gripped by the drama, like he's living every single moment of this epic play. The Snow White play is heating up, and the witch's poisoned apple is about to drop. The crowd is going wild, with a kid and an adult cracking up. The man's laugh absolutely exploding. Back on stage, the witch is making her move, stiff and robotic, as the dwarf squad watches, totally freaking out. The apple is offered, with a chilling command, eat this and run away from me. The princess's hand hovers, a moment of pure drama, will she take it? The dwarf crew can't take it anymore, screaming, Yua, no you. But one kid in the audience is absolutely losing it, recoiling with a ghostly wail. Collapsing to the floor in total despair, convinced Yoonha was actually gone. Yua. Yoonha is dead. The drama intensifies. The dwarf, a true hero, sacrifices himself, taking the poisoned apple meant for the princess. He collapses, surrounded by his distraught companions, and Yoonhyuk in the audience is absolutely losing it. But the evil queen, Yoonha, is relentless, she's not giving up on her wicked plan. Yoonhyuk's mind races as the story unfolds, the queen is now forcing the princess to eat the rest of that poisoned apple. With tears streaming, the princess screams, you let this happen to me. The witch's hand closes in, and the princess's cries turn into a desperate, mother. You. And from the audience, Yoonhyuk's voice cracks, a desperate, mother, escaping his lips. But the witch is stone cold, retorting, who's your mother? I'm your mother, while the princess fires back, I told you not to call me that. Tears welling up, the princess clutches the apple, her fate now sealed. The poisoned apple strikes, and the princess child hits the stage with a dramatic thud, the apple tumbling away as her fate hangs in the balance. But the wicked witch, No Yunha, isn't done yet. Her chilling cackle echoes through the hall, a dark shadow over the fallen princess, while the dwarf children can only stare in horror. The witch's wahahaha rings out, a truly evil sound, as someone in the crowd can only manage a desperate, Yunha. Back in the audience, Tun Yunhyuk is losing it. His wails are deafening, mirroring the princess's agony, as a friend tries to calm him, and even the other dwarf kids look utterly distraught. But one kid, glasses glinting, can't take it. He grabs his head, yelling, I can't do this anymore. Then it hits him, the bet. The words scream in his head, we bet on whose class is the best today. Pure rage ignites. His fist clenches, a single thought burning, this damn teacher. Meanwhile, the witch, No Yunha, looms over the princess, taking a dramatic gasp, ready to finish her off with the cursed apple. But then, a hero emerges. The kid with glasses, now a dwarf, stomps onto the stage, ready to change the game. The princess child is down, surrounded by flowers, a chilling silence broken only by the rustle of the stage. A hushed whisper cuts through the tension, is this part of the show, or is something else happening? But Tun Yunhyuk, in the audience, knows this isn't right, his face contorts in a raw flinch of pure worry. The stage lights hit the princess, highlighting the stakes of this crazy bet, and the child's mind races, this is intense, but I am not losing this. Stepping onto the stage, the dwarf child is locked in, the crowd a distant hum, their eyes on the prize, that award is mine. But then, a chilling thought hits them, a kid fighting a monster. Seriously? Their eyes narrow, the reality of the situation sinking in, this isn't just any monster, it's one that doesn't even understand humans. Then, a sudden, terrifying realization hits them, this isn't just a monster, it's a monster-like player. The stage erupts as the monster appears. A skeletal terror with blazing red eyes, screaming its arrival. The crowd gasps, a single word piercing the silence, undead. A shockwave hits the audience, their jaws dropping in unison. Suddenly, a girl in the crowd points, her voice a mix of disbelief and excitement, yelling, no. Yunha. But wait, who's that? The boy himself, caught in the spotlight, looking utterly stunned. He points to himself, declaring, it's me, to the shocked crowd. In the audience, his parents are absolutely beaming, his mom practically shouting, our amazing Yunha is so handsome. She's even holding a baby, who lets out a cute gurgle, as the whole family takes in the wild scene unfolding. His eyes hidden in shadow, a fierce determination sets on his face, Yunha is ready for anything. He lets out a soft chuckle, a small, embarrassed smile gracing his lips as he stands on the stage. The audience's reaction makes him think, embarrassing me. With a soft shuffle, he takes a step forward, his gaze fixed on something ahead. He stops, his eyes falling upon the princess lying amidst the stage flowers, a quiet sound escaping him. A soft gasp escapes him, his expression one of pure, innocent awe. He wonders, how can someone so beautiful exist in this world? With a gentle rustle of fabric and petals, he reaches out a hand towards her. As she sits up, their eyes meet, a moment of pure, innocent connection blossoming between the two children amidst the vibrant stage setting. The princess, a vision in blue, cradles a pristine white flower, her eyes holding a captivating innocence. Yunha extends his hand, and their fingers intertwine, a spark of pure magic igniting between them on the grand stage. The crowd erupts in a collective, their eyes wide with amazement at the captivating performance. Yunha's hand glows with a gentle, golden aura, casting a magical radiance over the stage. Bathed in a dazzling, ethereal light, the duo creates an unforgettable moment, prompting shouts of, cool, no Yunha, as the audience, completely hyped, starts to rush the stage. Suddenly, a wave of pure energy erupts as Minji, Yunhyuk, and all the other kids charge the stage, their excitement off the charts. A bewildered escapes Yunha as the stage is instantly swarmed by the enthusiastic kids, turning the play into an epic, spontaneous party. One kid shouts a frantic warning, telling everyone to hustle or miss the grand finale. The stage was absolutely swarmed. Yunha, caught off guard, found himself tumbling amidst the chaos. But with lightning-fast reflexes, he somehow managed to grab two of the little rascals, holding them tight. A bewildered, I'm gonna fall, burst from him, as he miraculously stayed upright, a human shield for the tiny adventurers. Then, a voice from the crowd playfully jabbed, how are you so good now, and he shot back, duh, I'm your son. He glanced at his mom, a cheeky grin spreading across his face, demanding, right? A little voice, still clinging to him, piped up, Yunha. His mom beamed, as another kid chimed in, want, mom. Gazing at the excited little faces, Yunha realized that she'd pulled the exact same stunt last year. His mom, with that knowing look, hits him with the big question, what's the dream, Yunha? What are you gonna be when you grow up? He just looks away, his eyes telling the whole story of his confusion, muttering, I don't know. The truth hits, he still has no clue what his next move is, what his purpose should be. But then his gaze drifts to the absolute, unadulterated chaos of the kids just going wild. Seeing them laugh, tumble, and just live their best lives in those awesome costumes. Something shifts inside him. He just knows one thing, no matter what he does, he can't let anything mess up this incredible, innocent happiness. So, with a tiny, knowing smile playing on his lips, he pulls one of the little ones into a comforting hug. He remembers a past life, a warrior's path, as his younger self rides high on his shoulders, surrounded by the warmth of family. His daughter, Minji, tugs at her mother's hand, a playful demand to start the fun. And he can't help but grin, ready to fulfill her every whim. His wife gazes at him, a gentle, understanding smile gracing her lips. Then encourages him to pursue his heart's true desire. As he watches the children's unbridled joy, their vibrant energy filling the air. She promises her absolute cheer. And he pulls Minji and Yoonhyuk into a tight hug, a booming laugh erupting from deep within him. The screen ignites with a real-life player interface, flashing level 18 and a young No Yoonha's face, hinting at a past life of power. Suddenly, the digital world fades, replaced by a breathtaking expanse of blue sky and fluffy clouds. Leading us to the grand, imposing structure of a school building. Inside, the energy is palpable as a teacher commands the attention of a packed auditorium of kids in bright yellow, some already cheering a victory, while others are clearly not having it. It's a beautiful spring day, Goddess calendar year 3, and one kid is absolutely stunned, jaw-droppingly shocked by whatever just happened. And who is this legend? None other than No Yoonha himself, at a mere 8 years old, already making waves. His buddy can't believe it, whispering, Dude, what are you doing? The principal is talking, while another kid just shakes their head. Meanwhile, a group of girls can't tear their eyes away, with one exclaiming, He's so cute, I'm going to be sick. The assembly was still going strong, and Yoonha was totally swamped by his classmates. Some were gushing about how cute he was, while others were just plain annoyed. He just flashed an awkward smile, hearing everyone call him cute, but he was totally shutting it down, like, no way, I am not cute. Up on stage, the teacher wrapped things up, but the kids in the crowd were still buzzing about Yoonha. Some were like, yeah, that's just Yoonha being Yoonha, while others were still trying to claim his stuff. And with that official wrap-up, the assembly was over, setting the stage for everyone's epic school life. But even with his protests, Yoonha was still the main event, getting tugged and adored by a bunch of his classmates who just couldn't get enough of his cuteness. Fast forward to the school hallway, where the afternoon sun was just blasting through the windows, making everything look super dramatic. Minji then spun around with his cheeky grin, teasing Yoonha and asking if he was really sure he didn't like her. He's just a kid, right? All he wants is to play, make friends, and chill with cartoons and music. Simple dreams for a simple kid. But the classroom chaos is real, and he just lets out a massive sigh. How much longer can this possibly last? Then, a voice cuts through the noise like a beacon. It's their teacher, Miss Yumi, with a smile that could melt glaciers. She just shrugs it off, declaring that some things are just beyond their control. A quick phew from her, and then it's official, assembly's over, back to the grind. She checks if everyone's on board, and gets a resounding okay from the class. But Yoonha? He's still totally zoned out, lost in his own world. Spotting his daze, the teacher gives a subtle nudge, it's time to get a move on. Then she zeroes in on him, asking, Yoonha, is that really you? And he just barely manages a yes. The assembly wraps up, and the teacher, beaming, calls for the next student to step up. Haeyoung, your turn to introduce yourself, she urges, and a tiny, nervous voice squeaks, why yes. A nervous thud reverberates through the silent room as the new girl hesitantly moves. Her shoes drag lightly across the floor, a tiny, anxious sound. Facing a sea of new faces, she chokes on her words, barely whispering, I am. Her cheeks burn bright red as she finally forces it out, I am Jong Haeyoung. Yoonha watches the nervous new kid from his desk, a curious look in his eyes. And just like that, the day rolls on. Outside, the school building just sits there, calm beneath the wide-open sky. A new face steps forward, declaring, nice to meet you all. I'm Haeyoung's dad. With his daughter by his side, he sports a red apron, radiating a warm, approachable vibe. Elsewhere, the kids, Minji and Yoonhyuk among them, are already hyped up, yelling out their greetings. They're tearing it up, bursting with energy, their joyful shouts filling the space. Yoonha watches the whole thing unfold, a quick thought confirming that's definitely Haeyoung's dad. Haeyoung's dad, ever the host, then throws out an offer to the buzzing kids, asking if they want a delicious lunch or something to drink. Still keeping an eye on things, Yoonha mentally double-checks, yep, that's definitely Haeyoung's dad. The kids swarm him instantly, bombarding him with demands for snacks and mango juice. Their voices blend into a chorus of mango and yogurt, their excitement practically bouncing off the walls. Hyang's dad, tray loaded with drinks, hits Yunha with the ultimate choice, manna, coke, or banana juice. Yunha, caught off guard, stammers out a request for an espresso, but Hyang's dad quickly shuts it down, redirecting him to banana juice. But the real action is at the table. Minji, Yunhyuk, Princess Child, and the others are already swarming the feast, eyes locked on the delicious spread. And what a spread it is! The table is absolutely overflowing with every snack and drink imaginable, a kid's dream come true. A collective, awestruck wow erupts from the crowd, the sheer volume of treats blowing their minds. And just like that, the feasting begins, a satisfying nom echoing through the room. Minji can't hold back, shouting about how delicious it all is, as Hyang's dad beams, clearly loving every second of their joy. The excitement is contagious, as another kid screams, wow! This is also yummy. A satisfied grin spreads across Hyang's dad's face as he thinks, see? Told you my cooking was legendary. The kids are hyped around the table, and Yunha's just chilling, but he's low-key wondering why his buddy is the only one getting a workout in, then he's like, nah, Hyang's my friend, it's all good. The spread is insane, snacks and drinks everywhere, and Minji, totally called out as a foodie, fires back, I told you not to call me that. With a dramatic huff, she's like, fine. If that's how it is, then I'm just bad. Yunha's just chugging his drink, but his brain's already spinning, wondering why everyone else is acting so wild. He slams the rest of it down, and his eyes just pop open. Then, bam. A blue glow starts radiating from him, and he's totally freaking out, what is this? Why am I getting so much stronger right now? The blue energy just explodes around him, his mana skyrocketing at an insane speed. He's completely enveloped in this wild, glowing power, still holding that empty glass like, what just happened? His eyes are bugging out, as the sheer, mind-blowing reality of his new power hits him like a truck. Players are always packing elixirs to supercharge their mana, because that mana is literally their life force. Yunha's still reeling, surrounded by the kids, a mysterious blue glow pulsing from the orb in his hands, but his mind is miles away, grappling with the power surging within him. But hey, life goes on for the other kids. Minji is absolutely devouring her cookies, and Yunhyuk, always the nosy one, has to ask if it's gross, but she's quick to shut him down, declaring it's super yummy. Over at another table, Haeyoung, sipping her drink, casually drops a question about her dad's name. And who's whipping up all these awesome drinks behind the counter? None other than Hyang's own dad. But hold up, the mana surge is still hitting Yunha hard, his eyes practically popping out of his head as the raw power inside him goes absolutely wild. A quiet thought drops, a simple wish for closeness. Kids are chilling with drinks, Haeyoung drops a small OH, totally vibing with the moment. Yunha peeks over, spotting a dude in the background, the legendary Jong Seokun. This is the guy who's gonna flip the potion market upside down, grinding out raw materials to craft insane elixirs, and get this, he's gonna be the GOAT alchemist, potion master, and the dude who built the first 100-story tower. Back with the squad, Haeyoung drops a bombshell, muttering that she heard he only had a daughter. Then, a massive gasp rips through the group, as someone screams Yunha's name, totally freaking out. He recoils, his back scarred with angry red marks, as a voice booms, declaring her the one who saved him. A gentle hand reaches for his tear-soaked face, and he cries out, brother, you have to tell me. Tears stream down his face as he desperately insists, I didn't leave them. Then, a sudden shift to a brighter memory, a young Haeyoung, beaming, clutching a drink. But the anguish returns. Yunha's face twists in pain as he covers his eyes, unable to bear the sight. He remembers a simpler time, back in kindergarten, eating with Yunha, just like any other kid. Hyang's voice cuts through the haze of memory, confessing, even though you're amazing at everything, this is my first time. Tears still streaming down his face, Yunha's desperate plea rings out, please talk to me. Young Yunha is absolutely cracking up in class, shouting, no way, that's not it. Then, a voice cuts through the chatter, Haeyoung. Jong Haeyoung, looking a bit flustered, hears her turn confirmed, so, Hyang's up next, right? Yunha's head snaps up, totally caught off guard, muttering, huh. A subtle rustle catches his eye, a furry ear flicking into view. His eyes dart down, and there it is, a furry tail poking out from a school uniform. His jaw drops, a stunned question escaping him, are those real? Before the entire class, a girl with long, light brown hair, furry ears, and a tail stands with her head down, as a classmate gasps, why does she have a tail? The shocking truth is laid bare, a single word defining her existence, demi-humans. They're called demi-humans, kids born with animal features, a whole new species. But for some, they're just terrifying monsters. And the ones who've lost everything to monsters. They project all that hate onto demi-humans. You can see it in the way this young demi-human girl stands. She whispers a quiet apology, I'm so sorry, I didn't go to. Her eyes flash red as she finishes, kindergarten. Yunha watches, a wave of confusion hitting him as his mom's words echo, let's get along. My mom told me not to hate them. He scans the room, a single, burning question on his lips, why? Turns out, there's massive prejudice against demi-humans, and he's just now realizing the harsh reality. The introductions are rolling, and a confident kid with brown hair, Choi Yunhyuk, is up next. He's repping his class, and then the awesome Kim Minji, with her reddish-purple hair, jumps in, shouting out her own class. Then, Yunhyuk spins around, a question hanging in the air, calling out to his boss with total respect. He's not having any of it, telling everyone not to look down on them, then he spots someone else and wonders who's chilling over there. Yunhyuk and Minji are locked on, staring hard at the dark-haired kid, and their faces are just priceless with shock. Yunhyuk is totally hyped, flexing and shouting about his class's confidence, then hyping up his boss as super strong. Minji, looking fierce, tells the guy to chill in the back, swearing she'll protect him from here on out. Her determination is absolutely rock solid, and she's about to lay down the law. She locks eyes with Yunha, doubling down on her order, demanding he stay behind their whole class. He's locked onto the screen, a burning question echoing in his mind. A heavy sigh escapes him as he slumps onto his arm, utterly drained, this whole thing is just too much. But even as he struggles, a powerful, unseen voice declares his absolute dominance. Suddenly, a voice booms, demanding he head to the staff room, but another quickly cuts in, laying down the law on how to address their leader. Just hitting level 19 as a real-life player, No Yunha is chilling in a classroom, surrounded by the buzz of kids, because the first-year mana test is officially over. The results are out, and get this, Yunhyuk and Siona absolutely crushed it, both way above average. But the real shocker is Haeyoung, her mana levels are so off the charts, they can't even be measured. Talk about a game changer. Kids are swarming, and one shouts for him to come over, the school buzzing with their energy. Holding his food tray, Yunha thinks to himself, look, I'm an old man, who's always got issues, so he's just gonna let this one slide for now. The school building looms, filled with the excited shouts of kids, just another wild day in the life. Then, from behind, another kid excitedly yells at him, demanding they go grab more food. Chun Yunhyuk, with a confident thumbs up, totally denies the accusation. Back in the chaotic classroom, he's shouting he's no glutton, even dragging Mr. Yunha into it, as Haeyoung just watches the drama unfold. Meanwhile, Kim Minji, with her signature pink hair, is totally calling out Haeyoung, bringing up that second helping. Yunha's eyes are practically burning with a wicked red glow, a sly smirk creeping onto his face. Flashing a sinister grin, he totally eggs Minji on, telling her to grab more food, calling her a glutton. Minji, absolutely fuming, screams her denial, desperately trying to get Haeyoung to back her up about taking less food. Yunhyuk, chilling with the princess child, first agrees with Minji, then instantly flips, totally backing Yunha instead. Suddenly, Minji and Yunhyuk spot something else, Minji excitedly pointing out a weird detail about her. The camera zooms in to reveal a totally unexpected, furry tail. The demi-human girl just wants to get her food, but the whispers are already starting, judging her presence in their school. And with every step, her tail swishes, a clear target for all the stares. Every single kid is locked on her. And the pressure is crushing. All she can manage is a tiny, hesitant sound. Her eyes drop, the weight of their judgment heavy on her. She wonders, is this all my fault? Suddenly, a sharp voice cuts through the air from another table, absolutely not. Yunha and Haeyoung are totally baffled, Yunha blurting out, wait, did she actually mess up? Still, the demi-human girl just stares at the floor, her silent question echoing, while Minji and Yunhyuk are completely lost, demanding to know what's going on. Then Yunha finally spills the tea, yelling, seriously, how can she grab that much food? But Haeyoung isn't convinced she'll finish it. A crushing wave of self-doubt hits her. Did she take too much? Is she even supposed to be here? Her eyes go wide with pure anxiety, the whispers and stares of the other kids hitting her hard. Across the chaotic cafeteria, a dark-haired girl blurts out, I'm sorry. The demi-human girl finally sits, her massive food tray screaming for attention, and everyone notices. Kim Minji, totally judging, whispers to Princess Child, ugh. Jean Senna, is she rich or something? You're so mean, seriously. And Princess Child piles on, she's so mean. But Chun Yunhyuk, looking totally confused and worried, just mutters, Captain. The demi-human girl, back to the crowd, hears it all, the laughter, the comments, and a quiet sob escapes her as she tries to eat. From his table, No Yunha takes it all in, a single word slipping out as he processes the whole messed up scene, Yunha. No Yunha sits, his face a mask of calm as he takes it all in. A voice cuts through the silence, you'd think the poorer a human is, the more they're excluded, right? Jong Sia-kun presses on, locking eyes with Yunha, and that's where your true kindness gets put to the test, isn't it? But then he counters, wrong. There are plenty of genuinely kind people among the poor, too. He admits, sure, there are good kids, good people, but let's be real, there are more bad ones. So what's your take? He leans in, challenging, so, what's your answer to that, huh? You look like you've seen some serious stuff, Sia-kun remarks, but don't get it twisted. I'm still friendly. The voice responds, huh? That's not quite right. In that case, Sia-kun starts, a new thought forming. He fires back, his tone suddenly razor-sharp, demanding to know if they truly underestimate him as a mere fishmonger. A mysterious blue glow pulsing from the object in his grasp mirrors the fierce resolve now burning in his gaze. His companion, completely caught off guard, practically yelps, questioning the sudden, drastic change in demeanor. Yunha rises, his stance radiating an almost terrifying resolve, declaring that those who stare into the abyss will be consumed by its darkness. Sia-kun, still reeling, presses him, asking if he truly dismisses all the lessons, all the chances to grow, only for Yunha to give a chillingly simple affirmation, a single, resolute all right. The world shatters, replaced by a haunting panorama of a ruined city, its skeletal buildings reaching towards a perpetually shadowed sky. A deafening metallic clang rips through the air, and a chilling revelation names this cursed place, the Dungeon of the Abyss. A sudden, violent CHK erupts, followed by a searing burst of crimson energy, signaling danger from the shadows. With a primal roar, he explodes into action, his earlier challenge now a battle cry as he charges headlong into the unknown. With his eyes blazing crimson, Yunha explodes into action, launching a lightning-fast assault on the monstrous threat. But with a deafening quang, the beast's colossal claw strikes back, halting his charge. A guttural kugh rips from his throat as blood erupts, the sheer power of the blow staggering him. The beast's arm keeps coming, a relentless barrage, slamming down with a vicious quack. The monstrous reptilian beast fully emerges, its glowing yellow eyes locked onto its target. A desperate juff escapes him, as he's violently thrown back, overwhelmed by the beast's might. But then, with an explosive SYUAA, Yunha unleashes a cataclysmic counterattack, his form engulfed in a blazing red aura. The monster's arm is instantly cleaved, a brutal testament to his overwhelming power. With a final, earth-shattering quack, the monster's body is ripped apart, collapsing into oblivion. Suddenly, his eyes ignite with a furious red glow, a primal resolve etched onto his face. As he brings his sword up, ready to unleash absolute devastation. The beast unleashes a deafening roar, its massive jaws agape in a challenge. As it prepares for the ultimate showdown. Then, in a blur of light, he unleashes a devastating, glowing slash. Cutting through the very fabric of the dungeon itself. The beast is cleaved in two, a torrent of purple energy exploding from its core. Before it detonates into a crimson mist. Amidst the fading chaos, he stands, sword still humming with residual power, taking a hard-earned breath. Barely clinging to consciousness, no Yunha hits the deck, the raw power of his last attack still sizzling around him. He's coughing up blood, a brutal reminder of the fight, and the blue-haired kid is right there, totally freaking out. Someone's yelling, heal him, now. He's gonna die. The tension is insane. But his eyes blaze crimson, a fierce determination burning within him, he's not backing down, not even for a second. He shoves himself back up, completely blowing off the kid's desperate pleas to heal, and just snaps, shut up. The blue-haired kid is totally confused, like, dude, you can heal yourself, remember? Meanwhile, Minji's watching, and she totally gets it, she knows his crazy determination is the real deal behind all this. His inner beast, raw and untamed, roars out its true desire, to absolutely decimate more monsters. With that insane resolve, he ditches any thought of healing, and plunges even further into the terrifying darkness. Locked in a savage battle, he's pushing past his limits, his determination burning brighter than ever. No way he's going down now, there are still more beasts to absolutely obliterate. Mid-fight, a chilling voice echoes, demanding, all right. Any last words you want to say? The mysterious gray-haired man, with an unsettling smirk, presses on, yeah, that's more like it. Remember what I told you? Not all demi-humans are good. Those words hit hard, triggering a raw memory as the man insists, I'm crying. Don't you dare show them mercy just because they're demi-humans. And he remembers. Blood streaks his face, and the memory intensifies, the man's voice hammering home, sure, there might be good demi-humans out there. But never forget that because, there. A jarring flashback hits, showing a woman with flowing dark hair, her face etched with despair, as the man's voice finishes, no different from them as well. Her hand extends, a desperate reach, a final, silent plea, as the tragic memory unfolds. Snapping back to reality, No Yunha's eyes blaze with a furious, reddish glow as he lets out a choked, ah. The name rips from his throat, a raw echo of a devastating past, Jin Parang. A heavy sigh escapes him, his hand gripping his head as the past's shadows refuse to fade, begging the question, why now, of all times, do these memories strike? Across the room, the other kids freeze mid-meal, one of them shouting in shock, their eyes glued to the silent figure. He's now at the table, his right eye flaring with a subtle red glow as he avoids their gazes, a silent sorry echoing in the tension, fully aware his mood is killing the vibe. Yoonhyuk leans in, ready to back him up, asking if he needs company, but the only response is a curt command to finish his meal. A fox-eared demi-human girl, clearly annoyed, observes the scene, her face a mix of frustration and bewilderment, grumbling about the weirdness and how utterly absurd it all is. Without warning, he stands up, his voice cutting through the quiet as he announces a problem, and that it's time to move out. The fox-eared girl gasps, caught off guard, her eyes snapping wide at his abrupt declaration. He just stands there, a total enigma, while someone whispers about how weird he is. But the demi-human girl isn't having it, yelling out to him, "Hey, B-Bunny. Where are you going? Let's go," while the other kids are just chilling and eating. His eyes are locked on the ground, a subtle red glow pulsing from one of them. Yet he points to an open spot, saying, "Over here," because his friends had actually made space for him at the table. The demi-human girl's eyes blaze red with pure frustration as she shoots back, telling him those guys are useless to her. Yunha's face hardens, that red glow returning to his eye, and he just flat out says he doesn't care. Totally bewildered and stung, the demi-human girl asks, "What kind of kindergarten is this anyway?" The scene is revealed to be Duan Kindergarten, and even Jong Haeong and the black-haired dwarf child are looking shocked. With a look of utter disbelief, the demi-human girl confronts him, demanding to know if he's really abandoning them forever. Suddenly, a new, dismissive voice cuts in, declaring there's no need to act. She can't trust those of lowly, human origin because of their pathetic actions. With her wavy blonde hair and a piercing below her lip, her gaze is utterly cold and judgmental. Check out the squad. The real-life player system is showing off the whole crew, all powered up at level 20. We've got No Yunha, Kim Minji, Tun Yunhyuk, the princess child, two dwarf children, Jong Haeong, Jong Seokun, the demi-human girl, and Jin Parang, ready for action. But hold up, back in the real world, the academy cafeteria is buzzing. It's all about leveling up, but first things first, it's lunch break, and everyone's ready to chow down. No Yunha is just chilling, digging into his food, when the demi-human girl next to him pipes up, saying how awesome lunch is today. She gets all up in his space, totally hyped about how tasty the food is. Then, with a super friendly grin, she offers him some of her food, basically saying, "Let's be besties." He takes her up on it, muttering a quick, "Thanks." While the rest of the kids are still chowing down, some even telling each other to cool their food, No Yunha and the demi-human girl are totally bonding over this amazing lunch. He scoops up a spoonful and digs in. Food's on the table, and Jin Parang is chowing down. Then tells him to slow his roll as he scarfs it all, ready to split the spoils. Later, she's playing caretaker, handing out tissues to the kids, telling them to dry those tears. A Playmate system screen pops up, then he's calling out, albeit, kicking off a wild game in the academy's lush garden. High in a tree, he taunts them, daring them to catch him, promising to vanish from their senses. He's just an average player, he thinks, but he's sure they'll never, ever find him. Down below, Jong Haeong is struggling, confessing she has no clue how to control mana. Jin Parang steps in, asking if she can at least feel her own presence, emphasizing that feeling is key, even if mastery is far off. And from the sky, he drops a thought, how can you not sense anything? He's soaring above the academy, laying down the rules for the kids below, making sure they know the boundaries. He's making his getaway, and one of the girls is already counting down, her voice booming as he bolts, his footsteps barely a whisper. The countdown is flying by, and he's already peeking from behind a bush, eyes darting around for any sign of the others. With that determined look, he's ready to make his move, planning to outsmart everyone. He's darting through the leaves, moving like a ghost. But even with all that stealth, the other kids are already on him, shouting their victory across the garden. Caught by his friends, he has to admit he couldn't hide, and another girl is bummed about her mana control. Jin Parang, watching it all unfold, leans in with a smirk, telling him straight, "Then you're gonna lose." Her words light a fire in him, and he's off like a shot, determined to find the ultimate hiding spot this time. He explodes from the foliage, a victorious smirk plastered on his face, shouting out his triumph. But the demi-human girl, caught completely by surprise, bolts like a flash, her golden hair a blur behind her. Her frantic footsteps pound the ground as she desperately tries to escape, but he's gaining on her, fast. In a lightning-fast move, his hand snatches her arm, stopping her dead in her tracks. The abrupt halt sends her spinning, a frustrated gasp tearing from her as she tumbles. She hits the ground with a solid thud, down but definitely not out. Staring up with fiery resolve, the demi-human girl defiantly shouts that she won't lose if they can't catch her. As the other kids watch, Jean Parang gives a knowing nod, admitting the girl's point is valid. No Yunha, crackling with a faint blue aura, seethes with frustration. They were found, but not caught. He can't believe his own pathetic lack of skill. But a fierce resolve ignites within him, he vows to improve, knowing he must master the art of presence concealment. Across the field, a different strategy unfolds. The demi-human girl, shimmering with a soft blue glow, realizes she can outrun them all if she just unleashes her mana. The game rages on. The other kids blast past a defeated No Yunha, who can only lie on the ground, groaning in utter frustration. With the last child gone, he can only wonder what fresh hell awaits him next. But the game isn't over yet. Jean Parang, watching the children scatter, declares with a grin that she'll catch every single one of them. Suddenly, the demi-human girl, surrounded by shimmering particles, hears Jean Parang's piercing command, "Stop right there." But rewind just a moment. The whole game had kicked off with the soft squeak of a child's shoe. Back then, the demi-human girl was already plotting her escape, peering out a window, strategizing the perfect hiding spot. With intense focus, she tries to rein in her wild mana, a vibrant blue energy pulsing around her. The sheer effort twists her features, mana swirling violently around her. But the raw power is too much. The blue energy lifts her effortlessly, defying her control. She thinks she can't go back, she has to get out there, but then something catches her eye, making her gasp. Perched on a mountain of books, she's deep in thought, a new mystery unfolding. Books, books everywhere. A dizzying, endless maze of knowledge. Lying back, she stares up, completely enveloped by the silent, ancient wisdom of the books. Finally, she stands, overwhelmed by the sheer, chaotic volume of books filling every inch of the room. Her eyes snap open, holding The Little Prince. A shocking realization hits her, this is woven, she whispers, mind blown. Suddenly, she's lost in an impossibly huge library, her mind racing with questions and an urgent need to get out. But then, a flash of red catches her eye, a beautiful book, and a wave of pure excitement hits her as she grabs it. It's Alice in Wonderland, with a mysterious rabbit on the cover, almost daring her to ask, what now to this rabbit? Meanwhile, a sharp-eyed old man, glasses glinting, watches her every move. She looks up, book still in hand, and they share a moment of silent, intense understanding. His stare is piercing, holding untold secrets. Her eyes, now burning with a faint, magical glow, lock onto the book again, a powerful connection sparking to life. Then, it hits her, a sudden, startling thought, Grandpop. And just like that, led by the old man, with a curious crew of kids in tow, she steps into a new adventure, following the cryptic command, let's see, Alice. Follow the rabbit. No Yunha is absolutely fuming, a powerful blue energy practically exploding from him as he glares at the kids. Grandpop, holding Jong Haeyoung, looks totally baffled as Yunha barks, I'm playing with them. Find her. Yunha doubles down on his order, but Jong Haeyoung, looking absolutely crushed, mumbles, I forgot. Yunha's voice cuts through the air, absolutely incredulous as he snaps, forgot. The masked Yunha can't believe it, and Jong Haeyoung, completely terrified, stutters, sorry. He lets out a massive groan, then lays down the law, Jong Haeyoung better not forget next time if she wants to hang with the crew. Still looking like she wants to disappear, she barely manages, why yeah. Sorry. Grandpop tries to smooth things over, asking, where else, okay, but Yunha just brushes him off, it's nothing. Grandpop gives him a suspicious look, demanding, really, but Yunha just doubles down, really. Haeyoung, blushing hard, internally pleads for a reprieve, vowing to return tomorrow and hoping someone else will just handle that report for her. But then, Yunha steps in, cutting straight to the chase and telling her it's getting late, time to go home. Then, with a surprisingly gentle tone, he asks if she needs a ride home. Across town, Grandpop is just chilling in his office, lost in thought. Suddenly, a car screeches to a stop outside, and there's Yunha, waiting. He points to the ride, calling out for anyone who needs a lift to hop in. A whole crew of kids, Minji, Yunhyuk, the princess, and the two dwarf children, are all hyped up and chattering, swarming around the car, with Haeyoung right there in the mix. Haeyoung, spotting Grandpop, asks about Yunha, and Grandpop, with a knowing look, just says, oh, him. He's the one who can't even remember his homework. Later, back in his office, Grandpop snaps his fingers, giving a sharp-looking man the signal, you're dismissed. Vroom. The kids, Haeyoung, Yunhyuk, and Minji, are heading straight for the ride. Yunha's just watching them go, and you can practically hear his thoughts, man, I've never even been in a ride like that. And then it hits him, pure, unadulterated jealousy. Check out this insane, real-life player status screen. It's no Yunha, level 21, with all his stats and skills ready to go. But hold up, back in reality, it's pouring rain outside a school, setting a chill vibe. Inside the classroom, everyone's just chilling at their desks, watching the rain outside. Then, someone just casually says, "Alright." Yunha, looking totally over it, hears a classmate drop a bombshell, "I'm gonna go write Yunha down as a candidate." The teacher starts writing election for class president on the board, and he's just like, "What?" His jaw drops as "No Eunche" gets written in huge letters, leaving him absolutely speechless. He whips his head to the teacher, demanding, "Teacher, why are you writing my name down?" Another student just shrugs, "What do you mean? You're the only one qualified," leaving him totally bewildered. Who? Why? The classroom erupts with a shocking nomination, and Jong Haeyoung immediately turns to Yunha, demanding to know if anyone else even stands a chance. But Yunha is frozen, his mind absolutely blown by the sheer audacity of it all. Yet, the teacher misinterprets his stunned silence as eager participation, and Yunha's internal scream echoes, "What in the world is happening?" The teacher, oblivious, scrawls Yunha's name onto the board, sealing his fate, while Yunha's mind screams, "Boss? Me? I'm no boss, I'm just a student." The teacher's chalk flies across the board, and then, a voice cuts through the tension, proclaiming Yunha as the undeniable president. Yunha's internal panic escalates, a desperate thought flashing through his mind, "No, wait. Teacher. I'm dropping out." But Jong Haeyoung isn't having it, her gaze piercing as she reminds him of his responsibility as Yunhyuk's older brother, and that dropping out is absolutely not an option. Her conviction unwavering, she presses on, demanding to know his intentions and declaring that every child holds limitless potential. Yunha is left stunned by her powerful words, as his classmates rally behind her, shouting, "Who told you to grow up a tattletale?" The teacher drops the bombshell, nominations for class president are officially closed. He throws out one last call for volunteers, and Yunha is just there, silently sweating it out. But just as the teacher asks again, a hand rockets into the air. Every single student whips their head around, staring at Jong Haeyoung, who looks absolutely determined. A confident smirk plays on her lips as she boldly nominates herself. Yunha's jaw practically hits the floor, totally blindsided by her audacious play. Later, in the hall, the teacher's dishing out snacks, and guess what? Yunha footed the bill. The classroom is absolutely buzzing. Students are hyped, grabbing their lunch and shouting about how amazing these hamburgers are. And guess what? It's all about the hamburgers today, handed out by the teacher herself. While handing them out, the teacher drops a bombshell, Yunha paid for all these snacks. Naturally, some kids are already begging for seconds. Amidst the hungry crowd, Jong Haeyoung's eyes are locked onto Yunha. She walks right up to him, bag in hand, and gets his attention. She holds out a burger, but he's totally ignoring her. Flashing a super sweet smile, Haeyoung thanks him for the awesome snacks. But hold up. Yunha, looking totally fed up, just flat out rejects her offer. She's still holding that burger, standing right next to him while he keeps giving her the cold shoulder. He weighs his options, realizing that revealing the truth would force him into a friendly persona he absolutely refuses to adopt. A buzz of murmurs ripples through the room, as the students start to gossip. But Haeyoung, reeling from the rejection, lets out a pained gasp, her expression a raw mix of shock and hurt, still clutching the burger. He doubles down on his coldness, reaffirming his unfriendly nature as Haeyoung stands, burger still extended. Unaware of the tension, the other kids, like Minji and Yunhyuk, are just chowing down on their burgers, one even shouting out that they're totally fine. Yunha observes them, a silent gaze sweeping over the group. A subtle smirk creeps onto his face, a hint of something mischievous or strategic in his eyes. He makes an internal declaration, ready to dive into this new challenge. The scene shifts dramatically, revealing a breathtaking vista of towering peaks under a brilliant sky. But the real action is down below, at a vibrant school where students are already buzzing with energy, a teacher keeping a watchful eye. Suddenly, a dynamic student takes center stage, sign in hand, her voice cutting through the chatter, practically begging everyone to follow her to the auditorium. And what's her secret weapon? Free lunch. She's not holding back, repeating her call to action with incredible energy. Meet Jean Senna, the powerhouse first-year, Class 4 president. She locks eyes with someone important in the throng of students. With a dazzling smile and an unshakable nod, she's all in. And who is she looking at? None other than No Yunha, the first-year, Class 4 vice president, his face a total mystery. He's watching her every move, a silent intensity in his gaze as she keeps up her high-energy pitch. And just like that, sign held high, Jean Senna rallies her recruits and marches them off, leaving the school behind. She's got the whole squad hyped, marching them through campus like a boss. They're heading straight for this epic, old-school building, totally vibing with the classic aesthetic. Suddenly, the whole crew just explodes with cheers, the hype is real as they get closer. But while everyone else is losing it, Yunha is just chilling, totally in his own head, looking super serious. Fast forward to lunch, and check out this bento box. It's got a heart-shaped egg and a super cute "Yunha I love you" message on the rice. Someone totally freaks out, shouting, "OMG, check out Yunha's lunch. It looks so good." While everyone's chowing down, someone else is like, "Wait, when did Yunha even write that?" His sister, Jean Senna, immediately jumps in, dropping the bomb. "Actually, your sister No Yunha is a famous chef now." Then she totally tells him, "Just shut up and eat your lunch." That bento box is seriously next level, packed with colorful, delicious food, definitely a sign of some major love. Jean Senna, ever the attentive one, can't help but notice Hyang's incredible lunch. A masterpiece of a bento box, crafted with undeniable skill, is laid out before them. Yunha takes it all in, a satisfied smirk confirming his high expectations were met. But then, a bold declaration cuts through the air: cup noodles reign supreme for field trips. Minji and Yunha stare, utterly bewildered, questioning if he'd forgotten his own meal. Yunhyuk, however, is absolutely ecstatic, brandishing his instant noodles like a trophy. Yunha and Jean Senna share a knowing look. And then, the big reveal: his sister, Jean Senna herself, the famous chef, prepared his lunch. The system, ever vigilant, processes the current healing potion count. He's tumbling, spinning. He finally gets his bearings. He hits the ground, hard. Then, the horrifying truth hits him. But before he can even move, he's launched through the air. He lies there, battered and bruised. Then, his eyes shoot open. Suddenly, he's surrounded. A pack of shadowy beasts with glowing red eyes emerges from the darkness, and the growls alone are enough to make him scream. Pure panic sets in, and he just screams, "Save me," as the nightmare closes in. He's on the ground, tears blurring his vision, staring straight into the glowing red eyes of a hellhound, and it's absolutely terrifying. This rank 7 monster hound is right over him, claw ready to strike, and all he can manage is a choked, "What?" No time to react, the hellhound's claw comes down, fast and vicious. And blood explodes across the ground as the impact shakes everything. Out of nowhere, a pack of monstrous hounds bursts forth, their eyes blazing crimson as they snarl and charge, a whirlwind of raw aggression. A hound's jaws snap open, but then, bam, an unseen force slams the brakes, stopping it dead in its tracks. Meanwhile, another hound lands a brutal hit on something unseen, blood and lightning exploding on impact, a devastating blow. But no Yunha, cool as ice, just stands there and drops his next order, a chilling "Go forth" to his monstrous army. And just like that, the hounds obey, their red eyes flaring as they charge, an unstoppable tide of fury. Then, with a flick of his wrist, he singles out another, barking, "Go down." And just like that, the targeted hound gets absolutely rocked by an invisible blow, sent flying. He's a maestro of mayhem, perfectly conducting his monster orchestra, now pointing them to the south. And then, just like that, he's chilling with a whole crew of kids and adults, as a new system window pops up, revealing the insane skill, Torspin. Check out these stats. No Yunha's game screen pops up, flaunting his level 22 status and all his core attributes, HP, MP, STR, DX, INT, LUK, plus access to his skills, inventory, quests, system, and options. This guy's ready for anything. The sun blazes down as someone hypes up the moment, telling everyone to reveal their cards on the count of 3. All the kids, Minji and Yunhyuk included, are hyped up in the clearing, their teacher keeping an eye on them, and the tension builds with a shouted, 1, 2. Hands fly out, showing off cards that say something or nothing, the whole game hanging on what they've got. Yunhyuk totally freaks out, yelling, I got nothing," and Minji, just as bummed, echoes, "Me too," before dramatically throwing in the towel, I give up." No Yunha, holding his card like a boss, playfully fires back, "No, boss. I have to feed the kids," then challenges them, "Are you underestimating someone?" Minji, suddenly fired up, shouts, "This won't do. We'll have to do it in a bit more," then rallies the troops with an epic, "Okay, let's go." No Yunha, still holding his card, lets out a dramatic sigh, muttering, "Me too." But then quickly backpedals, "Well, I'm sorry, but I'm not at this time. Or not, it has nothing to do with me." Minji sheepishly apologizes to her boss, and Yunhyuk just lets out a defeated, sh*t. He's leading the kids up this brutal mountain path, but let's be real, it's no fun for them. Minji's already over it, calling it a hike, not a picnic, and Yunhyuk's just straight up asking why they even bother with Bulhan Mountain every single year. Minji's got a better idea, Chanmik Mountain, it's way closer. But the hike just keeps going. And get this, the Uljingnibu district is literally right past Bulhan Mountain, a detail that's about to get super intense. But then, a sudden, dark feeling hits No Yunha, his face goes serious as a fiery, evil energy explodes behind him. Then, bam. A massive, shadowy monster bursts from the earth, and the kids just lose it, screaming their heads off. The kids don't even think twice, they just bolt, running for their lives. Minji, Yoonhyuk, and the rest of the crew huddle up, totally freaked out and asking, what was that? Did something just happen? But before that monster can even get its act together, bam. An invisible hit lands, a sickening crunch and a heavy thud as the shadowy thing gets absolutely wrecked and sent flying. The sheer power of that hit leaves only a mangled arm in view, a final, crushing impact reverberating through the trees. Suddenly, a chilling growl tears through the tranquility, making Minji shriek in pure terror. As a terrifying, wolf-like beast with eyes burning like hellfire bursts from the shadows of the forest. Its massive, dark silhouette radiates pure menace, a primal threat unleashed. He grits his teeth, a single, exasperated thought flashing through his mind, seriously? Today of all days? This wasn't just some random encounter. This was part of a larger nightmare, the Bulhan Mountain flower viewing incident, a stark reminder of how Seoul was being relentlessly invaded by these so-called gods. For reasons unknown, these monstrous entities, once contained to the Uljingnibu district, had breached Bulhan Mountain's defenses and swarmed directly into the heart of the city. The headlines screamed of tragedy, of countless lives lost in the chaos. And now, another one of these nightmare creatures stood before them, its glowing red gaze promising destruction. Minji's eyes go wide, a terrified gasp escaping her as the monstrous wolf-like creature suddenly appears, ready to strike. Then, with a bone-rattling kung, its massive paw smashes into the ground, sending tremors through the air. A terrifying kung growl rips from its throat, its glowing red eyes fixed on its prey with chilling intent. Minji tries to retreat, but her foot catches with a tuk, sending her off balance. She goes down in a tuleong hwruk blur, crashing to the ground, completely vulnerable. Trapped on the ground, the monster's terrifying shadow completely swallows her, a chilling AK echoing in the air. A blood-curdling kyaa rips from her throat, a cry for help. Just as the monster moves in for the kill, a thunderous Pyongyang impact erupts, a shockwave of dust and debris exploding between them. It's no Yunha, a blur of motion, delivering a crushing EOG blow directly into the monster, turning the tide. The monstrous wolf-like creature lets out a guttural snarl, its glowing blue eyes locked onto its terrified victims. But before it can even move, Yunha drops from the sky, a lightning-fast blur of crackling blue energy. His attack forms into razor-sharp, ethereal claws, ripping through the very air itself. And the impact explodes in a violent, jagged burst of dark power. He slams into the heart of the blast, making sure the beast is utterly annihilated. As the dark energy vanishes, leaving an eerie silence. The children, Minji, Yoonhyuk, and the rest, are frozen in wide-eyed terror, their faces screaming pure shock from the sheer force of the attack. Yunha stands tall in the fresh crater, a quiet breath escaping him. Then, he turns to the group, his voice cutting through the silence to ask if they're okay. Yunha stands there, back turned, when a tiny voice breaks the silence, "Why yeah, I'm okay." Minji is. Minji, eyes blown wide with pure terror, grips Jong Hyang's hand like a lifeline, who's just as shaken, both kids clearly traumatized by what just went down. Jean Parang, ever the watchful guardian, warns Yunha to watch his own body, as the other kids just stand there, muttering, completely lost for words after witnessing his raw power. Tun Yoonhyuk, his cat ears practically wilting, stares up at Yunha, a chilling thought running through his mind, that wasn't the side I know. Yunha's gaze drops, a storm brewing in his eyes, he mutters, I'm fine, just a little rough, but the real question gnaws at him, Yoonhyuk saw it all. He flashes back to the raw, terrifying moment of his power surge, eyes blazing crimson, a dark, swirling aura engulfing him as he admits, when I killed the monsters, I became undead. His body crackles with electric blue lightning and raw, dark power, the berserker player fully transforming, unleashing his true, terrifying form. He stares at his hand, now grotesquely stained with a dark, purplish residue, a heavy sigh escaping him as he thinks, I showed them a side of me I shouldn't have. He turns back to the kids, their wide, terrified eyes locking onto his, a chilling mirror reflecting the monstrous power he'd just unleashed. He stares at the terrified kids, a silent question echoing in his head, boss, what's the move? His gut screams to run, but a chilling realization hits him, these things hunt in packs, there's no outrunning them. And from the mountains, more howls rip through the air, a chilling confirmation of the coming horde. His eyes narrow, a fierce resolve burning within him, there's only one way, one brutal path to survival. He faces the trembling kids, his voice firm, everyone. His face is a mask of grim determination, a silent vow to shield them at all costs. Later, with the sun high and the sky clear, the immediate threat is gone. He finally collapses in a peaceful park, surrounded by the kids, allowing himself a much-needed breather, I'm taking a break here. His hands, still showing the lingering traces of his berserker state, meticulously smooth out a pristine white cloth, a silent effort to cleanse himself. The teacher drops a bombshell, telling the kids to go find firewood, and Minji and the others are not having it. Strolling down a beautiful path, Yoonhyuk can't help but voice his opinion, this is way too much work. Meanwhile, some kids are literally tied up in a game, and one of them has the audacity to ask for a break, completely unaware of the teacher's rising blood pressure. A frustrated humph bursts from her eye practically twitching with pure annoyance. She snaps at the running kids, declaring they're too busy for a break, and orders Senna to chill out and rest. Grabbing a quick break, the teacher plops down on a bench, swiping through her phone. But then, a sound jolts her, and her face twists into a mix of shock and pure irritation. Minji and Yoonhyuk are still tearing it up, but then, bam. Jong Haeyoung trips and hits the dirt. Minji whips her head around, face twisted in panic, as the sound of the fall rings out. But the answer is horrifying, a monstrous, wolf-like beast bursts onto the scene, its glowing blue eyes locking onto the petrified kids, who can only gasp, a monster. Panic erupts. One child crashes to the ground with a sharp ACK, while another is sent flying backward. As the beast lets out a ferocious growl and lunges. The blonde-haired girl, mid-fall, whips her head back in absolute dread. Hitting the dirt hard, barely able to choke out. The monstrous wolf is on her in an instant, jaws wide, ready to strike. She clenches her eyes shut, tears streaming, a devastating impact. A sickening thud, and a blood-curdling scream, as dark energy explodes around her. The monstrous wolf absolutely rocks Jean Senna, sending her flying with a brutal, bone-jarring impact. But just as she's about to hit, a new player enters the field, catching the eye of a masked figure who gasps, "Wait, is that you?" The masked woman's jaw drops, utterly stunned by the sudden arrival. And there he is, No Yoonha, sword drawn and ready, a battle-hardened glare burning in his eyes. He's already there, scooping up the battered Jean Senna, who's crying her eyes out from the pain. Then, with a chilling stare at the beast, he lays down the law, "All right, I'm back. You handle this." But as he carries her off, a panicked Jean Senna cries out, where are you going? Aren't you gonna protect me?" Her face is a mask of terror, her whole body shaking. No Yoonha's eyes blaze with an icy blue glow, his determination reaching an absolute peak. With Jean Senna safe, he pivots, locking onto the monstrous wolf, a chilling declaration echoing through the ruins, "Stop getting in my way and get lost." With his status as a real-life player and a roster of allies including Minji, Yoonhyuk, and others, Yoonha locks eyes with the kids, his face dead serious, and lays down the law. He orders them to bolt down the mountain, dropping a bombshell, if they run into anyone, they're to keep their mouths shut about players. With a heavy sigh, he admits he can't directly help them, then turns his back to link up with the other adults, leaving Minji and Yoonhyuk with their furry friend. Minji's jaw drops, questioning his move, but Yoonha drops a bombshell. He's learned mana but can't use it, even his staff is useless, and he calls out Choi Yoonhyuk's name. He gazes down at the kids, a look of pure regret on his face, and whispers a heartfelt sorry. After a beat, he lets out a heavy sigh, then drops the new directive, from this moment on, Yoonhyuk is Minji's shadow. He leans in, dropping one last, crucial tip, a stark reminder that hounds have an insane sense of smell. As they trek along, he drills them on mana compression, stressing the absolute need to cloak their presence, and Minji, ever the quick learner, gives a firm okay. After sending the kids to safety, Yoonha pushes deeper into the forest, completely alone. He remembers the crucial detail, the mana-infused food is literally the player's own mana. These things have their own unique mana, and he's going to use himself as bait to draw them away from the kids. Out of nowhere, a monstrous wolf beast with terrifying red eyes bursts from the trees, blocking his path. A fierce blue aura ignites around him as he locks eyes with the beast, ready to confirm their exact position. Then, with a blinding flash, he unleashes a massive mana burst, a shimmering blue energy field exploding outwards. Diversion successful, he knows he's just bought precious time for the others. No time to waste, he bolts through the trees, a horde of glowing-eyed beasts right behind him. Blasted back by his own power, Yoonha is sent flying, hitting the ground hard. He hits the dirt, but there's no time to recover as the monstrous wolves are already on his tail. But Yoonha's not worried, he's a player, and he's got tricks up his sleeve for situations just like this. No time to waste, he's off like a shot, leaving the snarling beasts behind. But the wolves are fast, their hungry snarls echoing as they gain on him. A terrifying snarl erupts from one of them, its glowing eyes locked onto Yoonha. Too close. A claw swipes, and Yoonha's face twists in pure panic. But then, the ground vanishes. Yoonha is sucked into a blinding blue portal, letting out a desperate gasp. Down he goes, a fiery red aura now surrounding him as he vanishes into the unknown. He's still falling, a blazing crimson aura engulfing him as he plummets into the abyss. Out of nowhere, a horde of savage, wolf-like monsters, eyes glowing blue, erupts with furious snarls, ready to tear into anything. One beast, a terrifying blur of fangs and claws, lunges with incredible speed. But bam! A devastating burst of red energy explodes from him, smashing the monster back with raw power. In an instant, the entire pack is decimated, their forms dissipating as he stands victorious, a chilling thought confirming their absolute defeat. Then, his eyes lock onto a group of terrified children and their teacher, cowering as another monstrous wolf stalks them from behind. Just when he needs it most, a brilliant blue sword materializes, pulsing with incredible energy, a realization hitting him: a true player always has a weapon. He seizes the glowing hilt, a fierce resolve burning in his eyes, knowing that even without his usual powers, he's still armed and dangerous. Blade now blazing, he stands ready, the ultimate weapon in hand, prepared to unleash hell on the remaining threat. More beasts swarm him, but he just taunts them, daring them: hurry up and aim at me. A monster snarls, a guttural growl ripping from its throat, its red eyes blazing with pure, unadulterated fury. But he's not backing down, a whirlwind of blue energy and steel, taking on the entire pack with savage resolve. A brutal strike lands, sending another beast flying. He unleashes a massive swing, the air practically exploding with raw power. Then, a blinding burst of blue lightning explodes from him, wiping out the remaining monsters in a single, devastating shockwave. They're sent flying, collapsing lifelessly as they hit the unforgiving ground. The dust clears, and he's the last one standing, breathing hard, but his eyes, they're burning a terrifying, blood red. He unleashes another devastating blow, pure blue energy exploding on impact. The monstrous wolf lets out a guttural snarl, dark power swirling around it. But Yunha is relentless, striking again with blinding speed. The beast lunges, a desperate, feral attack. But he's faster, slamming into it mid-air with an explosive burst of power. The impact sends the creature flying, a broken heap against the terrain. The rest of the pack recoils, their terrified howls filling the air. As the battle subsides, the intense blue aura around him begins to shimmer and dissipate, leaving behind only the quiet hum of spent magic. The fight was reaching its peak, and a blinding blue energy erupted, charging up for a devastating blow. Then, with a powerful leap, Yunha launched himself skyward, aiming his charged energy directly at the beast. His eyes burning with resolve, the blue energy around him exploded, reaching critical mass. And then, a colossal wave of pure azure power erupted from him, tearing through everything in its path. But he wasn't done. Still airborne, Yunha unleashed his signature small needles, a deadly volley of concentrated energy. The glowing projectiles descended like a storm, shredding the monsters with brutal precision. The wolf beast screamed in pain, staggering back from the overwhelming assault. As he touched down, Yunha's incredible blue energy started to fade, vanishing into thin air. He stayed grounded, taking a moment to recover as his aura completely vanished, leaving the monsters utterly decimated in the background. The wolf-like monster is absolutely pummeled as a storm of blue energy needles rips through it. The raw, vibrant blue energy explodes outward, carving through the very air with incredible force. The beast is utterly shredded by the relentless onslaught, its massive form collapsing under the sheer power. Yunha's gaze locks on, every ounce of his being focused, unleashing one final, devastating strike. A colossal, explosive burst of blue light that obliterates everything in its path, ending the fight in a flash. The chaos subsides, the forest falling silent as the last of the magic fades, leaving him utterly spent, sprawled on the ground next to the vanquished foe. But then, a masked figure, eyes blazing with yellow light, gasps in shock, "What, it's you?" Yunha, pushing himself up, confronts her, his voice sharp with warning, "If you value your life, don't follow me." Totally wiped out and battered, no, Yunha is down, but a blonde-haired girl is right there, looking super worried. She's like, "Look, I got you into this, so you gotta finish it," while a terrifying monster wolf pops into her head. But as he starts to get up, she freaks out, yelling, "Wait, where are you going? You have to protect me." Her face totally twists in shock, a huge gasp ripping out of her. But Yunha just drops it, "I'm going," and walks off like it's nothing. The girl just stares down, hand to her mouth, whispering, "Ugh. I gotta help." Yunha keeps walking, but then he flashes back to that masked figure, thinking, "The person you were with is." But the blonde girl isn't giving up. She sprints after him, her pigtails bouncing as she catches up. She looks down, eyes all shadowy, and finishes his sentence, "Him." Suddenly, a chilling voice cuts through the silence, demanding possession. But Yunha isn't waiting around. He's already a lightning-fast blur, tearing across the terrain. Leaving streaks of electric blue in his wake, he's absolutely flying through the trees. Then, a massive surge of power erupts from him, obliterating the shadowy threats trying to slow him down. With a surge of pure determination, Yunha's eyes ignite with electric blue, his power exploding outwards. He keeps up the relentless attack, red sparks flying as his amplified power shreds through the remaining dark figures. But then, the real enemies emerge, a terrifying pack of rank 6 hellhounds, materializing from the darkness. A massive hellhound lets out a blood-curdling roar, its glowing red eyes locked on Yunha as a dark, menacing aura explodes from its jaws. No, Yunha, absolutely radiating dark energy, brings his glowing blade down with a savage, unyielding force. And the shadowy wolf beasts are sent reeling from the sheer impact. He taunts them, a chilling declaration echoing, "Mark me as much as you want." His eyes blaze with an electric blue intensity, and raw, crackling power erupts around him, supercharging his every move. A crimson aura of unbridled rage explodes from him as he snarls, "You're dead, you son of a bitch." The game's UI flashes, showcasing the raw power of a real-life player, his eyes burning with an unyielding resolve. Yunha's face contorts into a snarl of pure fury, electric blue energy erupting around him as he prepares for an explosive move. His mind screams a brutal declaration. "You're dead, you son of a bitch." He roars internally, exploding into motion with impossible speed, leaving a blinding torrent of azure light in his wake. He closes the distance to the monstrous wolf in a blink. A whirlwind of blue energy ripping through the pack, each strike a devastating, lightning-fast blur. Then, a sudden, jarring halt. "Oh," he gasps, caught off guard. As his eyes lock onto an even bigger, more terrifying wolf beast, towering ominously from a rocky cliff above. A ferocious roar rips through the air, unleashing a full-scale monster assault. No, Yunha is instantly swarmed by a terrifying pack of glowing-eyed wolf beasts. As one of them rockets forward, a deadly blue-tinged projectile. But he's already a step ahead, a blinding flash of blue energy as he intercepts. His sword erupts with power, slicing through the air with devastating precision. The beast is absolutely rocked, sent flying back in a shower of dark energy. And he stands triumphant over its rapidly fading form. No time to waste, he's already a blur, charging deeper into the fray. He's still going, a total blur of blue energy and raw power, absolutely shredding through those wolf-like monsters. His face is locked in fierce determination, pure power surging through every single muscle. Then, with a lightning-fast strike, his blade just slams into one of them, and it's gone, dissolving into nothing. And then, a massive arc of brilliant blue energy just explodes out, slicing through even more of those monstrous wolves, leaving only dust behind. But he doesn't even think about stopping, he just keeps pushing, so fast the ground itself blurs. Every single step is pure, unstoppable momentum, driving him deeper into the unknown. He finally stops, just for a second, surrounded by all the defeated enemies, only to see another wave of those things coming right at him. A frustrated sigh escapes him, a gun suddenly in his hand as he grumbles, "You're so annoying." The directive is clear, follow Hyang's lead, no questions asked. But Siona's eyes blaze with electric blue energy, her determination burning bright even as a terrifying premonition screams that something is catastrophically wrong to her left. The squad, a formidable quartet, pushes deeper into the vibrant, sun-kissed forest. The leader affirms Siona's unparalleled senses, declaring that if any monsters lurk, her instincts will be their first warning. But Yunha just scoffs at the useless monster detector, pointing out the obvious, they're already neck-deep in the monster's territory. And just like that, a horde of monstrous wolves bursts from the shadows behind them, eliciting a stunned "Why?" from the bewildered young man. His face twists in pure shock, as he can only stammer, "Just why?" His confusion explodes into a desperate shout, "Why are there no other players here?" But Yunha remains stone-faced, his grip already locked on his firearm, primed for the inevitable showdown. Walking with Siona, the red-haired leader's voice cuts through, telling her to not worry and just run, even dropping Kim Minji's name. The leader stresses that no one else should do anything stupid. A comforting hand rests on Siona's head, the leader asking, "Is that it?" Siona confirms it, their footsteps thudding softly as they push deeper into the forest. Then, a cold dread hits Siona, her super senses screaming about something up ahead, and she instantly freaks out. She screams, alerting everyone, "There's something right in front of us." The creepy vibe skyrockets, and the whole squad stares down a swirling vortex of pure darkness. That dark mass throbs with a sinister purple glow, its power surging. And from that swirling abyss, a monstrous, clawed hand bursts forth, razor-sharp talons ready to strike. Out of the shadowy vortex, a monstrous, fur-covered beast materializes, its back erupting with menacing, glowing blue spikes. The beast, a terrifying hound too, fully emerges, its eyes burning with primal hunger. And then, a blood-curdling howl rips through the air, a declaration of war. What is this thing planning? The young male, terrified, can only point and stammer, but the red-haired leader's face is grim. But then, a chorus of guttural growls erupts from the tree line, as an entire pack of these terrifying hounds bursts forth, their blue spikes blazing. Trapped in a small clearing, the group is now completely surrounded, every escape route blocked by the ravenous pack. Surrounded by the monstrous pack, No Yunha's resolve hardened. He knew he had to protect everyone, especially the kids. With a steely gaze, he clenched his fist, ready to throw down. Then, the leader's voice cut through the air, a stark reminder, he had to take these monsters down himself. A quick nod to his boss, and then, boom. A brilliant blue light exploded from his hand, forming a glowing sword. The blade pulsed with raw power, and he knew, he could do this. He took his battle stance, ready to take on the entire horde, his crew watching his back. And then, he was gone. A blur of motion, charging headfirst into the monster horde. Blue energy pulsed around him, as he slammed into the front lines. His glowing blade flashed, slicing through a monster with a brutal, decisive strike. He dives headfirst into the chaos, his first strike ripping through the monstrous pack. But the beasts are relentless, their eyes burning crimson as they surge forward, a tide of fangs and fury. A quick look back, and Minji's voice cracks, asking if she even did anything, but her own mind screams back, "You did nothing." A monstrous maw, dripping with malice, lunges into view, its fangs ready to tear. But No Yunha isn't backing down. His summoned blue blade ignites, blazing with power as he confronts two more charging beasts head-on. He unleashes a devastating swing, parrying a brutal claw strike with a burst of brilliant sparks. But a hidden monster, a blur of speed, smashes into his shoulder with a sickening whack. The pack is relentless, a whirlwind of fangs and fury, closing in for the kill. He's still in the thick of it, that glowing blue blade a blur as he sends one of the monstrous wolves flying. But the pack is just too much, and with a sickening chaotic hitch, multiple claws tear into his arm, drawing blood. From the shadows, Minji can only watch in horror, a choked Yunhyuk tearing from her throat. The whole crew, Siona, the red-haired leader, and the young male, are just frozen, watching the nightmare unfold, their hearts hammering as they grasp the sheer danger of those beasts. The red-haired leader's face twists in fury, absolutely livid that these monsters are just playing with Yunhyuk. Back in the chaos, the relentless assault finally brings him to one knee, surrounded by the snarling pack, but he's not giving up, roaring, "I'm not going to be." His words hang in the air as the glowing-eyed wolves surge forward, ready to deliver the finishing blow. Injured but not broken, he locks his gaze, a raw, unyielding determination burning in his eyes as electric blue power surges and crackles around his fist. And he explodes forward, meeting the monstrous wolf's lunge with an unstoppable charge. The impact is devastating, a blinding explosion of blue energy as his fist slams into the beast. Blood erupts from the monster as the relentless assault continues. And the wolf crashes down, utterly defeated. Whoa, check it out. A real-life player interface just popped up, showing off a level 25 character with all these crazy skill options. With his eyes bugging out, Yunhyuk is totally freaking out, staring at the glowing blue power in his hand and wondering, what did I just do? Then, bam. A massive impact just rips through the ground, feeling exactly like a boss monster just dropped the hammer, shaking everything. No time to think, he just explodes forward, smashing a lightning-fast punch right into some poor enemy. His legs are just a blur, he's absolutely flying across the ground. But before he can even blink, that monstrous wolf beast is on him, jaws snapping shut as someone screams Yunhyuk, in pure terror. He's slammed hard onto the ground, totally beaten, his clothes ripped and his body aching. The beast moves in for the kill, its fangs tearing into his arm with a brutal, sickening crunch. Standing victorious over its victim, the monster unleashes a primal, earth-shattering roar. He's sent spiraling, a broken ragdoll against the sheer power that just slammed into him. Below, a small group of onlookers is absolutely freaking out, their faces twisted in pure horror as one of them just screams, "No!" The red-haired leader's scream rips through the air, a raw, desperate sound of pure terror, her eyes blown wide, witnessing the impossible. Everything's a blur. While the bystanders below are still screaming for help, their cries just fading out, and then, bam, a totally different scene flashes into his mind, a memory of kids, their tiny faces filled with that same gut-wrenching terror, yelling, "Help us! No!" The desperate plea just keeps repeating, "Anyone, please." A whole lifetime of memories, of precious moments with the kids, Yunhyuk, Minji, Siona, just floods his mind, a heartbreaking montage of everything he's about to lose. But there's no escaping the present, as that monstrous wolf, eyes blazing with pure, predatory hunger, lunges with insane speed, its massive jaws just snapping shut. Yunha's scream is brutally cut off as those monstrous fangs rip into his flesh, the impact sending a searing, agonizing pain through his entire body. A raw, agonizing scream rips from him as the monster's fangs sink deep. But as Yunhyuk, Minji, and Siona desperately flee, the monstrous wolf closing in, a blinding, explosive golden light bursts forth from beneath them. The red-haired leader is instantly consumed by the radiant energy, a blazing, golden inferno erupting around her. The golden light surges, pushing back the very air, as she screams for aid. The protective aura explodes outward, unleashing shockwaves of pure energy. The golden power surges, tearing through the very earth itself. The monstrous wolf is violently thrown back, its glowing blue eyes flashing with shock. It reels, body twisting in a desperate attempt to brace itself, while the young male can only stare in disbelief. Then, with a devastating final blast, the golden power absolutely obliterates the monster's position. A massive blue energy sphere erupts, crackling with raw power. Staring at the bizarre energy, the leader can't help but wonder, what are these miserable things? But after a quick read of the situation, she realizes, I don't think it's harming us. Even with the leader's calm words, Siona still lets out a terrified "Ah." Then, she spots them, Yunhyuk and Minji, safe inside the bubble. She shouts, "Eunhyuk." Dropping to her knees, she quickly apologizes and asks, "You were all right, right?" But then, a soft glow from a hand catches their eye, shifting the focus. And there he is, Yunha, still severely injured on the ground, his pain cries filling the air as the leader and young man stare in shock. His body lies motionless, still under the protective, yet mysterious, blue sphere. Barely clinging to consciousness, Yunha is down, the kids are safe, and the red-haired leader is assessing the scene. But the leader's got a plan, asking if they can hold that shield just a little longer. Hold up. A 12-horned gobbly wolf just popped up. But the leader? She's not even phased, ready to take down these bad doggies herself. That confident smirk says it all, she's ready for a fight. Wait, what? Yunha's back on his feet, but he's totally surrounded by those gobbly wolves, and check out that faint green glow. And get this, the blonde guy is chugging a drink, swearing he'll go full berserker if he has to hit that dungeon. He's locked onto the monsters, and a quick lore drop tells us goblins are from the underground. No hesitation. He unleashes a glowing, powered-up punch, diving straight into the fray. He charges in, blue blade blazing, dropping a chilling declaration, "You're all dead." Foot slams down, dust exploding. He unleashes, heavenly steps, a lightning-fast blur straight into the monster horde. The wolves are stunned. But he's already on them, a devastating impact sending monsters flying. Relentless, he keeps attacking, delivering brutal, fluid blows to every monster around him. A wolf snarls, but he just smashes it, quipping, "You look badass like a dog when you're mad." Another monster gets launched. As he finishes his combo with a brutal kick. But before those fangs can even touch him, a devastating counterattack explodes, sending a violent purple energy splash everywhere. He's already a blur, diving straight into the heart of the wolf pack, a total whirlwind of destruction. Blue lightning explodes around him, a raw display of impossible speed. Leaving nothing but blinding streaks of light in his wake. It's a manic dance of death. Every strike a blinding flash of blue electricity. Ripping through the monstrous wolves with absolutely relentless precision. Then, just as suddenly, No Yunha stops, ragged gasps escaping him. Standing over the defeated, his eyes locked on the remaining beasts. "It's your turn now," he snarls, absolutely ready for round 2. The fight's on, and a brilliant blue core of energy just explodes within him, pulsating with insane power. He's off like a shot, hitting those heavenly steps, his foot blazing with green energy as he closes the distance. One of those monster wolves doesn't even see it coming before it's swallowed by a blinding, crackling blue lightning strike. You can see the strain on his face, he's pushing past his breaking point, muttering to himself, "Damn it. I'm overdoing it." But even with the pain, his foot slams down with incredible power, sending a green energy shockwave tearing through the earth. The impact sends another monster wolf flying, its leg snapping under the sheer, invisible power. But he just grins through the pain, leaping back into the fray, a human lightning bolt ready to unleash more chaos. Another wolf just gets obliterated into dust, vaporized by the sheer, raw power of his lightning. He's a blur of blue and red energy, spinning into action, and bam. Another monster gets absolutely wrecked. He throws a devastating, glowing punch, a blue aura exploding around his arm as raw orange energy erupts from his fist. In a flash, he launches a concentrated orb of pure fiery energy, a direct hit incoming. The monster wolf screams, its jaws wide open as scorching flames explode around its head, a primal shriek tearing through the air. His eyes blaze with pure fury, a single, burning thought consuming him, this damned. He's not holding back. Boom. The orb detonates, swallowing the monster whole in a colossal, blinding explosion of orange fire and raw power. Before the smoke clears, he's already gone, a blur of motion as he slams into the ground, launching himself into the next attack. Another inferno erupts, engulfing everything in a maelstrom of glowing particles and scorching heat. The monster wolf, charred and broken, crashes to the ground, utterly annihilated by the relentless assault. Leaving a blazing trail, he streaks onward, a fiery phantom of pure speed and destruction. The monster wolf unleashes a terrifying, earth-shattering roar, its body engulfed in a maelstrom of dark power. But before it can even move, a blazing, lightning-fast kick slams into its flank, erupting in a shower of green energy. He quickly calculates his next move, realizing his mana is draining fast, making every strike a critical decision. The beast snarls, its glowing red eyes burning with pure rage, refusing to back down. It unleashes a devastating volley of dark energy orbs, slamming into him with brutal force, making him cry out. The beast watches, a chilling confidence in its glowing eyes, convinced it's finally broken the arrogant human. Check out this player profile. It's Yunha, a level 26 berserker, ready for action. But wait, his sword is glowing, and he's questioning if he even has the power left for another move. Then it hits him, this isn't just any fight, something is seriously off. He spots a sinister, swirling fog, immediately wondering if it's about to unleash a massive attack. Suddenly, a terrifying wolf monster bursts forth, roaring a death threat, but Yunha isn't backing down, he's ready to fight no matter what. With lightning speed, he charges. Absolutely determined to bring the beast down. A blinding blue energy explodes from him, powering up an insane attack. As a colossal, glowing slash rips through the very air. He's going all out, blasting blue energy, but even he's shocked by the raw power he's up against. But he's not backing down. His eyes narrow, the blue power surging even harder. No time to think, no time to doubt. He screams, unleashing a devastating, concentrated blue energy blast. Boom! The blast hits, and the world explodes in a chaotic mix of blue and fiery orange-red. The clash is insane. He can barely believe the power fighting back. The orange-red explosion just keeps growing, swallowing everything. It's a blinding inferno of pure power. Then, it all fades, leaving behind a scorched, cracked wasteland. Amidst the destruction, he's drained. His mana is gone. The sheer, raw power of the blue and orange energy explosion just kept on going, a mind-bending maelstrom of destruction ripping through the air. Its explosive force still pushing, still tearing at the very fabric of reality. Before finally beginning to dissipate, leaving behind a fiery, smoke-filled aftermath that screamed of pure devastation. From the heart of the chaos, a gut-wrenching gasp escaped Yunha as he recoiled, the sheer, immense strain of his attack absolutely crushing him. His vision blurred, he knew this was it, he had burned through every single drop of his mana, leaving him absolutely, completely drained. His body began to give out, his head drooping with an overwhelming, crushing exhaustion. Until he finally collapsed to the ground, his strength absolutely, completely gone. Amidst the rubble and lingering smoke, Yunha lay motionless, absolutely still, his life seemingly extinguished, gone. From above, a young man named Charlie looked down at the scene, his voice dripping with a cold, detached observation, stating, "Look at you, Charlie. You're still as useless as ever. It's 2023, and the world is absolutely swarming with monsters." Out of nowhere, an explosive surge of raw power detonates, a phenomenon known as mana burst, swirling with electrifying blue energy. This power manifests as two monstrous, glowing-eyed figures, crackling with electric blue lightning, a terrifying gift that only activates in the most extreme situations. The blue lightning intensifies, surging upwards with raw, untamed force, ready to unleash its full, devastating potential. A monstrous wolf, caught in the explosive blast, is violently thrown to the ground, its body contorted as the blue energy engulfs it. It snarls in pain and fury, the blue energy still clinging to its form, a guttural, enraged cry tearing from its throat. Then, a bright, sword-like energy slash rips through the air, a silent, deadly command to repeat the devastating assault. The monster is violently struck again by blue lightning, its body recoiling from the brutal impact, as a chilling voice declares, "You're really going to die." The monstrous wolf lets out a furious, guttural roar. But before it can even react, Yunha, now a blur of crackling blue lightning, lunges with impossible speed. The devastating blow sends the beast reeling, green blood erupting as it's thrown off balance. He descends like a vengeful god, a living conduit of raw, unbridled power, his entire form radiating an intense blue aura. Then, a concentrated, explosive blast of lightning erupts from his hands. And the monster lets out a deafening shriek of pure agony as the electrical current tears through its very being. With a grim, unyielding resolve, he unleashes a final, overwhelming surge of his terrifying power. A colossal lightning strike that obliterates the ground, leaving a massive, smoking crater in its wake, as he plummets from the sky. The ground absolutely explodes from the sheer power, dark energy ripping through the crater. A faint green glow pulses from the magical aftermath, absolutely buzzing with raw power. But then, a defiant roar rips through the air, you can't defeat me, as a glowing blade starts to form, if it's alive, it's unstoppable. No Yunha stands his ground, his entire body now engulfed in a vibrant, crackling blue aura. He fires back, then, "You probably won't be able to defeat me. You're a soul," the blue energy around him absolutely exploding. His blade, now fully formed, ignites with an ethereal, fiery blue light, pure energy particles swirling around its edge. The monstrous wolf lets out a snarl, its red eyes burning with savage intensity, a deep growl rumbling from its throat. Yunha holds his stance, the surging blue energy around him a clear sign of his unwavering resolve. He stares down at his opponent. With eyes blazing an ominous light, he declared the monster's absolute end. He channeled raw, immense power, a dark aura swirling violently around him as his blade ignited. The shadowy energy exploded outward, crackling with destructive, untamed force. A torrent of blue and black energy erupted from him, his sword a blinding beacon of power. He plunged downward like a meteor, striking the monster with an overwhelming, crushing blow. The creature was instantly engulfed in a maelstrom of black and orange flames, choking on the inferno of its own destruction. A massive "phew" escaped him as he finally sat amidst the dissipating magical residue. The fight won. It was finally over, the landscape bathed in the triumphant glow of the setting sun. Utterly spent, he collapsed onto the scorched earth, his sword a silent testament to his victory. After that insane power burst, No Yunha's body just gives up, crashing down into the fiery chaos he just created. He's just a tiny speck on the ground, totally wiped out in the middle of a massive, burning crater. That's how much power he just dropped. Listen up, a fierce red-haired woman declares, you keep messing with your eyes, and it's only gonna get worse. The chilling name Hunter Throne Body 9 Black Company flashes into view, as she warns, these guys? They'll beat anyone for cash. It's totally possible. Her eyes narrow, locking onto three other figures. She keeps them under her intense scrutiny. A deep frown creases her brow. Her grip on the elegant fan tightens. These absolute bastards, seriously, she growls, pure frustration in her tone. They can't even tell good from evil, so how could they ever recognize, she wonders, as a terrifying, red-furred monster flashes in her thoughts, embodying the sheer evil she's facing. Yunha explodes into action, a fan of blue energy ripping through the air. Two massive, spectral dragons of pure energy erupt from him, tearing across the landscape. The energy beast keeps coming, leaving his foe stunned and questioning, It wasn't a single attack. Hands clench, ready for whatever comes next. But then, the red-haired woman bursts onto the scene, glowing with raw power, a chilling declaration on her lips, you're all dead. She strikes first. A brutal blue energy blast slams into him, no time to even react. The blast twists into a raging blue vortex, swallowing him whole. Then, a cataclysmic purple explosion rips through the air, obliterating everything in its path. He's sent flying, blood erupting from the sheer, brutal force of the hit. The air still crackles with raw, purple energy and blood, a brutal testament to the sheer force unleashed just moments ago. But even after that brutal assault, he's not down for the count. He slowly pushes himself up, his back to the red-haired woman, who still stands there, radiating pure menace. Her eyes blaze with an intense, chilling light, and a monstrous blue and purple aura absolutely explodes around her, crackling with raw, untamed power. The very air around her twists and screams, coalescing into a terrifying vortex of purple energy that rips towards the sky. But wait, who are these two? Below, two young girls with cat ears stare up in stunned silence, one of them letting out a tiny, terrified gasp. The blonde cat girl speaks up, her voice laced with genuine concern, muttering, these were children before. The red-haired woman just glances down at them, a faint, unsettling smirk playing on her lips. Chilling. She stands tall, her power still raging, as the two cat-eared girls gaze up at her, completely mesmerized and trapped by her overwhelming presence. The black-haired cat girl, her eyes wide with pure desperation, pleads with the woman, don't tell me don't go, please. What is going on here? She tells them to chill, that there's nothing to worry about, but the black-haired cat-eared girl, totally freaking out, screams that the red-haired woman totally promised to kill them. The blonde cat-eared girl lets out a weak groan, then asks who this person even is, like, did you just save us from those guys? The red-haired woman just brushes off Sissy, telling her she needs to level up, pronto. A sinister purple glow emanates from the red-haired woman's hand, and it hits her. She confirms the monsters are toast, but makes it clear they were never a challenge for her. The black-haired cat-eared girl begs her, thanking her for taking out the monsters. A flash of surprise hits the red-haired woman's eye, like, wait, what just happened? Suddenly, both cat-eared girls are engulfed in a sick blue aura, their bodies practically radiating power. The blonde one's like, I'm good, but whoa, we just got way stronger, and wonders if that was the plan. The blue energy around their legs just amps up, lifting them right off the ground. A dark-haired cat girl is absolutely stunned, her eyes popping wide open. But the red-haired woman just pulls both cat girls into a big, playful hug, and they're totally bewildered by her energy. Then, she gets right up close, asking the dark-haired girl, if she wants to be a player, and the girl's like, a player? The dark-haired cat girl, looking down, totally commits, proclaiming, yeah, a player. I'm gonna be the one. The red-haired woman bursts out laughing, hugging the cat girls again, but a thought flashes through her mind, just before all this, something big went down. Out of nowhere, No Yunha bursts onto the scene, his hand absolutely blazing with electric blue energy, a fierce, determined look on his face. He lunges forward with lightning speed, snatching something with a powerful grip, and the red-haired woman can only comment on how admirable he is. The red-haired woman and both cat girls are absolutely stunned, reeling back in shock, with one of the cat girls yelling, "Why me?" His hand, still crackling with residual blue energy, twitches. But the red-haired woman, completely unfazed by the chaos, snaps her focus back to the two cat-eared girls, demanding to know if one of them sent her a messaging spell, as the dark-haired girl quickly shushes her friend. She then praises the girl, revealing the spell was key to tracking them down, leaving the dark-haired cat girl utterly bewildered, convinced she'd done nothing special. Still, the dark-haired girl defiantly insists she was helpful, her face a picture of earnest conviction. Meanwhile, Yunha is still down, sprawled on the ground, the blue energy from his explosive entrance fading fast, while the red-haired woman and the cat girls loom over him. The red-haired woman abruptly declares her next move, she's heading to the mountain, insisting rescue teams are already on site. The dark-haired cat girl, confused, asks if she's not joining them, but the woman coolly states she has to rally more people. The dark-haired cat girl's face falls with worry, unable to fathom her going solo. A massive impact reverberates, then a strained whisper barely escapes. The red-haired woman confronts the young boy and the cat-eared duo, her gaze intense, revealing how she tracked them down with her messaging magic. Suddenly, a nightmarish vision of a monstrous wolf, eyes blazing with demonic blue light, rips through her thoughts, a stark, horrifying reminder of pure evil. But the dark-haired cat-eared girl is absolutely stunned, gasping, "Wow," and "Whoa," at the revelation, utterly bewildered at being abandoned. Turning to the young boy, the red-haired woman unleashes her exasperation, challenging him to comprehend the sheer struggle it took for her to get there. Meanwhile, a colossal presence steps into view, none other than Huang Qiu, a hunter from the elite Azure Ocean clan, dominating the frame with his sheer power. The cat-eared girl, fueled by resolve, makes a snap decision, vowing to chase after the man she spots, realizing he's still missing. The red-haired woman now faces Huang Qiu, uttering a deferential "boss." Battered and broken, his body was on the mend, but the fight was far from over. But a voice, laced with frustration, pierced the quiet, yelling, "Seriously, when are you gonna start taking care of yourself?" Meanwhile, in the desolate, ruined city, he and the kid were just two tiny figures against the backdrop of destruction. His eyes flared with a faint blue glow as the furious voice kept going, practically screaming, "You weren't just injured, you wounded yourself just to stay awake. What were you thinking?" A blue aura flared around his bare, muscular chest as he shot back, totally defiant, "Who are you even yelling at? It's my body. And who are you calling a foolish bastard, huh?" A dangerous smirk crept onto her face, her eyes practically sparking with a mix of annoyance and dark amusement. He kept up his furious rant, "Me? Me? Li Yuyong. If it's a body that needs looking after, it's mine." Without missing a beat, she snatched his ear, yanking him in close as he squawked, "Hey, why are you being so mean?" Still dragging him by the ear, she sneered, her voice dripping with pure sass, "Oh, I'm so sorry, is that better? You call that an apology? Are you sorry now?" A haunting flashback hits No Yunha, trapped in a destroyed city as a voice demands he protect his treasure, leaving him to wonder, why? Li Yuyong, still gripping his ear, drags him forward, her intense gaze demanding if he's ready to die, and he can only grumble, "Gosh, alright." No Yunha's eyes burst open, a sudden gasp tearing through him as the nightmare shatters, replaced by the harsh reality of his awakening. He's in a hospital bed, every muscle screaming, fighting to keep his eyes open as his head keeps dropping. A soft rustle, and he's sitting up, a bewildered escaping him as he tries to piece things together. His eyes dart to the door, a soft creak confirming his suspicions, "I don't think I'm dreaming." He stares out at the city lights, a hesitant hello escaping him, followed by a confused query as he takes it all in. A look of pure shock washes over his face, his eyes widening as the truth of his situation hits him. Suddenly, Li Yuyong is there, red hair blazing, her voice firm, "You're awake. Don't get anywhere." No Yunha, still reeling, manages to ask, "No, I think I'm fine. Did you save me?" Waking up in a hospital, Yunha's eyes lock onto Yuyong, her fiery red hair practically glowing in the stark white room. She's all business, confirming his identity, "Yeah, and you are. I found you, brought you here. You're Yunha, right?" He tries to push himself up, his voice a raw whisper, "No way you were the one who found me." A smirk plays on her face, clearly amused by his defiance, thinking about how stubborn he is. Then, it hits him like a truck, a sudden, shocked gasp escapes his lips. Yuyong doesn't miss a beat, reminding him she's the one who literally dragged him out of that dungeon, and he better be thankful. Her face gets serious as she asks if he has any family to worry about, a heavy question hanging in the air. A quick, unsettling memory hits him, a young Yunhyuk, and Yuyong, all together, as he grapples with what to tell his family. Yu Young snaps him back to reality, declaring, Yunha, I've got something to investigate, so spill the truth. Stunned by the interrogation, Yunha can only stammer out, pardon. What? But his confusion doesn't faze Yu Young. Her red hair a fiery halo, she cuts straight to the chase, alright, first things first, why were there monsters? A jarring, fragmented memory slams into Yunha's mind, a terrifying plunge through a vibrant, green abyss. While Yu Jung's relentless questioning slices through his days, and I need answers about who took down those monsters. Yunha's mind races, but the memories are a blur, his face etched with frustration, I can't really remember. All he can conjure is the raw, animalistic terror, the desperate scramble for survival, monsters were after me, so I just ran up here. Yu Jung's gaze sharpens, a hint of understanding crossing her features as Yunha's memory sparks, oh, I think someone saved me. I just can't remember who it was. She replies, a hint of skepticism in her voice, really? But her doubt quickly resurfaces, her voice cutting through his uncertainty, but you killed monsters there. Yunha's hand tightens on the bedsheet, the unspoken accusation and his own blank spots hitting him hard. He's reeling, caught in her gaze, as she drops the bombshell, her voice cutting through the tension with absolute certainty. I think you were the one who killed them, she declares, the accusation hitting like a truck, leaving him to stew in the quiet solitude of his room. The question slamming into his consciousness, what do you think? The red-haired woman's voice cuts like a knife, dropping a bombshell accusation. The tension is palpable as the red-haired woman watches the boy, who can't even meet her eyes. He throws his hands up, completely shocked, trying to deny the wild accusation. But she's not backing down, dropping intel about his past and even a Brave Child award. He tries to brush it off, claiming it was just a coincidence. She's not buying it, pushing him on whether this new incident is also just luck. He keeps denying everything, his voice fading as he tries to figure out why he'd even do it. The red-haired woman stands, arms crossed, a deep, knowing look on her face, she's definitely got more up her sleeve. Still on the hunt for answers, the red-haired woman throws down a deal to Yunha, who's stuck in a hospital bed, but he just shuts her down, totally not interested in playing her game. She leans in, her face dead serious, and doubles down on the deal. Her stare is just locked on, absolutely relentless. She plops down on his bed's edge, pushing the deal hard, but Yunha, still avoiding eye contact, just keeps saying he's got nothing to spill. She's totally calling him out on his hesitation, demanding to know what he really wants. But nope, she's not giving up her own cards, declaring it's all part of the deal. Her eyes practically turn into slits, a sharp edge in her voice as she challenges him, are you finally done pretending you didn't take down those hounds? She's not letting up, pushing him again, insisting on knowing his price. Yunha, still refusing to meet her eyes, just drops the bomb, I want nothing, leaving her totally stumped about what he's really up to. She weighs her options, realizing another excuse is just going to make this even more awkward, but he's already trapped, knowing she's seen right through him, she knows he killed them, and there's nothing he can do. His dark hair falls over his brow, as her voice cuts through his thoughts, sharp and direct, nothing. No Yunha, hands clasped in desperation, has only one thought screaming in his head, he just wants a normal life. Meanwhile, outside, the city lights ignite the night. With a sharp click of her heels, the red-haired woman pivots and strides out, her footsteps a rhythmic beat. She exits the hospital, making a beeline for a sleek black car, its door already held open by a waiting driver. The car pulls away, and she wastes no time, issuing a chilling command, investigate the heads of the dragon group. But just as quickly, she's back. The red-haired woman is casually seated in the hospital room, remote in hand, while No Yunha stares at her, utterly baffled, letting out a bewildered, huh? A cold, calculating voice barks orders over a high-tech phone, initiating a deep dive into the dragon group's female heirs. But Yunha, lost in thought, offers no words, his mind miles away. The relentless voice presses on, demanding every single, minute detail of their connections, expecting a call back ASAP. The red-haired woman, flanked by her silent, shadowy enforcers, sits like a queen, pulling the strings of her grand scheme. Then, a sudden, shocking revelation hits. Her face turns to stone, a chilling warning dripping from her words. She throws down the gauntlet, her voice dripping with pure power, demanding to know if they can back up their words. A cold, empty silence descends. Yunha's mind races, pondering the terrifying fallout if all her efforts come to nothing. He weighs his choices, realizing another excuse would just make things super awkward. The red-haired woman watches him think, then drops the bomb, not just anyone gets into their clan, and she already knows he's the one who took them out. He then brings up the hellhounds, but she just shrugs, saying there's nothing he can do about what she already knows. He admits that no matter how he spins it, this whole deal just isn't his style. She fires back, saying he can prove his talent through her, and he finally gives in, agreeing to join her clan. Elsewhere, the red-haired woman's mind is already on the dragon group, especially the women involved. Cut to a car, where a man behind the wheel asks his female passenger if she's caught any intel on the Dragon Group's women. She confirms, they're human, no ties to her husband. What's the catch? But a monster famine report from Seoul drops, highlighting 2 key players in the Mountain Hellhound stabilization effort. And the red-haired woman snaps, I am. Why? A chilling thought flashes through his mind, beware new monsters. A brutal flashback reminding him that underestimating their rank is a death sentence. She demands, where did you hear that? Then, a direct order, make sure the report says you handled this problem. He processes her words, resolving to personally tie up the loose ends of the Mountain Hellhound incident. A declaration that leaves her utterly speechless. Pardon? But that's... He's weighing his options, thinking, another excuse. Nah, that's just gonna make it super awkward. So he makes the call, a determined look on his face, he's sticking to the plan, normal high school life, here he comes. But across town, the red-haired woman just smirks, thinking, that cocky dude. He's hilarious. Just after 2 p.m., breaking news hits, a Rank A dungeon just popped up, and it's practically impossible to clear without the Hunter Association's full backup. The big story? Player Shim Seo-woo, a 12-throned legend, didn't just take down those insane Rank S hellhounds, he's now deep into investigating the mysterious Black Mountain incident. Meanwhile, completely oblivious to the breaking news, No Yunha is just chilling on the busy city streets, looking like any other high school student. The world is on edge. Breaking news reveals an A-rank dungeon has ripped open right in the city center, forcing the Hunter Association to scramble for backup. But wait, there's more. A shocking counterattack is making headlines, as player Shim Seo-woo, a legendary 12th throne, single-handedly crushed S-rank hellhounds and is now diving deep into the Black Mountain incident. The chaos spreads. Ocean City's Sturgeon Port is utterly annihilated, and the Hunter Association is keeping a tight lid on the true scale of the destruction. Fast forward a few months, and the city's back to its bustling self, a vibrant urban sprawl bathed in sunlight. Meet Ji-hee, a cute kid clutching her plushie, looking like she's got the weight of the world on her tiny shoulders. Back at school, No Yunha gets swarmed by his classmates, who are totally shocked he actually bothered to show up. One of his friends playfully jabs at him, calling him a total troublemaker and wondering if he's already running late. He's back in the classroom, but this isn't just any classmate. A foxy blonde girl with actual animal ears and a tail is totally calling him out on his excuses, and he knows she's onto him about his past kills. The classroom is absolutely buzzing, with everyone hyped up, including the red-haired girl and the foxy one, but the real star of the show right now is this super energetic, orange-haired guy front and center. This guy's energy is off the charts, he's practically vibrating with excitement, holding up a cake and flashing 2 thumbs up like he just won the lottery. He's dropping the bomb, the party's going down at happiness. But then he gets serious, asking if they actually got permission from Hyang's dad. Yunha gets all serious, leaning in to whisper to Hyang, a worried look on his face as he presses him about getting that permission. But Hyang's totally zoned out, his attention snagged by some other students, wondering what they're up to. The red-haired girl, totally swamped by other students, just shrugs it off with a super casual something, giving nothing away. The morning bell screams, and we see Yunha, Hyang, and Ji-hee in the mix, but Yunha's already mentally checked out, just wanting to bail and go home. But Ji-hee's totally lost, her cute fox ears doing a confused twitch as she just goes, huh. As night falls, a quiet house stands illuminated, its windows glowing warmly against the dark. Inside, a vibrant birthday celebration is underway, with friends gathered to surprise Ji-hee. A chorus of surprise and happy birthday rings out as Yunha and the others present their gifts. Though she feigns surprise, Ji-hee admits to herself that she had suspected their secret preparations. Overwhelmed with emotion, she turns to her friends, offering heartfelt thanks to everyone present. A small smile plays on her lips as she gazes at the birthday cake, deciding to postpone her tears for later. With the initial surprise over, the group, including Yunha, prepares to cut the cake, eager to continue the celebration. The party's still going strong for Ji-hee, and everyone's hyped up, counting down together, the energy in the room is absolutely electric. Then, a.m. The spotlight hits this epic cake, all lit up for Suna's 8th birthday, it's the ultimate party centerpiece. Later, Yunha's checking out the party pics, but there's this subtle vibe, like he's asking himself, is everything actually okay? He flashes back to Ji-hee and this other woman, Jin Jina, who everyone thought was just a worker, talk about a party mix-up. Yunha and Ji-hee are just chilling, munching on their food, and there's this chill, knowing nod between them, pure good vibes. But then his mind snaps to the bigger picture, the KK Group, South Korea's 7th biggest corporation, they're into everything from power to buildings to ads. A super detailed chart pops up, showing just how massive and tangled this corporate beast is, it's a web of power. And here's the kicker, the medical division of KK Group. Jong Byung-jun straight up merged his company to jump into the weapon market, that's a seriously dark power move. Another excuse. Too awkward. The red-haired woman's voice cuts through the silence, a chilling declaration as a young Yunha flinches back, realizing she's already taken lives, and there's no turning back. But then, a flashback to a simpler time, a young Yunha asks, just the three of us, isn't this awesome, only for her to snap back, if you act like that, I'll just have to get tougher. He begs, you promise to be my only friend, but she brushes him off, just eat, seriously. I'm worried about you. Why aren't we together? Then, a flash to Siona, surrounded by party chaos, yelling, fine. Do whatever you want. Yunha's grown up a bit, but he's still the same, just chilling and eating cake, totally in his own head. The red-haired woman's voice cuts in again, fierce this time, with Jinjina hanging on every word, enemy or not, she's family. Touch my family, and you'll regret it. Boom. The scene rips to the present, an adult Yunha exploding with raw power, his body a conduit for blinding, destructive energy in the heart of the fight.